How many weapons in TF2 do you know in your head are completely balanced, but you still can't help but feel you got ripped off when you die to them? You wouldn't call them overpowered because you know it's not strictly as beneficial to use as stock, but it still puts a really bad taste in your mouth every time you have to encounter them. Well, that's a question that me and a couple other people have been thinking about a lot recently, so we thought it would be fun to go through every single weapon in TF2 and rank them based on how cheesy they are. So first of all, I want to make sure the premise of this video is completely clear because I know it's a little bit different than how you'd normally think about weapons. When we say a weapon is cheesy or BS or unfair or something like that, we're not talking about the balance at all. The balance may be correlated, and the fact that it may be unbalanced could contribute to a weapon being one of those things. However, at its core, what we mean by those is that the weapon is unfun to play against. Whenever you die to it or have to play against it, it feels like it's unfair, even if it may not strictly be from a balancing perspective. Maybe that's because it feels like it gets undeserved kills. Maybe it's because you get infinitely more survivability at the press of a button. Maybe it's because even though it's really bad at killing, it makes you really, really hard to kill and has just generally obnoxious to deal with. There are plenty of things that could make a weapon cheesy or unfair or bullshit, and ultimately that's what we wanted to go through each weapon and decide. So there are two very important things that I want to establish going forward because I know otherwise people will complain about it. Number one, should be obvious, but this video is entirely our opinion, but not only is it our opinion, it's not like a very serious thing. As you can probably expect from this, it's going to be a lot of like vibes-based criticism, and while I'm not the biggest fan of that originally, I thought this would be fun. And ultimately, that's what this tier list is. It is for fun. It is a way for longtime players of Team Fortress 2 to talk about the weapons they think are fair and rant about the ones they think aren't. Or in some cases, praise weapons that are ingeniously cheesy. Because the second thing is that when we mention a weapon being cheesy, that doesn't necessarily have to mean that it's a bad thing. So I want to be clear that weapons that we may put lower on the tier list, even though they're a little bit infuriating to play against sometimes, I would change for the world because I think they make the game what it is. So anyway, sorry that's a lot of rambling in the beginning, but I want to minimize the angry people in the comments who otherwise wouldn't understand what this video is actually about. The other thing that I'll mention is that this is basically a podcast with a tier list. There is going to be some gameplay of the class we're talking about on screen too, just so you have something to watch, but for the most part, this is something that I'd recommend just putting in the background than doing something else. If you're not a fan of that type of video, that's perfectly fine. I'm just giving you that as a fair warning so you know what to expect. So anyway, without further ado, let's get on to the tier list. Okay, so to clarify, you guys both intuitively know what I'm talking about when I say a weapon is cheesy or dishonest or bullshit or something like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like Overwatch.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of a nebulous term, but it's like, I feel like most people can agree in what that means, but okay.
Yes.
Yes. All right, well, let's start out then. The scattergun. Honestly, I think this is probably one of the most honest weapons in the entire game. I can't think of a
This is as honest as it gets.
Mm.
The scattergun and like all of the shotgun type weapons that don't have weird extra effects, I feel like can easily go in honest. I can't.
It's like vanilla ice cream.
Like, if anything, the more bullshit thing would just be the fact that it's attached to Scout, and a good enough Scout is fucking unkillable.
Yeah, but that's the fault of Scout. I don't know if that's the fault of the scattergun, because Scout can do that with any weapon.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
Also, would that argument hold up to any class where it's like, oh, at top level, if the top players of this class use this weapon, it'll be very hard to kill them. I feel like that applies to every class in the game.
That is also true.
You could say that, but it's like compared to Sniper, where all of the power is packed into his rifle, a Scout could have about any weapon, but it's the mobility that Scout himself does that makes the weapon comparatively cheesy. So I don't think it's the
listen,
fault
if he's using the backscatter, then it's not he's just putting himself at a disadvantage there.
Honestly, okay, so I can't. Let's talk about the backscatter. I can't put this in completely honest because it can one hit you. And even though it's like, you probably would have been dead anyway, the fact that you can instantly die without being able to react, I don't think you can put a weapon like that in completely 100% honest.
My argument for that is that if you're getting one shot by the backscatter, you most likely completely, absolutely deserved it. Because that means you are not checking your surroundings long enough for a Scout to run up on you from behind and one-shot you.
Actually, you'd be surprised. There's some funny spots you can stand with the backscatter. I don't think it's completely honest, again, just because it's like, the fact that you can instantly die without being able to react, I think is just enough, but...
I think like, the fact that it's funny for spawn camping, I think very slightly cheesy, because I don't think this is like...
Oh, for sure.
I don't think anyone stays getting ruined over the backscatter.
No,
I think that like 90% of the time, the people who end up getting one shot by this thing are just like snipers. So it doesn't really matter all that much. They're going to get backstabbed by a spy anyway if they don't get one shot by this thing.
Yeah, and also, like, if I die to the backscatter, even if it is a one hit, my reaction is gonna be like, oh my god, I can't believe that just happened. Like, there's no way I'm complaining about that. If someone actually got used out of the backscatter.
Scout loadout? No way.
Seriously.
Like, oh my god, that actually killed me. Wow.
Like, wow, someone actually used the backscatter and one-shot me. Like, I don't know. I feel like just the reputation of it being bad is just... Yeah, I would be proud of my son for embracing Penis Scout.
Are you winning, son?
Babyface is Blaster. I feel like this one... No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, back in the day, this probably could have been like very cheesy, even definitely BS, but these days, considering all you have to do to get rid of a scout's boost is tickle on them, you just give them a little coochie coochie coo and all that boost is gone. I don't think this would rank anywhere near high. Like maybe next to the backscatter, because all you got to do is coochie coochie coo, all the boost is gone.
Yes. However, I have seen, okay, I know we're not like saying that it's the fault of the class, but I've seen really good scouts that know how to use this weapon be able to never take damage, because I guess the intended way to use it nowadays is you double jump to maintain the momentum, and then while you're still in the air, you get a meat shot, so you technically don't lose any boost before you reach the ground. And that is so annoying. Oh my god. It's very rare that a scout can do that, but if they know how, it's so obnoxious to play against.
But at the same time, like, it's so obnoxious to play with when you do get fucked up by just like minor splash damage or chip damage or anything like that, that it's like, I think it's a worthwhile trade-off in terms of just like the
again,
versus the cheesiness towards yourself.
This has not much to do with like the power of the weapon or how you are using it. This is more of like a tier list of how it feels to play against this weapon entirely. And I feel like the babyface usually is fine, but if there's a really good scout that knows how to abuse like the speed constantly going up and down, they are really hard to hit.
Well, I mean, I was saying the same thing with the scattergun. It's just like, it's not the top tier players that we're really accounting for here, so...
I guess, yeah. I mean, I can put it in, like, maybe somewhat dishonest or very slightly cheesy, because it's not... Most of the time
I would be fine with very slightly cheesy, just based on, like, the couple of scouts who are, like, good enough to
fair
use
enough.
it. And even then, I would say, like, just because of, like, a lot of scouts using, like, Cleaver Rap Assassin with it, like, they're just being annoying at that point.
Well, no, because that's the fault of the Cleaver and the Rap Assassin. I'm not punishing the babyface.
Well, I mean, it's the fault of the babyface for encouraging the use of those weapons, because, like, oh, hey, you can get boost from a distance.
Well, it says at the Nuremberg trials, it's like, you can't say, oh, my commander... Like, no, I guess you could say that. Like, yeah, my commander told me to do this.
Babyface is just following orders, goddammit.
Yeah,
here we go. Great Blue defending the trials of Nuremberg again.
Again.
But, yeah, no,
they were just doing their job, he says every time we go over this.
Like, because to what extent can you extend that logic, though? Because if I say, like, oh, most flamethrowers are annoying because they pair well with the Scorch Shot, it's like, well, that's the fault of the...
That's not true at all. The Scorch Shot is just acting completely... We'll get there when we get there. We'll get there when we get there.
Okay, Force of Nature. I'm putting this very cheesy. This weapon is so obnoxious to play against. Yes.
I want to go that far.
Oh my god, the knockback is so annoying. I don't even care. If you play against like a pretty good Force of Nature scout, they can just send you to the moon. You just get stun locked. I hate playing against good Force of Nature scouts.
I feel like I don't really run into good Force of Nature scouts all that often. Like most of the time I see a Force, like, okay, I guess we're assuming competency here, right? And not just like, oh, this is like pretty much every time I see this kind of gun in the game.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess we can take rule of averages here, but at the same time, the fact that even like an average scout just can meat shot you with the Force of Nature and glue you to the floor, I don't know. The fact that this just juggles you for free, I can't... this just really grinds on me.
I think it's so much like less consistent than the regular scattergun. I mean,
that doesn't matter though.
I'm trying to get myself in the right mind frame here, because like it's not like a balance thing; it's a how to fight it thing. And I don't know. Even then, I'm never really like all that bummed out by the Force of Nature. It's just like, oh, he knocked me away. All right, he knocked me out of his own effective range. All right, good, sweet, bye.
Yeah, but that's even worse though, because it's like, if a scout with a stock scattergun kills me, it's like, okay, whatever, I lost the matchup. The force of nature, though, it doesn't matter what class you are. It's like Pyro, you just get deleted, you get sent into hell. Soldier, if you're trying to rocket jump, this just like kills all of your momentum. I despise playing against this weapon. I'm sorry.
I got to think of it from the right mindset because while I don't really run into people being annoying with the force of nature, normally it's because I'm the person being annoying with the force of nature.
Yeah, no.
And
like,
I have to imagine that the people like playing against me are probably really infuriated with me popping people into corners using the fan and hitting them with the cleaver for a one-hit combo. And I have to imagine being on the receiving end of that could be kind of obnoxious. So I think very cheesy is a bit of a stretch, but heavily depends on how you use it. Because I think it is very dependent on the person using it.
I don't even think that's the case. I think the default function of the weapon knocking you back, it doesn't matter how you use it, because no matter what you're doing, whether intended or not, you're probably going to annoy people just by the nature of knockback being unfun to play against.
I see where you're coming from with that, but like I also see it as just being like not that big of a deal, I guess, compared to like some other knockback effects.
Again, most classes I feel just don't like this weapon. It's like it screws
I feel like
if you're screws up your positioning.
I feel like if you're going to like rank the force of nature in this way, because like just on the very notion that it can knock you in the air,
it does do that all the time though. Like scouts do that all the time.
But what I'm saying,
the shortstop can do it infinitely.
What I'm saying is you would have to judge like every single explosive weapon by that same metric, and like no explosive weapon in the game could be lower than the force of nature.
No, because the explosive weapons have a lot less knockback, or a lot less consistent knockback. Like, yes, they sometimes can, but again, we'll get there when they get there. I think the force of nature, being able to have controllable direction of where you send people, is just so obnoxious. Okay, maybe again, we'll leave this to one of the ones where it's like, if you heavily disagree with this, comment why, because I'm curious. But I want to put this in very cheesy. And if this like is a big standout in the tier, if we find that there's like other weapons that are way worse that we're putting here, we can move it later. But
okay,
this weapon, I despise it. I'm sorry, I can't stand playing against this as most classes.
Now, see, like what I would go with for that one would definitely be like the soda popper, which is the next
I was gonna
weapon.
say the soda popper is very cheesy.
Now the soda popper is cheesy as fuck because you just like hit the jump button over and over again, and you literally can't fucking die.
Yeah, while hype is active, it's it's
even
a little
when hype
bullshit.
isn't active, it's like almost just a better force of nature because it's just like boom, boom, super fast shots, super fast reloads.
I will
like
say
you don't
this,
need the knockback.
As someone who has played a lot of Soda Popper Scout, it is definitively less consistent than stock, to the point where
I'm not saying it's more consistent than stock. I'm saying it's like definitely more consistent than the force of nature, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is in the concept of how it feels to play against it. Like, yes, you can get instantly bursted before you can react. I feel like that just doesn't happen very often, though, because if you survive, then you're in a lot better of a position than you would be with the force of nature, because you're not sent to fucking Africa with a knockback.
Again, that can be beneficial to you against the scout, just because like you're way out of his effective range. It gives you like time to react, basically.
It barely matters. It's like it takes so much agency away from you. I think that's like that's the biggest thing. I kind of want to put the soda popper in, depends on how you use it, because hype is an optional thing. Not optional, but it's like you can choose when to use it.
I don't know. That's considering it's like one of the main functions of the gun. I don't think that makes it better.
You can choose not to use oomph on the flog.
That's true. Yeah, like that's one of the main functions. Like the fact that people forget to use the hype doesn't mean you should just be like, oh, I guess they're not using it for the hype.
I feel like a lot of people use hype for general traversal or escaping a lot more than in combat. It's very rare that I actually see someone abusing hype as much as you possibly can with it.
I don't think that matters in terms of just like how bullshit it is when they do that. Like the thing is, that's not like a super high skill ceiling
actually
thing.
I can agree with that. I think this does I'll put this in very cheesy. It is like a pretty bullshit weapon if you just are sitting there mashing spacebar. It's basically
like that's not a super high skill ceiling thing. That's not like shit that people are pulling off with the beggar's bazooka. That is just like that is just what the weapon is supposed to do. People just don't use it for that because they forget or they use it for other shit. It's like with Durati. It's like how people just use Girardi to catch out spies when they should be using it as a refillable buff banner that you get every 20
They
seconds.
should be, but again, we're taking the average experience, and I feel like compared to the Force of Nature, where any way that you use it, as long as you're shooting people, is going to be annoying in some capacity, unless you're directly abusing the jumps, the Force or the Soda Popper really isn't that annoying. So I kind of do want to put this in heavily depends, but I would accept very cheesy too.
Okay, well, for this next weapon, according to Blue's logic, the ability to inflict knockback at will is very unfun to play against, and I've noticed that our next weapon up here has an infinite knockback.
Okay, well, listen, I know what
Just
point.
say,
on
it
ammo.
can inflict more knockback than the fan, because you have to reload with the fan. The shortstop, you can just keep shoving and shoving. So
Actually,
I think this one is definitely BS.
Okay, so to be fair, what you're arguing for doesn't even make sense, because I'm pretty sure you do get more knockbacks per second with the fan, even with the reloads, than you can shove. The shove is horribly slow. But, honestly...
consider that the shortstop shove makes the scout do funny grunt noises.
No, that's not that one.
What? I went,
Buh!
Yeah, honestly, I think the shortstop is, like, pretty honest.
I think the shortstop's pretty honest. I mean, there's a combination of items that is dishonest, but I think that's more on certain other items' shoulders instead of the shortstop.
I think the shortstop, it functions close enough to just a normal shotgun weapon. Actually, okay, so hold on. The only thing that I would say about this is that the damage if you're in scout duels specifically, the damage at mid-range is good enough, but also the damage at close range is way better than the actual scatter gun, where it's like really hard to win. But I feel like it's not even that impossible.
Yeah, I think shortstop is it's either incompletely honest or a very light, very slightly cheesy.
I'll put it in completely honest. Honestly, I think this is like it's just a shotgun type weapon. If I die to this, I'm not really ever gonna feel bad about it. Same with stock pistol. Like, this is honest. I don't
think anyone's gonna argue that the stock pistol is BS.
If I die to the stock pistol, it's like, okay, whatever. I may judge the player that uses it, but it's just a gun in real life. If I die to a normal pistol in real life, I'm just gonna say, oh, you know,
the streets, whatever. Like, well, I guess that's fair.
At least you weren't using a sawed-off double barrel. Oh. Pretty Boys
pocket
similar
pistol?
story. It's
Pretty
like the chip healing can make it kind of annoying. Like, there definitely have been a few times where the chip healing allowed the scout to live on like 3, which really pisses me off. But how many times does that happen? Not really. I'll put it in very
Even
slightly.
if you use this item, how often is the 3 health you get per bullet really coming in clutch?
I feel like it's mattered to me a few times, but it's just like...
But like in the case of like if I'm fighting a pyro and I want to negate some afterburn damage, sure.
Yeah, no.
It's not like...
Again, as someone who plays Pyro, I can for sure say that, sometimes this does allow scouts to survive long enough to get the kill before they die of afterburn. But again, the chip healing is minimal. I just think, again, chip healing is one of those things, like constant sustain, is annoying enough to play against in enough situations that I can't say it's completely 100% honest. But,
I mean, I guess, but I don't find myself ever being particularly annoyed by the Pretty Boys.
No, it's only very slightly.
The thing is, I think that the pocket pistol is like, in a lot of situations, just kind of a better pistol, but at the same time, it's not really an aggravating weapon to fight against.
No, I agree. I'm just saying very slightly because it's like, I
would agree with that. Yeah, very slightly.
Winger? I'm probably gonna put Winger in completely honest, actually, because I don't feel like the jumps are annoying enough to where I ever feel like I can't hit a scout because of them.
Well, maybe not just like in the middle of combat, right? But like maybe if the scout uses the winger to get himself into like sort of an ambush position that you don't really notice or see.
But wouldn't the rocket launcher like be BS in that instance?
Well, we'll get to that.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't feel like having slightly better mobility that lets you get to unexpected positions is particularly annoying to fight against. I think it's just an aspect of the item.
I mean, that's just kind of something that scout can do in general. Like, if I get flanked by a scout, I don't think I'm ever going to blame the winger for that. even if he couldn't have made the jump.
You stupid winger. I hate stupid wingers, and you are a stupid winger.
There's only one spot that I can name in the entirety of TF2 that, like, you need the winger to get to where the atomizer can't, and it's on Los Muertos. And like, how many times am I playing Los Muertos to where scouts are annoying? Probably not much. I think winger's completely honest.
Completely honest.
All right, winger's honest.
It's just a bullet weapon with a minor upside that is convenient for the scout, but not hard to play against at all or annoying. Cleaver, on the other hand, oh my god, if you get hit by this enough... yeah.
Cleaver is pretty annoying. Like, the thing is, like, the cleaver is super strong at long range, which is like a range that scout is normally not all that strong in. So it's like, even if you think you're safe from a scout, if he's using the cleaver, you're not. And also, DOT is just annoying in general.
I kind of do want to put this in depends on how you use it, because I feel like there is a big difference in how annoyed I'm getting when a scout is spamming versus actually hitting long range shots. Or like going for, I guess, setups.
I feel like it can be hard to tell the difference sometimes, honestly.
It can. I don't disagree with that. But...
because it is very spammable, which is another kind of annoying aspect of it. Like, I fucking love using the cleaver. It's awesome. It's so fun. But it's really annoying to fight.
Yeah, I do kind of get pissed off. But that's the other thing, too. It's like 50 damage plus bleed. I don't know. I feel like...
from long range from a scout, that's kind of a lot.
It is. I don't know. This one, I would accept somewhat dishonest. I don't get.
Yeah, I think that's completely reasonable.
People with this.
That's a cool spot for it, I think.
Yeah, I know some people despise fighting this, but I've never...
Oh yeah, I got some comments on my most recent Cleaver video about some people who just fucking hated it.
Yeah, no, again, this is a tier list from the three of us here, our perspective, not yours. So if you disagree, comment, but if not, suck it up. Criticola, this one, I don't know at all.
I think this one's a really interesting case.
Yeah.
Because on one hand, in a vacuum, this weapon should be in like very cheesy or definitely BS, but I don't particularly hate it because you never see it. Like, when was the last time you saw a scout using the Criticola?
You don't see it very often because, like, not a lot of scouts are good enough to use it effectively. But those who do use it effectively are nightmarish. Yeah,
like shortstop and Criticola. That is objectively very annoying to play against, but you don't really see it. So I think this one belongs in very cheesy or definitely BS. But I don't have any personal hatred for it because I never play against.
It's kind of like the Diamondback in that aspect. Like, I feel like I hate the Diamondback, but I never see people using it.
Really? Oh, I want to get into your lobbies then. Holy shit.
No, you don't, because they're all kunai spies anyway. They just use the Latranger.
I'm gonna put critical and heavily depends on how you use it then. I feel like that's a fair...
No. I don't agree with that at all.
I'd say very cheesy.
Because, like, it's always, like you said with the Force of Nature, no matter how you use it, it's always going to be cheesy.
Yeah, no, I agree, because it's like, you're taking a shit ton of damage, but the other thing, too, is if there is a scout, you can just one-shot him, and I feel like the ability to one-shot scouts with a lot more weapons than you could before kind of offsets that in my mind.
Yeah, but a good scout will get the jump on you, so it doesn't matter.
I don't see good scouts using this.
Or if they're peppering you.
Think about it this way. This, like, if you are like a light class, or hell, even if you're a medic and he's using the Force of Nature or something, he can one-shot you now.
Yeah, but again, I feel like I just don't encounter that situation enough to despise this weapon as much as I should on paper.
Well, I mean, like, it's how much we encounter it versus, like, what it's actually supposed to be doing, which I guess this is the same argument we were coming across with the soda popper.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Again, if people were using it like you're just supposed to, or like...
Which is why I'm putting it on heavily depends on how you use it. But I also think, like the Force of Nature, using this in any capacity is just by default annoying. Like, there isn't a not annoying way to use this, so...
I would bump it down to at least very cheesy.
I'll put it in very cheesy.
I'm not sure if heavily depends on how you use it should really be like, oh, you're just not good enough to use it. Rather, I think it should be like, this weapon offers multiple different play styles. And like, if you're choosing one of those play styles, then it's like, okay, sure. But if you're choosing another one, then it's like, you're an asshole.
I would still agree the soda popper belongs there, because I have definitely seen people who are good with the soda popper not use hype in direct combat. And I feel like if that's the case, I never get annoyed. Compared to if they're doing it in combat, then I get way more annoyed. Like, it's very volatile. So, Anyway, bonk. Oh, I don't know how to rate this one either.
I think
put
bonk
it
is
in
pretty
very
cheesy.
cheesy.
Yeah, I would also.
Bonk is very cheesy.
really strong.
The amount of times I'm fighting a scout and they run behind a corner and they pop this and run away is so annoying.
Yeah, never mind. Let's go to cheesy.
In general, the weapons I hate most in TF2 are the ones that let you instantly disengage.
Yep.
With,
Yeah.
like, no downside.
Like,
okay, I'm very biased.
On-demand
with bonk,
invincibility for Scout, even if he can't fight back, is ridiculous.
Oh my god, no, I kind of want to move bonk down to bullshit. You know why? Is because the strategy that I really love doing to other people that I can't imagine they find very fun is if there are soldiers or demos, I love just drinking bonk and running at them.
And just running into their face
and then they blow themselves up, and then I run away, and it's free. And that's so
It's
funny.
awesome.
And it's like, yeah, I know to stop shooting when they do that, but enough people don't and find it annoying that I can't. I can't imagine not putting this in bullshit.
Great.
Oh my god, that's actually my favorite strategy ever. I'll leave it.
You can
very
also
cheesy,
you can
but
also do the same thing against engineers. Just like get behind them when they're like next to their sentry, and then the sentry will
that's
like
a
aim
lot
for you
harder
and
to
shoot
do.
them.
Sentries delete
It's harder,
you.
but it's so fucking funny.
It's so funny. The bonk is actually probably one of the funniest weapons in the game.
Is that a frog?
Frogs? I like frogs.
I thought I heard a frog.
Mad milk bullshit. Anyone disagree?
No.
No.
Okay. The ability for all right, the ability for a scout to hit most of your team, and now the heavy's invincible because he can do damage. Like, okay, cool.
Life
fun
steal is
video
ridiculous. There is a reason that like all soldiers ever use the Conqueror.
Yeah. Which it's also weird because like I don't see scouts doing it that much in casual. Where
it is the same thing as like the soda popper hype, where even though it is ridiculous, you don't really see people use it a lot.
But the other thing too is if a scout, even just for selfish reasons, if a scout like hits you with it just to win the fight, that's still really annoying.
Same thing as Girardi.
Scouts that do that, because like you land a rocket, but then they land a meat shot, and then it doesn't matter. Your rocket just gets erased.
Your rocket is gone.
Yeah,
Instantly drunk up. It has become milk.
Yeah,
calcified.
You've become milk now. Go gadget. Your blood is milk now.
Rocket to breast milk alchemy.
Oh man, Blizzard would love that one. I can't believe they haven't made that Overwatch Pro yet.
Out of my nipple.
Anyway, the stock bat, super bullshit. No,
absolutely.
Actually, I think can we just
slightly cheesy?
Can we just move all of the stock weapons up to completely honest? Oh, actually, no. Hold on. There is one thing that we no. We do have to get this out of the way first. Random crits, I don't think should be counted against the weapons they're on because that's a separate mechanic.
I agree.
Unless the random crits are exceptional, where there's like a certain damage threshold that's broken because of them.
Or if they're exceptional for some other reason, like the Scotsman Skull Cutter.
That's what I was thinking. Like, I think the Skull Cutter is bullshit because it can do random crits, but like, that's more because of the extra stats, whereas like the stock bat, I don't know.
And also
I
just the
think
Tide Turner in combination with that, where it's just like, oh, normally the downsides of the Tide Turner are you can't get crits with this, but the Skull Cutter's like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, so I'd say for this, let's say that random crits don't count against the weapon unless the fact that it can random crit is exceptional in one way or another. I think most of the stock melees are completely honest, though, if that's the case.
Yeah, like, I don't think there's a single stock melee that is problematic in basically any way.
So we'll just move all of these now. Actually, we'll do them and get to them because there might be more interesting discussion to have about it. Never mind.
Anyways.
Boston Basher. I kind of want to put this in some amount of cheesy because Uber building for free Ubers can be very obnoxious. The fact that you have to fight against
are we playing
invincible-
sixes or casual?
I see people doing this in casual for last pushes sometimes.
And
it's
like,
not often,
just
but
having to deal with Ubers very often in general is so fucking annoying.
Yeah, I agree with that. I really dislike fighting Ubers, but I'd be fine to put this one. It depends on how you use it. Like if I just get hit,
I think that's way too high. In a casual 12v12 setting, if you're playing medic, there is guaranteed to be hurt people all around, and the Boston Basher is hardly letting you build Uber any faster than just being a competent medic would. So I feel like the Uber building thing is being blown out of the water
Oh,
here.
actually, no, I agree because I don't think that should be counted against this because it's not the only thing that allows you to build Uber.
Fair enough. I personally just think that like a scout getting in your face and having no self-preservation whatsoever and hitting you with DOT is kind of fucking annoying.
It's kind of annoying, but
Most scouts just kill themselves with it.
that's what I was gonna say.
That is true.
Usually, okay, the reason why I don't want to put this that low is because most of the time I die to this, the interaction's pretty funny and I'm not mad about it, which is kind of a petty reason, but it's like if I die to bleed and then the scout hits himself and dies, like I'm probably gonna laugh. I don't find that to be annoying.
Yeah. I don't find the Boston Basher particularly annoying to play against because the scout, there's a lot of self-sacrifice that goes into using it. Like a single mother in a single mother household. Shout out to single mothers.
The single mothers with spiky bats.
Yeah. This is the weapon for single mothers because all the self-sacrifice.
Oh, I don't know if single mothers is the weapon that this is for, but
I mean, maybe it is.
well,
It's ripped for her pleasure.
Not very good single mothers, maybe.
yeah, maybe,
Anyways, I would be fine putting this in honest.
slightly.
Or very,
No,
very,
not
very
honest.
slightly.
Not honest. I'll put it in very slightly though. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
fine.
I can live with that.
Atomizer, I think, is pretty honest. Like, if the winger's
Yeah.
up there, then the atomizer's up there.
Old Atomizer probably would have been pretty cheesy, but now that you have to hold it out to get the triple jump.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they have to have the melee out. So
because
Yeah, like
this is
99% of the time
yeah.
people use this just
what are they gonna do?
like,
Run at you with their bat with the mini crits in the air that do 40 damage? Like,
Ooh,
Oh,
they do
man.
5 more damage than the normal bat per hit.
Yeah.
I am shivering
Yeah,
my
yeah,
timbers
yeah.
right now. Yeah, they I think because this is just generally used for traversal, I never have complaints when I see this. I'll put this in honest.
Yeah.
Sandman.
look,
When
hear me
we're
out.
playing
Let me
heavy,
cook.
then
I was gonna say
Let me cook.
Okay.
Look, let me cook here. Okay, I use the Sandman a lot. I'm not afraid to admit it, and I have found scenarios where this item can be pretty cheesy. Okay. Number one, if anyone's in the air and you hit them with the Sandman ball, they lose all momentum. If a soldier tries to dive you with the rocket jumper, you can just slow them in the air. All their momentum dies and it's a free kill. Or you can pretty much slow any class down from across the map. And even if it's not particularly potent of effect, you have to admit it's kind of annoying to fight against.
No,
also
that's
aims to
what
stop
I was
Ammonites.
going to say. I was going to say even though this weapon by most technical definitions sucks and is pretty hard to use effectively, slowdown is just way too annoying for me to put in the top
unless you're a
half
heavy,
at
and then
all.
it has literally no effect whatsoever.
No, you're like 5 hammer units slower, okay?
No,
Yeah, I mean,
is
think
it-
about how much
is it
slower
actually
you're going to
that
get to
good?
mid that way. Yeah.
I thought it was like literally the exact same walking speed as heavy.
No, it's 5.
No, it's like
you
5
got to
hammer
appreciate
units
that
slower.
5 hammer units.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll put this in
yeah,
very
like-
cheesy. Like,
Yeah, I would definitely put it in like one of the
Not
higher
very
tiers.
cheesy,
Like, not
just 'cause
super high,
maybe
but like it's not honest.
somewhat dishonest, maybe. I mean,
Yeah, just because
Yeah.
like
yeah.
who the fuck is getting that annoyed at the Sandman, dude?
Like it's situationally useful, but not like super
Yeah.
annoying. And also, you can just like strafe, and then the effect doesn't exist anymore.
I
Yeah.
guess.
But you're effectively glued to the ground, so you can't really jump. Which
That
I
is
think-
true. That is
Yeah.
annoying.
If you hit a scout with a Sandman ball,
Yeah,
you essentially glue them to the ground.
Can you not jump while you're slowed? Really?
It'll slow you down while you're jumping because your momentum is slower.
right.
That's why it's part of why the Natasha is such. Well, we'll get there when we get there. Also,
was
I
gonna
have to
say-
go for like a little bit right now.
How long?
Like a couple minutes at most.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
you're gonna miss our thrilling sun on a stick discussion, but all right.
Oh, goody! I can't wait.
Anyway, yeah, this one we'll come back to Sandman again. We'll do a final review after everything's put in, but I'll leave it in somewhat. We've set this up in a very anti-fence sitter
Okay.
way, so
Blue, you want to do something really funny?
yeah.
What if we put the sun in stick and you will not go to heaven, and then when fish comes back and it's in that tier, we just do not elaborate?
All right.
Okay, there we go. This is
We'll do an actual discussion when he gets back, but
I just wanted to be like, why is the sun and stick in the top tier? And we're just like, and we just don't elaborate. You know why?
yeah, no,
Come on.
that is actually funny. Again, we'll have an actual discussion when he gets back, but
I mean, we can have the actual discussion now. Who fuck? It's completely
Actually-
honest, dude. Who's?
that's kind of my thought is like if I'm already on fire and a scout gets into that range, he can do the same damage with a meat shot.
Yeah.
You do 3 less damage with a meat shot than you do with a sun on a stick crit. It's like, what's the point? Or no, is that even the case?
Yeah.
How much does a sun on a stick do?
Like 105? Oh wait, no, it does like 88, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It has a damage penalty. Yeah, that shit fucking sucks, dude.
Sun
No, it does less than 88. It does 79.
79? If I die to the sun on a stick... Okay, here's the deal. It's the same situation with the backscatter. If I die to the sun on a stick and I'm actually on fire and a scout kills me, I'm going to clap for him. I'm going to say, dude, you have run this weapon in your inventory for so long and you've finally gotten the use case. I'm proud of you.
I'll be like the opposite of annoyed because I know the guy on the other end of that screen is like cheering and hollering because he finally got a kill with this sun on his stick.
I just can't help but be proud for you. It's like I can't feel bad about that death. It's like I would have died there anyway. You at least did it in a cool way.
I fucking knew when I came back that the sun on a stick would be in like the most bullshit tier.
I think we're just
Fan
too
War?
readable.
What do you think of
I mean,
Fan
you know
War?
what? Fan of War,
Very cheesy.
I would say at least somewhat dishonest.
I would
at the very
say,
least.
I'd put it higher. I'd put it higher. Maybe this is where my hot take is. Because I think a scout runs up on you, hits you with your melee weapon, and you're essentially out of the game for 16 seconds. Yeah, like it's like you're marked for death for a ludicrous.
How long it lasts is really just like the big selling point of the Fan of War, and you can't get rid of it.
Yeah. I think it is like, I'll put it in very cheesy, because again, it's one hit and you just can't play the game. You can't engage or else you pretty much will die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Candy cane I'd call honest.
Candy cane's honest.
I'm going.
Maybe
No.
playing Pyro is very slightly cheesy because they can negate your afterburn.
That's not the reason I'd put it there.
Consider the
Really,
fact
huh?
though. Consider the fact though that like you can take advantage of the scout's candy cane and like heal off of people he's killed.
Here's the reason
Even if
why
they're on your
I'm going
team.
to put it in very slightly cheesy. Because I've run into the scenario more than you would expect, where I kill a candy cane scout, he drops a health pack, and then the teammate right next to him picks it up and heals. It's the same reason that I hate player destruction. Not hate it, but the one complaint that I have about player destruction is like if I kill someone, the teammate standing right next to him should not be able to pick up the soul that he just dropped. Same thing with the candy cane. If I kill the candy cane scout, you
don't drop health packs when they die.
Yeah, it's only when you suicide with it.
Yeah,
no,
it's only when you suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's only when you kill
I
bind with
swear
it.
to God, I've
Because
run into
you're
this
killing
scenario.
yourself, and that counts as a candy cane kill, I guess.
Wait,
Yeah, no, it's only when you kill bind with it that it drops a health pack. So like,
I don't know.
Unless you're counting the very niche scenario where you're kill binding so your medics can live.
Am I just stupid? I swear I've run into that scenario.
No, you are.
Okay,
Puts
well
my hand on
maybe
your
I've
shoulder.
just
Yeah, you are,
gaslit
buddy.
myself. Maybe I'm just thinking of player destruction. Maybe my wires are crossed here, but
Maybe, yeah.
I'll put it in slightly cheesy just because I think like
In the
having a
situations
teammate
against
pick up the health
Pyros
pack.
or like hell
Yeah.
any DOT situation, then like that's kind of annoying.
Rap assassin, I think that should go next to the cleaver. I think it's the same deal. It's
Same.
fair enough.
Same
It's
deal
like
as
the
Flavor,
same-
just, like less
same
damage.
spammable
discussion.
bleed projectile. I feel the same way when I get hit. with
Less damage,
flavors.
less recharge time, but same story, different day.
Okay, so there's Scout. Oh yeah, we just put this in here to gaslight you, but we're moving this up to honest.
Oh, I know.
Our jokes are a little bit too transparent, I feel, at this point.
Are we that predictable, Blue?
I guess we are. I'm sorry.
I knew it was gonna happen when I came back. I knew it was coming.
Okay. Hot take time. Rocket launchers, at the very minimum, going somewhat dishonest. Splash damage, a shit ton of damage. The fact that you can get hit in the feet and you instantly lose the fight because you got knocked up into the air. I think there's enough things going against this that you can't put these in honest.
No, I was gonna say
I would put the
similar,
rocket
actually.
launcher in completely dishonest.
I was gonna say very
completely honest.
slightly cheesy, but like I was gonna say pretty much the same thing as you.
I would
Blue.
say somewhat dishonest. I think there's enough annoying things with the rocket launchers that most of them at least go in somewhat dishonest.
I mean, some of them will at least take away certain attributes that, like, obviously
That's
the
what I'm
Liberty Launcher
saying.
takes
Some
away
of them
shitloads of
neutralize
damage,
it,
and direct hit takes away splash damage.
Oh, we'll get to the direct hit, but yeah, I think the rocket launcher should go in somewhat dishonest. The reason, again, is that if you get hit in the feet, you take 90 plus damage and get stun locked. What the fuck? I can't defend that. I'm sorry, but
I do not think this. I think the rocket launcher is way too high. I think
Way
I
too
could settle for
high?
a very slightly cheesy.
Oh.
I
thought you meant it should be lower. I'm like, it's definitely BS.
No. I was gonna say this stock rocket launcher like being like more annoying than like the cleaver or the rap assassin. I don't know. I don't see it.
I could see where you're coming from. Like, there's a lot of people who end up complaining about Soldier because he's super easy and like super effective in the game.
It's
But all the classes are super easy.
That's fine.
Again, I feel like it's one of those hard to swallow pills where it's like, yeah, the rocket launcher, most people have gotten used to it, but it is really annoying because it's just really spammable. It's really easy to stun lock you. It's like, I don't know. It's just, it does a lot of damage.
No, like I agree with Blue that like the rocket launchers can be annoying to fight. Like I wouldn't put it.
No, I think it's only somewhat
lower.
dishonest.
I think somewhat dishonest is too much. Like very slightly cheesy is where I'd put it.
Maybe I'm gonna name this to. I don't know.
Come on, Fish, you're the tiebreaker.
Oh gosh, I mean, I would also lean towards very slightly cheesy, but I definitely see where Blue is coming from, and that like there is a lot going against the rocket launchers in terms of just like being fun to fight, unless you're like a Pyro and could just like throw that back in the soldier's face. But even then, like the fact that you can surf off the rockets is something at least. Like that's
sometimes, unless they hit you straight up into the air. So I guess in the spirit of the
I feel like getting hit straight up into the air is like if you don't time your surf right. Like that's a punishment to you.
I guess, but it's again sometimes that happens and you don't really have control just because TF2's knockback is a little weird.
Maybe it's just because I play sniper and need to surf away a lot.
Maybe so. I just again
you're a Pyro
feel like
main, so like you just like you miss your air blast and then you tank the rocket to the face and you're just like I hate this.
I play most classes to be fair, but I mean obviously Pyro doesn't. If I was just talking Pyro main, it's like. Well, even on Scout, I don't know. It's just the rocket launcher is annoying in more ways than I think like the backscatter or Babyface's blaster are, or anything in the tier above it. So, and I think it is a bit bullshit. It's like I have enough deaths from the rocket launcher that don't feel like my fault. Again, even if the rocket launcher's balanced, that's not what we're talking about. It's like when I die and I feel like there's nothing I could have done. That's what I mean by a bullshit weapon, and I think the rocket launcher fits that enough.
How do we feel about the airstrike? Because I feel like that's a weird one.
Airstrike is... I would say that's is it a heavily depend on how you use it? Because you can't just get ambushed. No, because most people use it
kind of the same way.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I honestly think that like in most situations the airstrike is really not as bad as the rocket launcher.
On paper, I disagree, but like in thinking about it, I do agree. I feel like there are less times where I get annoyed about the airstrike.
Your argument is it's too easy to get damage with the rocket launcher, but this has a splash damage penalty.
Yeah, the splash damage penalty, and like you need to
air by shooting
there needs to be a sacrifice made in order to like have super high burst damage with it. Otherwise, it's just the worst rocket launcher in basically every way. So I'd put it in very slightly cheesy.
I was gonna say, I'll agree with that because I feel like even if they're doing the airstrike thing where they're trying to burst you down, unless they are a god at dive bombing, like they're probably going to be far enough away where it's not that hard to avoid.
I think it's mostly just going to be people doing like pencil jumps and they like do a burst down and they do like little chip damage with some splash, and it's just like there's not much going on there.
I agree. I'll agree with that one. Beggars. Ooh, Beggars is hard. I feel like if you're spamming with it, this is really annoying.
See, I'm trying to think, like, I want to put this into heavily depends on how you use it, right?
I would agree.
Because, like, there's certain ways, like, there's dumb ways to use it that are just stupid, but then there's also just, like, really high-tech ways. But, like, are the high-tech ways also, even more annoying than the stupid ways?
I mean, if the fan can make it into very cheesy despite having a lot of tech, then I don't think the beggar gets any brownie points.
All right, then I would probably put it in very cheesy.
I would kind of agree. The fact that you are fighting a rocket launcher that never has to reload, basically. The fact that you can instantly get bursted from around a corner without being able to react. The fact that the soldier
the mobility if you use it with gunboats.
Really good movement. But that's no. That's the fault of the gunboats, though, I would say. Well, kind of. It's half and half. because you can still do it, I guess, without the damage.
You can still do it
reduction,
without gunboats.
Yeah, you're just gonna be at way lower health.
I would agree with Very Cheesy on this. I feel like the classic 2 ways to use it, which are just load up 3 and burst around a corner, or just mash M1. Those are both really annoying to fight.
Or like holding rockets with a taunt.
Yeah, well, that's funny. Okay, if I die,
Look,
if I high five a soldier,
it's easy.
it is very
cheesy.
cheesy. I'll agree.
All right.
Okay, here's where we're going to diverge a bit. I think the direct hit is subtly one of the most bullshit weapons in the game. It is the single best weapon for 1v1s to the point where a lot of classes just literally cannot beat it. It can one-shot light classes at close range. It is fast enough to where air blasting's really hard, and most classes can't dodge if they're already airborne. So it is a weapon that entirely depends on the skill of the person using it, and if they are good, it is nearly impossible to fight.
I mean, that's the same thing for Scout, basically.
A skill issue.
That is also a skill issue, you're right.
I mean, no, you just have a lot less time. You have to predict, which, I mean, you can predict wrong. Okay, in my opinion, direct hit should go indefinitely bullshit, but I want to hear why you disagree, because I know you both will.
I don't know
I'll let
about
you go first,
definitely bullshit. Like, the one-shotting light classes thing is, I think, very contextually dependent. Like,
oh
I think
God,
no. Scouts and spies are the classes that are going to get affected by this the most, because snipers are always really far away. The soldier's going to have to like dive bomb in to get them or something like that.
No, but you can just spam out the
Engineers are always
snipers.
behind their buildings.
If the sniper's scoped, he can't sidestep.
I'm talking about in the context of one-shotting light classes.
Enough.
Unless you're using a fucking buff banner with it, which is like the most fun thing in the game. But anyway,
orbital strike cannon.
It's so goddamn fun. But like, spies and scouts are the ones that are going to be affected by that the most, because engineers are always going to be behind their buildings, so they're pretty much going to be safe from that unless the soldier Ubers in, which like, hey, he's probably going to die anyway.
Okay, yes, the engineers are immune to the
in the context of one-shotting a light class.
You can't just isolate that aspect of it. Like, if you're an engineer, your buildings are going to get deleted. Like, you will not have buildings to hide behind if the direct hit soldier is there. That's the point that I'm making.
Okay, but I'm just saying that, like,
this
I don't
weapon
think
does
it's as
everything.
I don't think that being able to one-shot light classes is that big of a deal, because like with scouts, that's 100% a skill issue. With
No.
spies,
It is not a skill issue with scout. Okay, so here's the deal with scout. No, it is not a skill issue.
Yes, it is. Listen, yes, it is.
Let fish cook.
There are enough times as scout where the soldier just whips around and insta-kills you before you can react. It's ridiculous. The way to fight direct hit soldiers as scout is to chip them. It is a non-interaction. It's so unfun.
That is an interaction. The fact that you have to like maintain your range and like bait out rockets that
it's
you can
really fun
dodge,
as scout when you have to maintain your range. That is an
interaction.
You can't like predict where the soldier is going to shoot, though. You do not have time to dodge it. If you get hit once from like even a pretty medium distance, you just die. There isn't much you can do. It's like, yeah, you can dodge, but your ability to dodge is a lot more dependent on the soldier with the direct hit missing than your own movement. Like, yes, there are things you can do to influence it, but it's never guaranteed.
I think I would.
That's
imagine
the reason why people
thing
dislike the sniper rifle too. But yeah.
I was gonna say with sniper, that's more of an issue with feedback than it is with actually like, dodging just doesn't matter. Because of course dodging matters. It's just that a lot of the time, if feedback is shitty, you don't know when you're even dodging in the first place and when the guy is just missing.
The reason why I think the direct hit is bullshit, at least, and disconnected from balance, is because it feels like you have a losing matchup with every single class, and I think that's really well exemplified by how disgustingly OP this is in MGE.
In MGE?
Yeah, well, when you isolate a context where it is a 1v1, like guaranteed 1v1, you both know each other are there, this is nuts. This is easily the best weapon in the game.
I get where you're coming from. You're saying that this is like the 1v1 master in kind of the same way that like the vaccinator is, in that it just like completely shuts down 1v1 interactions. I get where you're coming from with that. I just don't necessarily agree with that, because like otherwise the direct hit would just literally kill everything instantly in every single 1v1 interaction ever.
It's a two shot against any class. I mean, or not everything heavy anyway.
I'm like, you could say the same thing about the grenade launcher, man. You can say the same thing about
Yeah.
the launch.
Again, the direct hit,
those
though,
work from way
can be a
longer ranges.
one-shot.
I think a
That'll
lot
one-
of
that'll
your
one-shot light
arguments against
classes.
the direct hit are predicated on its ability to one-shot light classes. And I will say in most instances where a light class gets one-shot by the direct hit, most times it is the fault of the person who got one-shot by the direct
Completely.
hit.
I disagree with that. I think it's basically a coin flip in a lot of those interactions where you can't predict how the soldier's going to aim.
I'm just
For all
saying that
you
a
know, you
lot of
could
these can,
tickle him on the
I'm
shoulder
just-
and he could whip around and insta-kill you. It's like, you
I'm
can't
just saying
know
that a lot of these also apply to the loose cannon.
Yeah, and I think the loose cannon's bullshit too, but we'll get to that.
Yes.
Anyway,
I
can you
forgot.
at least agree on very cheesy for the direct hit? The ability to one-shot, I think, is very cheesy. I can't...
I don't think that the ability to one-shot light classes is what makes the direct hit bullshit. I honestly think it's its interactions with engineers' buildings.
Yeah,
That is also
That's
true.
I think that's the more compelling argument for the direct hit being cheesy.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
I
just
agree with that
recap
too,
buildings.
but it's like, you insta-delete buildings, you insta-delete scouts and spies. If the soldier's rocket jumping and you have halfway decent aim, you win the interaction because you do like
that's one
160
thing
on air
that
shot.
is just like you punish the fuck out of soldiers for just trying to close the distance on anything. They're
Yeah.
jumping for any reason. You can just one shot them. And while it is really funny, I also feel really bad when it happens.
Yeah, it's like the fact that this just ruins people's days with minimal interaction, I think is a good reason for it to be in bullshit, but I would accept very cheesy too.
I'll put it in very cheesy. I'm fine
I'll
with
settle
that.
for a very cheesy.
Okay, fair enough. Black box, I think it's about the same as the rocket launcher, honestly. The heal on hit is pretty well
Yeah.
offset when you're in a fight, because it's like if a soldier fires 3 times, then you have
It's like
more
the black
downtime
box
to attack.
conch thing. But that's more on the black
with the
box.
conch, yeah.
That might
That's more
bring
on
it
the
into
conch,
depends on
though.
how you use it then.
Yeah, actually, I think this
Yeah.
is your second depends on how you use it.
Because
'Cause
yeah,
I think
with
that
your-
if you use
if you're
it-
playing, if you're using
I-
it for sustain, that's fine. But if you're playing mega, I'm probably gonna get pretty annoyed.
I was gonna say the same
if
thing.
you have a medic pocket using like random stuff and a conch,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, dude, come on.
If
But,
you're
like-
playing mega pussy with the black box, I'm gonna hate your guts. But if you're just like using it for sustain in 1v1s, I don't find myself particularly hating it.
Yeah, the more passive you are with the black box, like the more cheesy I think it feels because it's just like,
Yeah.
you're not even really playing the game over there. You fuck.
Liberty launcher next to the airstrike, I think, is a good place
Yeah.
for that. Even though it's faster
hold
rockets,
on.
they tickle you.
So I think hear me out. I think Liberty Launcher is completely honest because you said one of your main gripes is that with the rocket launcher is that it A does too much damage and B does too much knockback. Liberty Launcher does jack shit for both.
That is true.
I guess so. It does give the soldier more ability to fly around the map, though.
Also consider pyros can get really good at usually air blasting rocket launcher rockets and direct hit rockets because those are the ones they see the most often.
Yeah.
Nobody uses the Liberty launcher, so nobody
I
has the
will
Liberty
say,
launcher air blast timing
Whenever I'm
down.
playing Pyro and I'm up against the Liberty Launcher soldier,
Your
you
muscle
know I'm
memory just
whipping every air
dies.
blast.
Yeah, as a pyro main, I kind of want to put this in very slightly cheesy.
Okay, I'll do very slightly
Very
cheesy.
slightly is
Yeah.
fine by me.
It's like, yeah, and it still can knock you up. It's just not as good. Yeah, it's whatever. Cow Mangler.
Also, the quick switch tech is fun.
Right next to
Oh.
rocket launcher.
No, Cow Mangler might be, depends on how you use it, because if you're sitting there spamming charge shots like a
Oh, that's
loser-
so annoying. I hate that shit.
Yeah, if you're not using the charge shots, which I feel like those are very two different types of players of why you want to use this, then it's just the same as the rocket launcher.
Except worse against engineers.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'd be fine with depends on how you use it.
Yeah, okay. I think you guys made a compelling argument there.
Rocket jumper. This one's just complete bullshit. I don't know what to tell you. Actually,
Heavily
Okay,
depends on how you use
I
it.
want to say that this one is at least somewhat dishonest.
I don't. Okay, so here's
I would say heavily depends.
here's my argument for the rocket launcher being pretty honest. It's not the fault of the rocket jumper of why this can be bullshit. If you're using
I
this
think it is.
with other weapons,
I think it is the fault of the rocket jumper alone because the fact that you have free mobility as a soldier means you are a constant distraction and it's really fucking annoying.
that's true. I'll put this in somewhat dishonest then, because I think again, it's mostly the fault of the weapons you use this with. of why I find this annoying. I feel like the rocket jumper itself doesn't really like it gives you free mobility, but that's it.
It's an enabler.
Yeah, it does pair.
I think just the fact that you are a constant, just annoying distraction. It's just like, God, get the fuck away from me. It's like a fly in your room that you can't get rid of. That's what that's what a soldier is like in a server to me.
Earlier when we were talking about the bonk, I mentioned one of my biggest pet peeves with TF2 weapons are like the instant disengage items. I feel like the rocket jumper is one of the prime examples where it's just like, yeah, you're basically sacrificing all of your damage output, but that doesn't matter when I want to kill you. And I can't kill you.
And you just run away to the nearest health.
I would really like
run away. You're a mega
in this video game, but you're just like, no, I'm flying right now. That's great. There's servers where you can fly, and that's the entire point, asshole.
Just activate no clip on soldier. Yeah, no, that's really
disgusting.
Stock shotgun, honest. Any complaints?
Yeah, honest.
Okay.
I can scarcely think of a more honest weapon.
Panic attack, I also would argue for completely honest. Any complaints there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Completely honest.
Reserve shooter. Ooh, this one.
Somewhat
this one
dishonest.
really gets on my nerves, I'll be honest.
At least somewhat. Maybe very.
I think I could be persuaded into even going very cheesy.
Yeah, I think that
I think for the same reason as like the direct hit, where it's just like you can punish someone for rocket jumping for any reason, not just like, oh, you popped them up in the air and so you're getting a combo on
the
them.
extra damage is free. I kind of want to say it depends on how you're using it, but I feel like if you're not using it to do that exact thing, you're not using it at all.
Then it's just a worse stock shotgun.
Yeah, so... But again, like what pyros are running the reserve shooter in any context but to shut down rocket jumping? It's like none. That's the only
when you
time
air blast the
this.
soldier and get a cool combo on them.
I will say, sometimes when you're playing pyro and you're just going for clips, you're going for the dream kill of reflecting a rocket, popping a soldier in the air, and hitting him with the reserve shooter.
I've done it, and it's so fucking cool, dude.
It's really cool. How many times has that happened to you, though? Like, basically
like
never.
3, and I was trying really hard to get it to happen.
I'm just saying, that's the dream. Sometimes you're just playing for clips, and you want to.
And then another pyro did that to me on his first try using the reserve shooter.
The righteous bison. Okay, even though this weapon sucks balls, I think it's very slightly cheesy just because it's really good at spam, if nothing else.
I think it's very slightly cheesy because it's
very good at spam.
It's very good.
Okay,
no. I didn't say it's good at damage. I just say you can output a lot of projectiles with it. You don't have to worry about ammo.
My issue.
What I'm trying to say is, it is doing 20 damage to someone from.
It's annoying. It's annoying
really
to constantly be getting hit. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think it is.
My issue with the bison is that the damage is wildly inconsistent, so you have no idea what you're getting into. Like, I have done like more damage than a stock shotgun meat shot with this thing in one hit, and then I will immediately do like 20 damage in the next shot.
Yeah, due to how it works, it is basically random. I think I have done maximum 100 damage with the bison, but more often than not, you're doing 20 damage.
I don't think it's completely. I think it's still slightly cheesy just because it can be spammed and randomly do damage. I'm not saying it's
good. It can be randomly spammed, but you're gonna do 20 damage.
Sometimes you do more.
You'll be doing more damage with any other project. You'll be doing more fucking damage with the Pomson. Come on, dude. You gotta like level with me here.
Hot take. Meet Your Match was like the right direction for the bison. They just did they just dog shit for damage.
Yep, I agree.
Horribly.
But I'm leaving it in cheesy again. It is designed to be a spam weapon. That is not honest.
If we're talking about design just what the weapon is designed,
that's what it could do.
You
could just sit there and spam down a choke point forever. You never have to worry. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, and you're not gonna get jack shit done because it does 20 damage.
Sometimes you will. Sometimes you do like 60 or something.
I don't know. I feel like that's a weird direction to tackle it
distance, though. Not from a distance. Fall off kills the bison. Okay.
I can't say it's completely 100% honest with no trace of any cheesiness at all. That's all I'm saying. Look, 95%. Yeah, sure. But
you almost had me for it because I'm like, okay, but with a random crit. But you said earlier we're not factoring in random crits. So I do not think doing 20 damage, tickling someone from across the map is going to be that big of a deal when you could do the same thing with a shotgun, okay? You could do the same thing with a shotgun, pretty much.
Okay, so here's the deal, though. If a soldier's sitting across a choke point spamming 3 damage chip shots at me, that's basically never going to annoy me enough to care. Someone sitting there spamming bison shots at the payload probably would get on my nerves after a while. All I'm saying is this is 95% honest instead of 100%, so I don't think we can put it in completely honest. That's all I'm saying.
If you find yourself getting annoyed at the fucking righteous bison, you gotta uninstall this game and not look back, dude.
Listen,
That is the most
you're a little
skilly-
biased.
Like, again, my issue is with consistency, and if a weapon is inconsistent in such a way that it can either do 100 damage or 20 damage, then that is not an honest weapon.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that.
That is not
think that's-
honest.
I think the one is biased and nitpicking, so. All right,
I'm
moving on. You're nitpicking and biased. I win. Bye-bye. All right.
Strumming ad hominem.
Anyway, the buff banner.
Buff banner. I feel like this is somewhat dishonest just because you can
Just
just
say the same thing.
get random crits on
Yeah.
everyone, basically. Or random crits. So I get mini crits.
I feel like this is a situation where you would actually want to factor in random crits, because then you're just getting damage for damage. Like getting a random crit on a
Yeah.
crowd of people and then just like instantly charging up your buff banner to do even more damage to anyone who survived immediately afterwards. That is fucked. I have that happen to me so often.
I would agree. I think random crits are exceptional enough in that instance because they contribute to the charge, where that is worth noting. I think somewhat dishonest, though, because it doesn't make the soldier any more annoying to kill, and
Unlike the next two.
unlike the next two, it's just like, yeah, it makes pushes a bit stronger, but you can still play around it easily enough to where... Conch. I kind of want to put the conch on very cheesy instead of definitely bullshit, because I feel like
I could agree with that.
when you pair it with most of the team, like heal on hit is really good, but it's only for 8 seconds, and it's just not, I don't know.
I don't know if it
enough.
deserves to go into heavily depends, just because, like, for the same reason as the black box, like if you're using it super passively to be a massive C, but if you're using it to be like super, but if you're using it to be aggressive, then it's still kind of annoying.
I was gonna say, even just having teammates under the effect of the conch, and the fact that it doesn't take that much damage to fill, so it's very spammy.
Oh yeah, that is the craziest part about the Conqueror, is just like you do like 2 rockets and it's done.
Yeah, it's I find this kind of annoying just because of how often like enemies can have it up, and when you do have this up, it's very annoying to play against. The fact that banners are supposed to be on a reasonably long cooldown is what makes them tolerable, but
Also, the regeneration is like understatedly annoying if you're playing like demo or sniper or
yeah.
something.
Oh my god, demo. Demo's so obnoxious.
Literally 1
Soldier
HP.
survives on 1. Yeah.
So annoying.
That one, well, I guess you could do that with the bats too. Speaking of, I think bats is bullshit. I think bats is really bullshit. I'm sorry.
It's really strong.
The fact that you are just immune to everything and can't die, like, I despise
Not just you, but
this
everyone
weapon.
around
yes,
you.
I despise this weapon.
It's almost a vaccinator charge for your entire team.
Vaccinator on a longer cooldown, but it applies to everyone.
Yeah.
You can't get picked. You can't get flare combo. You take
You can't get
significantly...
headshot. You
Yeah.
can get backstabbed at least.
Kritzkrieg? Nope.
Yeah, deletes crits Krieg, deletes sentries. Like, okay, you just click M1
It's
and you
literally.
win. It's
you can get
disgusting.
shot down with the enforcer.
That's true, you know.
Yeah, baby, the enforcer keeps winning.
Enforcer Chads continue winning.
Enforcer chats keep winning.
If only it did bleed.
Gunboat?
That is something I mentioned in my like most annoying weapons video. It's like all the most annoying weapons in TF2 get countered by the enforcer, and even if it hardly comes up, it's funny to think about.
Okay, not the Mad Milk.
The
though.
fact that damage piercing
Not
is
the bad one.
actually like a pretty impactful stat if it was on literally anything else is really funny.
Dude. If the fucking enforcer worked against Bonk, that would honestly be amazing.
I guess, yeah.
Add that shit.
As a bonk scout though, no. Gunboats? Okay, I think gunboats are honest because if you're fighting a soldier, then they can't just pull out a shotgun or a banner.
Yeah.
They
Like,
can disengage though.
Yes, but it's not.
But that comes at the cost
free.
of them. That comes at the cost of them being able to deal damage against you with a shotgun or a passive.
Yeah.
But the shotgun is honest.
Yeah, but here's the deal though. I actually do get less annoyed when a soldier jumps away than when they pull out a shotgun. That's a very personal thing, but
Well, it's because you're a pyro player,
I know.
pyro boy.
even as a scout though, it's like if I'm dodging rockets and he just pulls out a shotgun and wins because he has more health, it's like, okay, dude. But
I know I mentioned not liking instant disengage items. I feel like this is the exception.
This is like the best trade-off
okay.
because the amount of things the soldier can't be running if they have this, which are really cheesy, is enough to where I think it counterbalances. I think this is honest. But
And I imagine the same thing applies to the man treads. Well, actually, no, because air blasting. Air blasting
man-treads?
is completely fucked.
Okay, here's the deal. I want to put man treads really far down, but that's like that's just more of an annoying thing because I play on low gravity servers a lot. The point that I'm making is that having resistance to knockback midair and increased air control makes fighting market gardener soldiers running these actually pretty damn annoying.
Only if you're using the rocket jumper though.
Yeah, no, I get that. Maybe I'll put this in depends on how you use it because
I can live with that.
Fair.
I think a full trollger who just cannot die is annoying, but I think in a vacuum, just imagine just a normal soldier rocking the gunboats with the stock rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Is that really that bad? Is that really that bad?
if you mean the man treads, no.
Yeah, like man treads with a stock rocket launcher.
It's
like, is
when
that
it's-
bad?
when
That's basically
paired
just
with the
not having a
gardener.
secondary at all.
That annoys me
I think
the
the annoyance
most.
factor falls on the combination of rocket jumper and man treads. I do not think.
I think it's Gardener and man treads,
falls
actually,
on
because
man treads.
the fact that you can't dodge market gardeners if someone has this and is competent, that's what annoys me the most. Because they can just
Yeah,
whip-
because like then you
if-
can't
yeah.
push them out of the way or do anything.
You can't knock
basically
them
just have
back.
to face tank it.
If you back strafe, they can still whip around and kill you because of the increased air control. Like, I don't know. I just find this to be more obnoxious than I think most people are willing to talk about. But that's why we're here. We're here to talk about weapons that, even though they're bad, we can still say they're annoying. And the dislike rate
Hell
is going to be
yeah.
like 80% on this video, I bet.
I love
Um,
the Batman combo where you use the original, the man treads, and the gardener. That's called the Batman combo. and
Why
it's
the
completely
original specifically?
Because it's the one of
Because
those
that's what
tryhards
Batman would
use.
use.
Because
all
it
of
was
Better
penis.
for rocket
All of
jumping.
you Batman. Oh, well, yeah. All of you Batman pillars.
Yeah. Any Batman combo enjoyers in chat?
Base jumper. What are we thinking?
I'd say very slightly cheesy at least, just because like
You will not go to heaven.
kind of for the same reason as the rocket jumper, where it's just like someone
It's the
using
way
this just
competitive
floating around,
players
just
make it
being
seem.
distracting. Also, you can use it for like spawn camping shit on like upward, if you're a demo man. But that's if you're a demo man.
Yeah,
I
there are.
think it's very slightly cheesy because like there are certain spots.
Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
I think outside of that specific niche,
Like-
I don't think.
If a
think
soldier
it's very
comes
cheesy.
base jumping toward me with like the stock rocket launcher, like I'm not gonna care. If they kill me, I'm probably gonna think it's funny because I'm just going to assume they're new to the game and just don't know about any of their weapons. But
Competitive sixes player has
Yeah.
to look up at you for first time.
competitive
Heartwarming.
sixes player, I am not going to heaven. I'm sorry. I use this in sixes.
Look, we put the
speaking of not
winger
going
in
to heaven.
completely honest.
The
The
stock,
Speaking of not going to heaven, the stock shovel.
the stock rocket launcher. Oh my god, dude, this is OP.
Yeah, put it in. You will not go to heaven.
Yeah, it's all right.
Market Gardener, I feel like this is at least somewhat dishonest. You can just instantly die, sometimes through no fault of your own. It's like it can be very
Yeah,
hard to
I would
avoid
honestly,
these.
I would honestly argue potentially for very cheesy. Like it is
Actually,
annoying.
I wanna go that
It's
far.
basically like
If you're medic
no
or
one likes
sniper,
getting picked
yeah.
from across the map. No one likes getting picked in general. Pick classes in general are always annoying. Trollger is a pick class.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I think it instantly dying never is fun. Regardless of how technically fair or balanced it is, it's just not fun. And I think the
Exactly.
Gardener lets you die to someone that you feel like you have no chance of taking down just due to how fast he's moving.
It's so
So-
fast. It's so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I'll put it. I'll agree. I'll put it in very cheesy. Again, might be controversial, but I'll agree with that one.
Maybe, but I just find
I think it's a bit
bombing
much,
soldiers
but I think I'm outvoted here.
annoying.
I think it's not fun to fight against Gardener soldiers at all. That's my hot take.
Oh,
I
yeah,
put it
I
in
agree with
somewhat
that.
dishonest or heavily depends. I just think very cheesy is a bit of a.
How does this depend though? I feel like the one way
Yeah,
to
like
use this
it's
is...
kind of like the airstrike where everyone uses it in basically the same way. Like you just bomb in and try to smack people with the shovel. You can't use it in another way unless you're using it as just the stock shovel reskin.
I remember, okay, this is off topic, but I remember when I was like kind of new to TF2, I posted something on Reddit and I said, I think that because for those that weren't aware, the Market Gardener used to be basically just a reskin of the shovel that couldn't do random crits. That was the only downside. And I posted on Reddit and I said, I think it's kind of stupid that this is just a better shovel. I think they should add a 20% firing speed penalty to it. And everyone, this was pre whatever gunmetal or whatever up they added it, and everyone laughed at me. They're like, that's a terrible idea. That would suck. And then they added it, and I feel so vindicated. Fuck you, Reddit. Truth. Yeah, seriously. Escape plan. I feel like this is a free disengage tool. I don't like this one.
A free disengage tool.
I think free disengage is a bit uncharitable because you're essentially at like 40 or less. You still
can die. The reason why I think this is at least somewhat dishonest is because you can still fight people with it. It does normal melee damage.
This is another one where I think random crits are kind of
He just instantly died by a soldier going Mach 3 because I whipped this out.
It's really annoying, and it happens surprisingly often.
This should not be good at combat.
If you're 1v1ing a soldier with like a scatter gun and you got him down to like 20 health and he just whips out the escape blade, closes the distance on you and random crits you.
It's annoying.
I don't like that happening. I'll put this in somewhat dishonest because again, that doesn't happen much, but it can. And
that's fair. That's fair.
I can live with that.
Equalizer.
On the other hand, the equalizer.
It's still very slightly cheesy because it's like it has the potential where you just instantly die from a random curse heavy.
No. I feel like
I think it's completely honest because who's getting in the melee range of a soldier at low health?
You don't know what their health is though. That's the
equalizer lacks just like so many things that make it like that could make it annoying.
Again, this is one of those things where we're splitting hairs where it's like I'm gonna say it's very slightly cheesy and you're saying it's completely honest. I think again those are pretty close conceptually, but I think there's enough random inconsistent jank with this weapon that relate to factors outside of your own knowledge because you don't know.
I think that matters more on something like the Bison, where it is a ranged weapon, but with the equalizer, it's like
if you're getting within melee range of a soldier who's wounded, like you had it coming.
I mean, I guess I still just think the fact you can randomly take like 100 damage is something.
I mean, the fact that you can randomly take 195 damage is something.
Yeah,
you know?
okay, I guess, but whatever. Yeah, I would say this is still honest because I don't know like what thresholds this breaks that a random crit from like the shovel wouldn't to be.
You can
if you're at like 1 health, then you can random crit a heavy to death.
I think it's a massive skill issue if you're a heavy who lets a soldier near you. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Okay, come on.
Absolutely, it is a skill issue if you're letting a soldier with 0 health and a melee weapon random crit.
Yeah, it's like, come on, dude. But
he would basically need to be Ubered for that to work, and even then, he has a very short time window for that to work. I was gonna say, I don't know what. Pain Train, I think, is very slightly cheesy just because of back cap potential, but.
Yeah, back capping on last.
Yeah, back capping. I was gonna say honest, but back capping. Yeah.
It's mostly honest, but yeah, there have been plenty of times where you play on like a 5 CP map with low cap times for last, and then a rocket
soldier demo just like zippity bops in
because they can be anywhere. Basically, it's like okay, well you lose before you can set up, so okay, whatever. Disciplinary action.
The whip is definitely at least somewhat dishonest.
Yeah, I think this is somewhat dishonest because of the range.
Yeah, the range is what I was guessing. Like, bigger than an Highlander with this thing, it's insane.
You can literally out DM people with this like better than you can with like the equalizer, just because this does so much range. You can hit people telepathically. It's ridiculous. And it can still random crit for like 150, so like it's not even that bad at combat.
The random crits on this thing are still really good. Compared to the equalizer, where it's like, oh, if you random crit someone at full health, it does like 96 damage or something.
Don't forget, the melee range on the disciplinary action is so long, you can hit people behind you.
Oh, yeah, that too.
No, it's stupid.
That's not honest at all.
And, like, honestly, I don't even think traversing the map, like, I know heavy to mid is one thing that people complain about with this, but I think that's peanuts compared to the melee range, personally. But,
I completely agree.
Okay, so cool. That's Soldier. Pyro. Okay, even as a Pyro main, I have to agree, Air Blast is bullshit. It's such a stupid mechanic.
I don't agree with that completely.
Really?
I think Air Blast is fine as a mechanic. It's basically just a parry.
And a knockback tool.
Okay, the knockback part I hate. I hate the knockback part.
Air Blast does so much. Like, I laugh at Zenith for complaining about it, but it's like, even as someone who plays a lot of Pyro, it's like, sometimes I shock myself with what Air Blast can do. And actually, it's not as bad anymore now that they fixed the hitboxes in the 64-bit, but
I think the fact that it like blasts rockets back as a parry is fine. I'm fine with that.
actually, I am too. It's like, and we'll see.
I
That
just-
part's fine. Despite what Zenith says,
the
I'll never
knockback.
be able to unsee the. I'll never be able to unsee the clip Zenith always uses to try and illustrate that Air Blast is unbalanced, where he's playing Soldier on upward.
Oh my
and he's in a
God, no.
tight enclosed space next
That's
to a
not even-
Pyro,
that's
and he
not even
keeps
complaining
shooting
about Air
rockets at the Pyro.
He complained that Pyro has too much health because he shot him 3 times and the Pyro is overhealed. But that's like a complaint about Medic. I've never understood why Pyro should be the one being complained about here. Because the reason why he lived 3 rockets is because he was being healed.
No, remove Medic and Pyro.
Remove Medic. That's a good take.
I
Anyway.
think that an argument can be made that it's like depends on how you use it, because the thing that most people complain about with the flamethrower is just like brain dead WM1.
Yeah. Actually, no. Even as a Pyro main, this does pain me to say, but I think every part of the flamethrower is cheesy. WM1's really annoying to fight against. I agree with Zenith on WM1 at least, where it just feels like you're on a timer, and even if you kill the Pyro, you're still burning and take a bunch of damage. Air Blast
Okay,
can be very
but-
cheesy.
But if you're losing in a 1v1 against a Pyro who's only using the flamethrower, it's a skill issue every time.
Definitely.
Or a map issue.
Every class has the ability to kill a Pyro and get out in enough time to get a health pack. If they're just
Yes.
WMing with the flamethrower.
If you play
it is a skill
perfectly.
issue behind it.
But it's also very annoying to know that you have to play perfectly while your opponent just has to WM1. I think that's, that's an annoying thing, even if it's, again, technically not factored into the balance.
I think that factors into a lot of class interactions. Like with Soldier again, like we only put the rocket launcher in somewhat dishonest for basically a similar reason, is that like, hey, he can just splash you, while you might have to play a lot better if you're playing something like Scout.
Yeah, I think that's like ×5 on Pyro, though. Like, WM1 is actually really annoying to play against. Even, again, I don't care if it's a skill issue, if it's bad, it's still annoying, all right? Like,
I would be leaning towards heavily depends or very cheesy.
I guess I don't find myself getting annoyed at WM1 very often because I don't very often die to it outside of like very enclosed spaces.
I mean, even if you don't die to it, though, that's the point. It's like, you still take afterburn damage. You still are out of the fight for way longer than you would have been because you're on fire.
Like,
and
is fighting a Pyro who's using the flamethrower particularly fun?
No,
is the
it's
thing
not.
here.
It's
Like,
really
no.
not.
I consider it a free kill like pretty much every time unless I'm
Who do
dealing
you
with like
play?
a god
I was
Pyro.
gonna, like, what? Who do you play?
Most classes wipe the floor with Pyro.
I agree, but at the same time, it's not a fun interaction most times.
Yeah, like I kill
free
snipers a
kill
lot,
most
but that doesn't
times.
mean that the sniper rifle is a fun weapon to fight.
I will put most of the flamethrowers and depend on how you use it, because yeah, I think like it can be. I don't know. It's just it's such
Like,
a
I think
hard
if
one
you're-
to rank.
I'd put
Like
it
I
in
would say that
somewhat
if you're using
similar.
the flamethrower to just like do some initial damage and like afterburn while you're having a shotgun centric playstyle or something, that's not very annoying. That's not very cheesy, right? That's just like basically
Yeah, I would say so.
the default
Or
way
like
the Pyro
a
is supposed
flare
to be
punch
played.
combo is completely
Yeah.
honest in my
Yeah,
Well, the combo is
a lot
again,
of people
negative
respect
gun.
a good flare punch or extinguisher Pyro more so than they would like a WM1 Pyro.
Yeah, I would say depends on how you use it. It's good for most of the flamethrowers then. So we'll do that. I think the degreaser is probably about the same.
Yeah, just more combo
and
centric because like the afterburn isn't very good.
backburner's about the same, I'd say too.
I think backburner's
well,
a
the
little more cheesy
backburner-
because you can die very fast at complete random. And I don't even think it's like because of the design of flanking. I think it's because the back hitbox is so nebulous that sometimes you take crits.
I'm gonna
you
agree with
really
Blue
shouldn't.
here. I agree with Blue. It feels like a weapon that can depend a lot less on how you use it, because it is kind of like the airstrike again, where it's just like there is one way that people use this, which is a lot of flanking and stuff like that. And again, the back hitbox, like it can fuck you over just as much when you're using it. But when you're the brass beast heavy who is just suddenly being melted and you have no idea why, it's like, oh god.
It's a flamethrower with a 25% random crit chance. It's just like, come on, dude. I'll put this in very cheesy for.
I don't think the
it's
backburner's I don't think it's cheesy enough to bump it into very cheesy.
Actually, no, that's
But I don't
kind of
think
my
it really
thought, though.
depends on how you use it either.
I also agree with that. I think there is one way to use this, which is what most people are doing. And I think that most of the things that people are doing with the flamethrower that make it more honest aren't being done with the back burner. So I'll put it here. I think
You don't
that's-
really see people doing combo pyro with the back burner.
Yeah, no, I'll agree with that. Flog. Okay, I hate this weapon. I don't
Yes.
think you should go to heaven. If you use the flog, I think you should die and uninstall the game. And this is probably one actually of my least favorite weapons to play against in the entire game.
Yes, like it is objectively Pyro's worst flamethrower in the game because Air Blast is that good, but it is one of the least fun weapons to fight in the entire game.
I have like a 100% rage rate playing against this thing. It just sucks.
It's just annoying.
It sucks so much to play against. Again,
Like
even
if
if
you're not insta-killing the Pyro, you're insta-dying to him, and
Yeah.
it's not fun.
I
It is
don't care if it
one of the
can be
most
your friend.
polarizing weapons in the entire
it's
game.
so obnoxious to just, especially because I feel like most times it's being run with a medic pocket, and I know that's not the fault of the flog, but it happens so often, and it can be boosted so easily by that sort of thing in ways that other weapons can't. Oh, I despise the flog. The white. I'm sorry,
It's
you're
so
outvoted
bad.
here.
I mean, I was gonna rank it very highly anyway, so I'm not particularly
Yeah.
offended on the flog's behalf. I'm not gonna white knight for this thing.
I'm white knighting for the flog.
I'm not gonna
Dragon's
white knight for
Fury.
the flog.
Dragon's Fury.
Dragon's Fury is
up for
interesting,
me.
'cause,
I
like,
think,
Very slightly cheesier, completely honest.
I would say, yeah, very slightly.
it still has
'Cause, like,
air
the
blast. I'll put it
afterburn isn't
slightly,
really
but
like it doesn't have the issues of afterburn. Like you're not on a timer the way you are with like the stock flamethrower, just because the afterburn is super short. Unless you like manage to hit it twice, I'm pretty sure. But even then, like, hey, that requires you to do something besides just like click on the guy for an extended period of time.
yeah, and I think the reasons why I would get frustrated at a Dragon's Fury user are more attributed to the fact that they're just really good in ways
Which
that-
would be
yeah.
like a similar situation like the scattergun or shotgun or something.
Yeah, and again, I can't really blame that on the Dragon's Fury. It's like, if you're good, then that's the reason why I'm getting frustrated and not because you're using the Dragon's Fury. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it in very slightly just because, again, Air Blast itself has enough things going for it that I don't think this can ever be honest, but
Even though, like, again, the air blast is
yeah, it's on a
super
cooldown,
limited on it.
so...
It's on a super long cooldown.
Flare gun, I think... Okay, I know you said
Completely
this was.
honest?
I know you said this was honest, but I think being able to burn people at really long range is basically the same thing that Cleaver can do. So I think this is slightly cheesy, at least.
Cleaver is way faster though. You can dodge a flare gun shot.
Oh, the projectile. Actually, no, I think they're the same speed.
Are they the same speed?
Yeah,
Like 3,000 hammer units a second?
it's the same speed. The flare just does less damage, but is more spammable. I think like
And then it has the crit combo, but the crit combo is a lot harder to land at longer ranges.
it is. Yeah, flare gun I'll put in slightly cheesy. Again, I think it's spammable enough, and
Basically,
it
it's for the
does
same
DOT.
reason, like
yeah.
Dragon's Fury.
But detonator. Okay, this one's kind of annoying. This is very spammable.
Yes, it's very spammable. And
I think
like
this
being
can
able to
be-
DOT multiple people at once, even if
put
it
this
does
in
take
heavily
more
dependent.
skill.
That's what I was gonna say, because some pyros just use this for mobility,
Mhm.
and that I think is interesting, because that's like
If you're using the detonator to hit a super saucy extinguisher combo, I can't be
Yes.
mad because I
Yeah.
got styled on, and at least I can respect that. If you're like spamming it across the map like I do in MGE edit, then yeah, sure, maybe I can see it.
you pissed off Zenith so bad.
I did, but he didn't counter it.
That's the thing though. Okay, in his defense, he was really tired, but
We gave him a
Um,
refresher. All right, we gave him a refresher and everything.
scorch shot. Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right.
anyone
this is
here
where
like
things
this
are gonna
weapon?
get volatile.
I
Does
think
anyone
it's-
here like this?
I don't like it necessarily, but I think this is actually less annoying to play against than the flog. That's my hot take.
Here's my hot take, and it's every time a TF2 YouTuber makes like a give me your hot takes videos, I'll take this. It's like a chain. I'll take a tweet, and my hot take is the score shot isn't that bad, and I'll just like copy and paste it every time.
How do you mean it isn't that
that's
bad?
my
I'd like to hear
opinion.
your elaboration on that.
I think a lot of what makes the scorch shot good is overblown. I think, oh, it's spammable. Well, so is the detonator, and the detonator is actually easy to spam because you can detonate it midair and
and that
manually-
takes
but the
more
scorch shot
skill.
just hits the ground next to people. That's way easier.
I think then the knockback is what annoys people more, but yeah.
Yes,
I
the
think-
knockback is easily the
And then
worst
people are
part.
like,
Listen.
it can one shot one light class, it can one shot a light class. But the thing is that basically necessitates that the class is standing still, aka hard scope sniper.
No,
Everything feels hard
listen
scope
to me.
sniper.
Listen to me. The fact that it is like if you get hit by the double flare, that is a forced retreat. Just because the pyro shot you with one thing from across the entire map. If you're a light class and you get hit by the double flare, you have to run away. You have to get to a health pack or a medic or something like that. And that is way too much of a reward for him just hitting you with one flare from across the map.
I kind of agree. I do think this should go indefinitely BS, but I don't think this is not going to heaven because I feel like in your average match, there are going to be more things that let you negate being on fire than there are letting you negate just
Exactly.
getting cooked with a flog.
I would agree with that,
Medics,
yes.
dispensers, sandwiches.
The fact that you're
Darwin's
forced to
dangerous
run to one of those
anything.
every time you get hit by a double flare is annoying and
It
horrible
is.
and should not be a reward for that thing. And also, long-range stuns that also apply DOT are fucking indefensible
I
in
don't
any
know
game
what they were
ever.
thinking. This has like every annoying thing in a weapon packed into one. But
If
it's
this
also
weapon
not
was
like,
an Overwatch, people would think it was annoying.
it's called a reset.
Well, everything in Overwatch is designed like the scorch shot, though.
Exactly, but people would think it's still annoying.
Yeah.
Anyways.
No, I agree. But again, I feel like there are typically enough things in my match. Like if you have a medic, the score shot really actually isn't that bad to play against. If you have a
At
dispenser,
that point, it's just annoying.
yeah.
Unless he's using the flog to charge it up for free, but then that's just into a different discussion entirely.
I was gonna say then that's I would argue, unlike someone like Grouch would say, I think that is you should blame the flog on that. I don't think you should just get
Yes.
free crits because you did damage. Yeah, anyway. Anyone disagree with putting this in the bullshit tier?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you would be the one to disagree with that. The what?
Yeah,
I
my
thought you were the
stance
whiny
is
bitch.
it is
Oh no, I'm not asking for higher. I think that's fine.
Okay.
my stance is I don't think it's even like top 5 most annoying weapons in the game. I feel
I
like
would
the
agree.
is overblown.
I would have to
I would
make
agree.
that list. I mean, I guess we're making that list right now.
That's
But
the
We're
point
making
of
it
what we're
right
doing.
now. We're about to see.
Man
Man
melter.
Melter.
Actually, I feel like the man melter is kind of dishonest because sometimes I just eat a crit for no reason. It's like there was a pyro on my team and he is spamming, and now I eat the crit as a result. Okay,
yes, that's kind of a getting punished for your teammates' mistakes sort of thing, which is always annoying, even on like a well-designed weapon like the Frontier Justice or something.
Yeah, I would put this in somewhat dishonest. I don't think this is overpowered, but I think just the fact that you can take 90 damage from across the map because your pyro that's not you is spamming is annoying.
I can
So,
agree with that.
I could see that.
Thermal thruster. Honestly, this is pretty honest in my opinion.
I would say it's pretty much mostly honest. It's
Yeah.
not an instant disengage because of the deployed time. It's fair because it forces Pyro to rely on their primary and melee weapon. So it's not like they can chip you across the map anymore, or even use a shotgun for burst damage.
Yeah.
If they are dive bombing you too, it's like, yeah, that
Look
can
up.
be kind of annoying.
It's like
but-
look up.
Well, again, it can be kind of annoying, especially because like they can just land right on you. But I don't know if that's.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just more the fact that WM1 is annoying and not really attributed to the jetpack. Like so,
It means
Yeah.
you're deaf and you're blind because it also makes loud ass sound effects when it,
It does do
activates in
that,
the air.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're
I'll
able
put
to
it
like
honest.
start countering it super quickly.
And if they
Gas
land,
passer. Oh boy.
You will not go to heaven.
well, speaking
not
as
go
the
to
resident Taco Bot member, yeah, I think
Yeah.
we should actually kill them and call them racial
Yeah.
slurs.
If you use this, we're gonna kill you with hammers.
Yeah, actually, I have a cinder block. My dad owns a cinder block farm where they grow them there, and
It's hard to
probably
even
pick them off
rank
the
this
vine and
one.
throw them at you. So
It's hard to even.
Is it
rank this
really
one,
that
like-
hard to rank this one?
actually,
I mean, like,
no. Hold on. Hear me out. I think that this is
Don't
kind
do
of
it.
cheesy, very slightly cheesy,
Don't
just
do it.
because. Just
Don't
because.
say what you're about to say.
I'm not even gonna say it's spammable because it's not. I'm just saying like it makes certain areas of the map more obnoxious to walk into. That's it. It's DOT. That's all I gotta say.
I would say that it's like 1% cheesy because you can throw it through a couple of walls.
It's not
But
completely honest. That's all I'm saying.
What walls though? Like Thunder Mountain, like first spawn.
I know you can. I know you can
And-
throw it through spawn doors. I know you can do that.
And
I was gonna say you're in.
gas
You're,
mask
you're
is
in
going to
spawn
have
mode,
to
to be
burn
fair.
during
I'm pretty sure there's one wall and upward. I've done it a few times.
I know it's not very good, but the fact that you just throw it at people and
Literally,
then they take DOT,
no one-
I think that's mildly
literally
cheesy.
no one has ever died to the gas passer.
That's
Okay.
not true. That's not true. I killed someone with it like once or twice, maybe. Twice.
I remember
know
the
twice.
date. It was September 15th,
I know twice.
2022. I gotta kill
The
it.
fact that you remember the only specific instances where you ever got anything done with this weapon, I think that says way more than whatever you were trying to imply with that
All I'm
statement.
saying is that it's not completely honest. I think that's a fair assertion to make.
I mean,
about
we
it.
said the same thing about the bison, right? Just because
Yeah.
of like.
Just because it's not
inconsistency.
good doesn't mean it can't be annoying.
Is every projectile in the game going to be in very slightly cheesy because you can spam it?
No.
Potentially.
Well, actually, maybe. I don't know.
Wait, what about the syringe guns?
No.
Well, we'll get there.
You can spam the syringe guns instantly and they're very cheesy.
Again, I'll just put. I don't
It's
think it's
completely
100%. I don't think it's 100% honest, which I think
Look.
bars it from this tier. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
It's the gas passer, bro. Come on.
Yeah, but
It's the
that,
Yeah, but
listen,
it's the bison.
we're-
Again, like
this is
you
a
weren't-
no coward argument. We're not using
the bison being
presuppositions.
completely honest too.
We are
I'm still holding
not
my
sitting
moral.
here assuming that things just because they're bad or they have meme value are honest. This is a
Like, listen, me and Blue have both come up with our own separate arguments, and all you can say is it's
yeah.
the
You're
gas
outvoted
passer,
actually,
bro.
so fuck you. Okay, fire axe, honest.
Yeah.
Third degree. I feel like
completely honest.
I was gonna
I don't-
say because even if
Hold
I
on.
okay,
If you're a medic and you get punished with instant death because your teammate couldn't kill a pyro running at them with their fucking melee, that's gonna suck.
okay, in very specific situations, I agree. This
But
can't be
again,
annoying
it's
for
the
medics.
only
Maybe don't
situation
heal
where
a
you would
brain
use
dead
the third
lobotomite
degree.
who can't shoot a pyro running at you with their
Well,
melee
To
out.
be fair, like what if he's at low health and you lock your beam on, and right as you do that, the pyro gets a random crit and you die because of it? Like, I don't know. I feel like
Is this
again,
another
this
one
is
where
this
random
is
crits
not a
matter?
completely honest design of a weapon. That's my
very
my
slightly
stance.
cheesy. Maybe?
Yeah, very
Again, we're
slightly.
talking about
Very slightly.
like if we're
that's
talking
it.
about the man melter punishing you for your teammates' mistakes, then I feel like the third degree
yeah,
ends
no, I
up
agree.
falling into that same category.
Extinguisher. Completely honest. I feel like this is a very agreeable
Yes.
opinion here.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, I actually agree with that 100%. Same with the back scratcher, actually.
Back scratcher, completely honest as well in my book.
Mm-hmm.
Is it though? Because medics can. Well, I guess farming Uber doesn't really matter. There are plenty of ways to do that.
Yeah.
I disagree that this is completely honest, simply because it does 244 random crits, which is a lot of damage. Or 234, something like that.
That passes one extra damage threshold, which is
I feel like
soldiers.
on
What I
Pyro,
played
it's
enough
not a
medieval mode. This is actually the
Look,
single
look,
thing
look.
keeping Pyro relevant in medieval mode. Like this is actually disgustingly good. As
Look,
a
if
melee
we're
weapon.
factoring
It's just on
if we're
Pyro.
factoring in medieval mode, just you wait for the Scotsman skull cutter.
I'm not
buddy.
If we're
saying.
factoring-
Well, yeah, the skull cutter's
Look,
going
if
in
we're
pretty
factoring
low tier.
medieval
I'm
mode,
sure.
then the Sandman needs to be way higher.
I just think that this is slightly cheesy because it can delete really easily. But
I don't think so. If think about it,
yeah,
I think
before that
on
class-
another class.
that is
I'll
one
agree.
extra damage threshold. That is soldiers, and they would be left at 5 health otherwise, assuming they were full health. I don't think it.
I'll
I-
agree with
I-
honest because yeah, on Pyro, I mean you're probably already getting cooked at melee range.
Like again,
anyway, so-
your option for like big burst damage on Pyro, like your other option is the extinguisher, which requires you to light people on fire in the first place, and like a big burst of fire followed by extinguisher. That's usually going to kill a soldier anyway. I don't think that matters too much.
yeah.
The
no,
only
I'll
situation
agree.
that does matter is in medieval mode, and if we're counting medieval mode, then the Sandman needs to be way higher.
I
that's
don't
my
think the
take.
Sandman's that bad in medieval mode. But,
No, it's good in medieval mode because it insta stops demo knights.
or that annoying. I mean, like, but yeah,
Oh.
demo knights are already pretty annoying in their own right.
They literally can't charge anymore.
We'll just put it in honest for now. Maybe we'll move it later. Again, we'll review the tier list later. But yeah,
Sure.
volcano fragment.
this is
Is
an
anyone
interesting-
gonna
honest?
come up
No.
after
This is an
thing?
interesting discussion because I feel like if it was
Is
on
it?
any other class, this would be annoying. But because it's
Yeah.
on Pyro, there's the knowledge
yeah.
of, oh, he could have done that
This is-
anyway. So
This
I'll
is
put it in
grouch
honest, yeah.
balancing of if only Pyro had a way of inflicting fire damage.
yeah, no, I think it's If it was on a different class, it wouldn't be, but because Pyro can already do this with any possible weapon that he could have equipped in his primary slot, it's honest. And again, if I die to the volcano,
neon, I will make an argument that the neon should be at the very least slightly cheesy, potentially even dishonest, because someone put water like 10, 15 seconds ago, and they will instantly die to this thing.
Neon's very cheesy because the times where you are running this, I don't even think it depends on how you use it. The times where you're running this is if there's water on the map, and it basically just gives you free crits for going in an area, which is stupid. So,
yes.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing there's 3 total areas in the game where that happens.
But again, if you do see this weapon, it's because those 3 total areas exist. So
I would make an argument for at least somewhat dishonest. Because you don't have to be inside the water to get crit. You just have to have been near the water or like inside of it a while ago.
How often do you feel good about? I would say somewhat dishonest, but
I would say at the very least somewhat dishonest. Yes.
Yeah, that's a medium.
Maybe if you play 2 for it and only 2 for it.
But then again, when else are you using the neon? It's like that's the only time you ever see it.
Why are you playing 2 for it?
When I'm
you
bored,
have to consider the only
3
situations where people are realistically going to be using the weapon.
You die to the Neon Annihilator like once, you go, okay, cool, there's someone running the Neon Annihilator, guess I'll just be a little bit more careful when I'm going through sewers this time, and it's never an issue again, ever.
Unless you get jump scared because, I don't know.
What if you're playing on like Pier?
I have played on enough like Pier, Banana Bay, Pipeline even that this can be annoying. Like there are some areas where you do need to go for the objective.
I have not gotten to a Pipeline game in ages.
People are a lot more willing to vote for the weird PLR maps now. I don't know what it is, but
man, I want to get into a Pipeline game.
It's fun. Nightfall. I like Pipeline. Nightfall sucks. I don't like Nightfall, but
oh, okay. Anyway,
Homewrecker bullshit. I hate this weapon.
Like maybe very cheesy.
I think there's a good argument to be made for bullshit because the only time you're using this is just to fuck spies, which already have enough problems as it is.
Or you could be the base person using this to wreck sentries with the
hell yeah, that's me. I'm that guy.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could, but
I have a strange homewrecker. I have a strange homewrecker, and let me check the stats here.
I bet you anything you've got more buildings destroyed than sappers destroyed. It really doesn't come up that often.
I have destroyed 25 sappers, but I've destroyed 53 buildings.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, they're probably all minis too.
Well, yeah, just the fact that you can one-tap minis with this thing as they're being built up, that's really good. You don't even have to use the Dragon's Fury for it.
Yeah, and I also don't feel too bad about it when I'm an engineer, because it's like, okay, well, I just put another mini down. I
just let a Pyro get in melee range in my buildings. That's on me.
I really think that the homewrecker is a lot more useful for destroying engineer buildings than
it is, but most people aren't doing that.
But when you do get your sapper destroyed by a Pyro, like a homewrecker Pyro, it is the fucking worst.
Hold on, I'm moving neon down the cheesy because I forgot it can do that too.
Yes, it can also do that, but the homewrecker.
If you're using a melee weapon for that, wouldn't you just be using the homewrecker instead because it does it faster?
Yeah, but it's still a possibility. If you're Pyro sharking and you see a sap building and you just unsap it, like, that's not fair.
When you're seeing a sap building in water, because when you're playing Pyro Shark, you don't leave the water.
Okay, consider. Listen, what if you're respawning though, and you see your teleporter being sapped? Like, I feel like there are times
will build like underwater sentries on like well and freight all the time.
Hear me out. So, in order for the Neon Annihilator to be useful, you need to be A, in water, B, near a building, and C, within earshot of that building so you know when it's being sapped.
Or you just respawn, see that your team's teleporter is being sapped, and unsap it for free when the spy should have gotten the teleporter pick.
I think the fact that the sapper matters. My personal opinion is that in the situations where you are going to be using the neon, then having the ability to destroy sappers is just like a bonus on top of that.
But when are you A, in water, and B, near a sentry gun?
You're not in. Listen, you're just on a map that has water on it.
I don't know if everyone is just Pyro sharking all the time. I don't know if that's the only use.
And why are you using the Neon Annihilator?
You can use the neon incidentally.
Yeah,
on maps
seriously.
Like on Well or on Pier. Here's a really good map for it. Have you not seen the Bad Weapon Academy on the Neon Annihilator?
I did. I did see it.
No, actually, because you're counted as wet and knee-deep water, the neon's actually I'm not gonna say good, but it's kind of fun to use on certain maps with like
CTF Sawmill.
Sawmill's a big standout, and also there's like always sentries down there. But you're probably also gonna put sentries in the 2 sewers too. So I'll make this
You guys got me. When you're playing CTF Sawmill and you're defending the intelligence,
what other times are you using this weapon? And like that's the only time you see it, and therefore it's annoying to fight against.
You have to consider we're under the assumption that you are using this weapon on a map that has water on it.
Okay, in the incident that I am playing Spy on CTF Sawmill and I invade the enemy base and sap the sentry, and a Pyro with the Neon Annihilator kills me in 1 hit and breaks the sapper. In this one specific fucking instance, maybe the Neon Annihilator could be annoying. That is literally all you got.
Dude,
and you're putting it in very cheesy.
You are acting like the fact that you're acting like he needs to just crit people and then instantly unsap a sapper in like the same instance. And not just like the very fact that a Pyro of all classes can fuck over a Spy even more than he already can by just removing his sapper.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
That's why we're just talking about putting the home wrecker in definitely bullshit. The Neon is just slightly worse at it.
If you're using... If you were a Pyro, want to fuck Spies over by destroying their sappers, you are going to use the home wrecker and not the Neon Annihilator.
Unless you're on a map with water on it, then you want to use the Neon.
In which case you actually... Yeah, but in those maps, you can use the Neon and get similar effects out of it, though. It's like,
in that
Sawmill.
On those maps that have water on them, why would you not use the Neon?
Okay, listen, the moral of the story is that the What's outvoted, and I watch Bad Weapon Academy because I'm a good boy. And
you didn't watch it, the what?
Yeah, you didn't watch it, and you said it was 0 out of 10 fun, so your opinion actually sucks, and it doesn't matter, so...
The what? You should try using it with the thermal thruster on Pier. Just dive bomb people in the water, see how much more fun that is.
Or Banana Bay, Thruster, Neon Pyro is really fun.
Really
I love doing that. Let's see. Yeah, the home wrecker. Is this definitely bullshit? I don't know if it is.
No, it's very cheesy, right next to the Neon Annihilator.
Because they both do the same thing, but one of them does it slightly worse.
Yeah, but one of them does it worse.
But it also has extra use cases. It can also insta-kill you because you touch
extra use case.
Oh my god, we're moving on to the power jack. This is unbelievable.
Don't make me tap the sign, Blue.
What, 0 out of 10? Is that what you're gonna say? Oh my god.
No, the sign says, "Why are you next to a building in water?"
You don't have to be though. You don't have to be in those situations at the same time.
It doesn't have to be in water. It can just be on a map that happens to have water on it.
Yeah, consider the following scenario: you're running the Neon because you're playing Banana Bay. You don't have to be near the water to see a sentry. Let's say you're running out of spawn. Your engineer has a sentry on the balcony. You see it's being sapped, so you kill the spy and unsap it. You're still running the Neon because you want to engage people in the water, but you don't have to be in the water to unsap or even see a building. It's not like you're just Pyro Sharking 24/7.
You're locked into the Pyro Shark mindset where you just stand around and wait for people to come to you.
Maybe that's why you think it's a 0 out of 10.
Pyro on a map that has water on it while having the Neon Annihilator equipped.
Or you could just use the shotgun and do the same thing better.
No.
Rawl's typing. Exactly, it shouldn't destroy sappers at all. Suck my ass to what? Okay, we're moving on to the power jack.
The comments are gonna back me up on this. I don't know why you two are glazing the Neon Annihilator.
We're just saying it's kind of bullshit. That's it.
Then put it in the kind of bullshit tier.
We did.
No.
Oh,
no. I meant the like the very cheesy tier.
Whatever. Okay.
The power jack, am I right?
Power jack, it's honest in my opinion. Fair trade-off, only grants you mobility. Doesn't really do anything else. So, any objections? You guys have gone silent after this heated debate.
No. I looked in another chat for a second to look at the comic thing.
Oh,
hot hand. Completely honest, I guess. I don't know.
I've never even seen anyone use. I don't have an opinion on this at all. I don't know.
Sometimes I use it just to see people's reactions if I can kill them with it. That's it.
I don't know. I've never seen this used. Literally never. If the Pyro's not friendly, I've never seen this been used to attack. Who uses the hot hand? I don't have an opinion at all. Fish, hello?
Hi. Sorry, I had to deal with something.
Good.
This is the moment where one of you guys, but now that I think about it, and then I lose my mind.
Yeah, no, there's no situation where the hot hand is annoying.
I was gonna say, there's 1 second of speed boost. Like, maybe you can, like, follow someone and pester them, but I don't know in which case I'd get annoyed by that, even.
If there's a situation where the hot hand is actually annoying, then I have not found
I was
it.
gonna say, I've never in my life been annoyed by the hot hand. The grenade launcher. I think that being able to instantly take 100 from any range and just have rollers and spam and stuff is at least kind of cheesy, but it's not like...
I find the rollers to be the most annoying part of the grenade launcher, to be honest, because, like, they're so chaotic.
I kind of want to put this in the
just
same tier as the rocket launcher, honestly.
Sometimes they'll just follow me, and I don't like it. They have a mind of their own, the
They
grenade
just
launcher
bounce in
rollers.
spontaneous directions.
I'd be fine with, like, slightly cheesy, because I think that, like, the grenade launcher... It's not quite as bad as the rocket launcher in terms of like the stuff it can do. It's just like the fact that it doesn't
Yeah.
have damage fall off is really its biggest selling point, I think.
It is,
Yeah, but due to the arc, it's not like
it's not unlimited range. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
okay, I'll put it
the
here.
lock and load, which I think there's a case to be made there.
I think Iron Bomber same tier as grenade launcher. First of all,
Yeah, they're the same
I think
fucking
lock
weapon.
and load,
Okay.
too.
lock and load. I think without roller, actually, yeah, because you can get hit from farther, but it doesn't have rollers. I think that evens out.
Yeah, give and take, it evens out.
Yeah. Unless you're European.
Loose cannon.
yeah, E2F2L or whatever it's called, seething. But loose cannon. Okay, I don't like the loose cannon. I think that not enough people talk about how annoying it is to not only just yeah,
What?
it's
Sorry,
a
continue.
dopamine weapon, but the fact that you could just be jostled around, sent across the map, insta-killed, it's like, I don't know. I feel like this is the same thing as the Scorch Shot, but
Oh,
because...
no, because the sportsman has infinite range.
But did you
yeah.
know? Did you know that the loose cannon can deny Ubers?
Yeah, but if I'm Ubering in, that's pretty bullshit. Just getting jostled.
I do agree that the loose cannon has some very polarizing tech attached to it with the knockback and with the double donks.
Do you find it fun to insta-die to a double donk, though, as a light class?
I never find it annoying, really. Unless the
find it
demo
fun
man is
Double
like,
donks, they earned it,
unless
they're,
he's
like,
so
spamming it.
cracked that he's hitting like nothing but double donks that I can do basically nothing. But again, this is a similar situation with like the scout thing or the whatever.
Yeah, I
It's just like, we're
guess.
not talking about like the people who are cracked as fuck and basically unkillable.
I think the
I'm
base
never really
knockback is-
annoyed by
Oof.
like insta-dying to the loose cannon. I'm honestly more annoyed by the knockback.
That's
I
that's
hardly
the
ever
biggest one for me.
die. I hardly ever die to the loose cannon. Maybe it's because
Mm.
like I think after a certain point, unless you're facing a god demo, any like somewhat competent movement is going to counter loose cannon double donks.
I've seen a lot of like really good demos with this, like within the last few years. I don't know what it is, but
Yes, I have.
maybe the dopamine release has gotten out.
I like the knockback of the loose cannon more than some other knockbacks, like the one of the Scorch Shot, because it is because it's more extreme. I think it's also a lot more actionable. Like I can get further away, which like from the perspective of the loose cannon demo, who has a lot less range than basically any other demo man, like that's good for me.
Yeah, but you can't strafe it though. It actually does lock your momentum when you get hit, I'm pretty sure.
It's a give and take. With the Scorch Shot,
think
just like
momentum
stuns you in
locking's
place. That's really
rough,
fucking annoying.
though. I think, yeah.
I think either
wanna
somewhat
put this
dishonest or
in-
very cheesy. I
I kind of want to put this next to the Scorch Shot. I think it has.
I don't think it's
I
Scorch
wouldn't
Shot
go
there.
that far. I would not
No,
go
I
that
think
far.
being able to kill light class is instant, like
the
literally
range
instantly.
of the Scorch Shot and the DOT,
Crazy.
I think that is what puts the Scorch Shot in the fucking tier it's in right now.
Ah,
I'd be totally
yeah.
fine with very cheesy next to the direct hit.
That's fine. Well, not next to it. I mean, we're not ordering it within tier.
Well, in the same tier as it,
Yeah, no, I get that.
but like for a lot of the same reasons.
Wee booties. I mean, I think on their own, they're completely honest. It's just the stuff you pair them with that's annoying.
Which is Demo Knight, because Demo Knight's
Yeah.
annoying.
But I don't think that's the fault of having 25 health and slightly faster walk speed.
Mm-hmm.
Although turn
Only when
actually
you're
because turning is kind of annoying. Not being able to avoid charges as easily, that is pretty obnoxious.
But like, how many demos do you know who even use turn binds?
I mean, even the default one where you can just slightly adjust your momentum makes it significantly harder to get away if they're charging at max range because they have a lot more time to turn.
I suppose.
I'll put it in slightly. I think slightly is a good one for this.
Sure.
Fair enough.
Stickies. Oh god, stickies. Okay, I think stickies are...
I would say very cheesy, maybe.
I think they are, honestly.
I think this is the only stock weapon that I could say.
Yeah.
Not only can you...
sniper rifles.
Actually, sniper rifles, yeah. But yeah, stickies, not only can you spam them with insane DPS, you get 8 bombs, you get insane movement, but you can also just stack them in some little fucking door frame and instantly kill the person that walks through. Yeah, this is just not a great... not a well-designed weapon, in my opinion, but, you know.
Well, it's certainly not a fun one to fight.
At the very least, you can say that, yeah. Maybe well-designed is not a stretch.
Scott Res doesn't have the same problems to nearly the same degree.
I'm going to put SCO-Res, and depends on how you use it, actually.
Far less, like, damage output, because you're just setting
way
traps.
More vulnerable.
But you're still easy. I guess you can still just instantly die. I think that's some amount of cheese, if nothing
way
else.
more vulnerable. Like, you basically have to...
It's somewhat dishonest.
I think it's depending on how you use it.
Because it doesn't have the spam factor. It doesn't have the spam factor of the sticky bomb. I think that automatically takes
it down. Does. It's just... You have to be more proactive than reactive with the spam. Because it fires faster, you can actually, like, waterfall control points with bombs. It's not, again, it doesn't work if someone's rushing you because they can just move out of the way. But if people are like, if they have to be at a certain place, like an objective, this actually is just as good as stock for spam.
I'd say it's definitely a give and take just because of how vulnerable it leaves you compared to the sticky bomb launcher.
Yeah, but the fact that you can still put bombs in a door frame and instantly kill people that walk through, and then instantly kill the next person that walks through too, even though your teammate died and you think it's safe because you can't really see what launcher he's using, I think it's still very cheesy, in my opinion.
That being said, it is very satisfying.
It's very satisfying to use. It's one of my favorite demo weapons to use just because it's a big thinker weapon. Sorry, a big finger weapon,
brain
if you will.
Big finger? Okay. Okay, I like big finger. Okay, I'll go with what you said just because you mentioned big finger.
In that case, it almost sounds like a depends on how you use it weapon.
Yeah, I guess. But I feel like most ways you can use it are pretty cheesy. I can't think of a not cheesy way to use this, to be honest.
That's fair enough.
So I'll put it next to sticky. I think it's cheesy for just different reasons, but...
I guess my baby love, the Quickie Bomb Launcher, would probably have to go in there for similar reasons.
Yeah, the fact that it's just as good at spam as stock. I mean, you don't get as many bombs, but you can just snipe people. I feel like, yeah, about the same.
It's like, whenever I use it, there's certain situations where I'm just like, man, that must have sucked for the other guy, but I never ever see complaining about it. It's so weird.
We will be the brave new people on the new frontier to complain about the Quickie. Not even really complain. It's just like, yeah, kind of.
I mean, I'm never really upset when I die to a Quickie launcher. I'm more just like, yeah, fellow Quickie Chad, what's up, my dude?
I don't know. Is it fair to put Quickie Bomb in very cheesy if we've all just admitted we're not particularly bothered if we die to it?
I guess since this is our tier list, I'll move it up to somewhat dishonest. No, I'll put it in somewhat. I think that's fair. Because you can't get spammed as easily. If you rush down the demo,
I've been annoyed by more Scott Res demos than I've been annoyed by Quickie demos.
No, I think just the play style the SCO Res encourages, which is like just camping, is a lot more annoying to fight against than people actually playing the video game with this Quickie.
Speaking of annoying play styles,
you to be like more
the sticky jumper is such bullshit.
The sticky jumper is so fucking
I'm putting this in bullshit. I'm putting this in bullshit, actually, because infinite mobility. It's no clip. It's the no clip weapon.
Literally teleporting across the map levels of mobility.
It's so
unlike the rocket jumper, you still have a really good primary to use this with the grenade launcher. And I can genuinely not think of a bad water match I have been in the past like several months where a demo with the sticky jumper did not instantly fly across the entire map to go spawn camp with his grenade launcher.
Oh my god, yeah. They should have capped it at like one bomb. Even then, it would have been really good. But god, yeah, this is crazy.
It is an insane weapon.
It's just literally the freest mobility in the entire game. It's actually nuts.
It is insane. People are mad when they like capped how many stickies you could use. Like, do you know how far 2 stickies will take you, you motherfucker?
2 stickies from Badwater spawn makes you hit the skybox and still make it basically all the way across. It's like it's crazy.
Insane.
Shield. I think all the shields are pretty cheesy. It's free mobility, free resistances.
Free mobility, a free crit attached to your melee, a free get out of jail free card. The shields do a lot for you.
The shields are really annoying to fight against. I hate fighting against hybrid or demo knights. Targe, I feel like is.
They're all cheesy in their own way.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
The most resistances, the Splendid Screen will just bonk the shit out of you, and then the Tide Turner, they go all woogity woogity on your ass, and you can't even see where they're going.
I kind of want to put the Tide Turner lower though, because Tide Turner is literally impossible to avoid. It's really good mobility. Okay, how about
It does give you the least opportunities to capitalize, I guess, though.
You don't get the crit, but it's a lot harder to avoid. It's guaranteed mini crit.
Resistances. So, like, if you don't capitalize properly, it is the most punishing. But if you do capitalize properly, it's arguably the most rewarding. So, again, it's a huge give and take. I'm really not sure. Like, they're almost all fairly equal, I'd say.
What were you saying, the what?
I don't know how high I'd rank them, because I never, unless it's like some god tier demo knight, I never died a demo knight, because I feel like every class has their own way of dealing with a demo knight.
Yeah, if you know he's
even
there,
if you're not
but
dying to the demo knight,
it's still annoying to fight.
Or Pyro or something, you see a Targe demo, it's just like, God fucking damn it, this is gonna take forever.
Yeah, it's like I have to burn so much of my time trying to kill him. That's the main annoyance.
I think it falls on the sword for like what's the most annoying aspect of demo knight. I feel like that's
the most important.
These add to it significantly, though. I don't think these are free
also
from
again,
sin.
you hate disengage tools. These are disengage
These
tools.
are free
they right
disengage.
and they run away for free. It is basically demo knight dead ringer.
And yeah, I think these have the same problem that you listed with the rocket jumper, which is even if you can't do much damage, you just get away for free, and you're a little mosquito. You waste so much time by zipping around the map and having infinite health. It's like
I guess all the demo knights I fight are the type who just charge at you and are just a free kill. Like, I hardly ever see...
You fight the live by the sword, die by the sword demo knights. I have to deal with the fucking invincible-ass Islander motherfuckers who are on like a 20 kill streak.
I hardly ever see Islanders.
I'm starting to think your MMR isn't very high, the what?
Maybe I'm just good at the game. I don't know.
No, because most of the things that you're saying are like, I never encounter good players in my skill-based matchmaking lobbies. I don't know what that means.
Maybe it's just because I'm above average skill level, so I stop average players.
I don't know if that's the case, because you're specifically talking about enemy player behavior, which is a little bit influenced.
Maybe
that's why you don't find
I find most players predictable.
Dude, what players are you getting matched with, though?
I would say that being predictable is not really the issue here. It's annoying to have be in the middle of a fight with someone he just runs away as soon as he realizes he's in danger.
Yeah, it's again the same problem that I have with Gardener soldiers. Easy. Like that's
unless you're playing heavy or engineer or something, it's really hard to just be like, okay, I'm gonna kill this demo knight before he gets a chance to run away like a little scared bitch.
Here's what I think. I think I'm gonna put, in my personal opinion, I will put them all in heavily depends on how you use it. Because depending on what sword you're using, how you're using the shields as a play style, I feel like all this heavily changes your annoying factor when up against a demo knight.
You know what? I can agree with that.
On one hand, yes, I do completely agree with that. On the other hand, I think there's enough passive stuff baked into him, like resistances, that they're just cheesy by the nature of existing.
But I mean, we said that about the rocket launchers, and they're only in somewhat dishonest.
I guess, yeah.
I'm fine with heavily defense.
Yeah, that's a good compromise here, I guess. Bottle's interesting because it is technically honest, but it's also like Demo Man. It's on Demo Man, and he gets random crits a lot more.
If it weren't for random crits, I would say completely honest. That's the only thing. Because Demo Knight's big weakness, like Sniper, is being super weak at close range, and that completely invalidates it, and it invalidates it a lot.
I feel like, just by nature of this being on demo, it makes it harder. I'm still gonna say honest, because it doesn't really do anything. And if I die, it's more about the random crit that I'm frustrated with, rather than the weapon. So I don't know if I can pin that on the bottle, but...
Unlike with the Scotsman Skull Cutter.
Unlike the Skull Cutter, because...
It's a separate case that I cannot wait to talk about.
Let's just talk about the Skull Cutter now while we're on the topic.
Fuck it. I'm not going to
only-
sugarcoat it.
Not only does this get random crits, which is annoying, but again, not what we're talking about. It's the fact that it gets random crits with increased damage and melee range. That is stupid. I don't know what they were doing with this.
And you can just pair it with something like the Tide Turner, which
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
Yeah. Why out of all of the swords did Valve decide the one with the flat damage buff was the best one to give random crits? Why is this the exception to the rule?
Literally, why is it an exception at all? Why
Yeah, I don't
doesn't
know.
a Demo Knight random crit exception exist? It's such an anomaly.
Oh, by the way, if you want to have a really fun play style, go Skull Cutter or Sticky Jumper Demo. The two most bullshit weapons in his kit pair really well together. Anyway, are we thinking bullshit or cheesy on this one? I'm not sure.
I want to say
personally.
cheesy.
Yeah, I don't
'Cause,
think
like,
it has
I wanna
enough.
say-
wings
As
to
much
be.
as I hate fighting against this, if this was a medieval mode tier list, you know
Oh my
this is you're not
God.
going to heaven.
This is you're going to
I
super
wanna-
That mode
hell.
is literally unplayable because
You
of the skull
are
cutter.
you are going to Has-Been Hotel, and you are going to be listening to every swear word in the span of 5 seconds if you're using this in medieval mode. But
Because I
Yeah.
want to say, like, if we're talking about like the reasons people are going to be using the weapons in the first place, the reason that most people use the Skull Cutter, I want to say, is because of the random crits.
yeah, I
Literally.
use this on explosive demo. It gives me free matchups
Best
against
stat
demo
is the
knights.
one
It's
that's not
so
even
funny.
listed.
Speaking of bullshit Demo Knight weapons, the Eyelander.
I'm kind of thinking bullshit for this. I think they give
I
you
think-
so much.
There's so much, and it's really good stuff. Speed and health are like the two most important things in the entire game, and it just gives you both of them. And the fact that you can like switch off of your booties and shield
Yep.
and just go like better demo man.
And the fact
He's
that it punishes
insane.
you for your teammates' mistakes, and the fact
That
that
too.
you can outrun a scout, so it actually does make Demo Knight 1v1s tough. Like, it's not a free kill anymore at all, and it's not because
Like,
of
you
your
can just-
fault, it's because your teammates died.
And
Yeah,
because
I'm
he's so
thinking
fast
bullshit on
and
this.
tanky, like the charge isn't even
Yeah,
necessary
bullshit.
for a lot of kills.
Yep. If you have, tell you what, again, I've said this a few times, but I know because some people will think, like, this is not a bullshit weapon. If you don't think so, comment why, because I am curious to hear.
And don't
An
just say you
Eyelander
watched the
demo with
Starlight
max
video.
heads has very little counterplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even
I
if
think
he
with most other
does.
demo knight weapons, there is a certain element of counterplay to be had. I think the Eyelander is the biggest exception to that rule.
Yes. And again, even if there is technically counterplay, it wastes so much of your time trying to implement it because he's so easily able to avoid damage.
Even
Despite
the
if you're having
Natasha
a lot of
head,
health
you
and-
can still
yeah.
be just wailing on
It
that
needs
guy
to
for
put a
ages.
passive downside.
It really does.
Yes,
I-
absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say the
Claymore.
Claymore is honestly probably one of the most honest of the swords. It's
It
just like
is.
the fact that it is a Demo Knight weapon means it is still a pick weapon.
Yeah, I'm putting it
Very
slightly cheesy.
Or not slightly cheesy.
Oh, I'm putting it in slightly cheesy because I think because you can like pinball back and forth. It's like yeah,
I
you
mean,
can-
that is really cool.
I know it's out of order, but should we just put the Persian Persuader next to it because it's pretty much the same philosophy?
Ooh, Persian Persuader does way more things.
I mean, you
though.
can destroy teleporters.
That is,
and send.
I think because
The Persian
charging is so
Persuader does
annoying.
the Claymore thing better, at least in terms of ping pong, because you like with the Claymore, you pretty much have to be using the Tide Turner.
Yeah, it gives you a
Yeah,
no. You can use
ping-pong
the
with the Persian.
Well,
You
with
can
the
use any
booties,
shield.
like the booties give you 25% on kill, and so does the Claymore. So if you're full Demo Knight with the Claymore, you only get like 50% back on a kill.
Mhm.
With the Persian Persuader, you can ping pong off of people all fucking day, no matter what shield you're using, as long as you got
I
the booties
love
on.
it for that.
I
It's
kind of
not-
want
I
to put
love
it
the
in.
first-
I'll put it in somewhat
the Persian
dishonest.
Persuader is easily the most fun Demo Knight sword to use in the
Dude,
game.
I love the Persian Persuader.
It
It's a
is
lot
so
of fun to
fucking
use, but it is kind of annoying to play against, especially because like Demo Knight can just get surprise charges because of like ammo boxes or
Mhm.
whatever.
There's a surprise charges and there's a surprise refuse, and those things are annoying to play against. But God, when you're
It's
when you're
really
in the thick
fun.
of
I
it,
won't lie.
it is it's so thrilling. I love it so
I don't
much.
know. Have you guys ever seen like a stranger use a Persian Persuader? I feel like I'm the only person I've
I
ever
see
met
it
that
reasonably sometimes, you know. Like,
Yeah.
I
every
never
now and
see it. I never see anyone using the Persian Persuader. It's
Well,
either
most
like
people-
everyone uses either the Claymore if it's Hybrid Knight,
Mhm.
Zatoichi, or Eyelander if it's full demo. Like literally nothing else ever.
I pretty much mostly see Eyelander Demo Knights because like it's the best one.
I see a lot of have Zatoichis. That's what I see.
I've seen katana demos lately, but I think that's mostly just because of the Solar Light video talking about how he thinks it's the best one. I
Wait,
disagree.
He just released a video on it.
Well,
That
he
would
made one.
explain
Like,
why you see a lot of Zatoichi nights.
yeah,
Speaking of Zatoichi Knights, I don't like this thing. I'm gonna be honest.
I like
Elon
it
kills
more
a
than
stupid
the kunai.
concept.
On soldier, I think this weapon is fine. On demo, I think it's a bit much. But the
It's,
thing is if you nerf it for demo, it's useless on soldier.
Yeah.
Does that mean it heavily depends on how you use it?
Yeah, if you use it on soldier, you're
I
based
think that's
as fuck.
fine. Yeah, I actually
Yeah.
because
Yeah, if you
even
use
if
it on
you
soldier, you're based as fuck. But on demo, you're
Never
kind of
mind.
lame.
yeah, I'll say heavily depends. I would definitely put it very cheesy though if we're just ranking demo.
Very cheap. Sounds
Caber.
about right. I still think that the eyeliners are better. Okay, if you are a Caber Knight, playing against a Caber Knight is fucking annoying.
It's pretty annoying. Again, even though it's not very good, it's the fact that you can just delete groups of people. and
It's
just be a
so
constant
fun when you do
nuisance.
it, but playing against it, like I've played against it before,
How about-
it's fucking annoying.
I think this is another heavily depends how you use it. Because if you're just a normal demo man
Yeah.
running the
that's
caber,
true, that's
odds
true.
are you're not very annoying. This literally is only if you are a caber knight and willing to sacrifice your personal enjoyment to
Or
get
sticky
funny
jumper.
kills.
Or sticky jumper. Holy shit. That's like
I think-
really obnoxious.
I
Just
think
coming out of the
even
sky
then-
and exploding.
You can't
No,
even
'cause
one-shot a light class unless
Yeah, 'cause
you're
you can't really
Yeah,
do
you can
anything
crouch.
with it.
But
if you crouch, but
yeah, no.
If they look up and see you jumping towards them, so if they're not a sniper, then you're not really going to get a chance to crouch at them with
I
your
think-
slow movement.
I don't think the ability to easily kill hardscope snipers is a factor in anything on this list.
No,
Yeah,
fair
no,
enough.
like
If
unless
that's
you're
the case,
Caber Knight, and
backscatter
Caber's
would be
literal
bullshit
garbage.
tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with this. Like it's basically crap on regular demo, but if
Yeah.
you are Caber Knight, then it is still crap, but annoying crap.
Okay,
And you're
heavy. Okay,
Oh, good.
here's where my
Okay,
takes.
it's time for us to outvote Blue.
I know
because
I'm
we
going to
need
be outvoted here, but I do at least want to voice why I
I'll let
don't
you
like playing
speak,
against
please.
miniguns. The reason is because it feels like due to the spread of the bullets and how many bullets there are and the rate that they're outputted, it doesn't really feel like it's possible to dodge a minigun in the same way it is. It feels a lot like fighting a WM1 Pyro, I guess is what I'm saying. I've never really enjoyed fighting miniguns because of that, and the fact that they can jump rev toward you is even more obnoxious. I don't think they're like that cheesy really, but I think they're enough to where I don't know if I would personally put them in completely honest, but
The way you talk about heavy, I thought you were sending these things straight to definitely BS.
Yeah.
well, there's a lot about heavy that builds up, but
I don't necessarily disagree with you. Like the minigun is kind of one of those weapons that you don't really want to engage with.
it's a
but, like,
non-engaged thing. It's so dumb.
Mhm. Like it is kind of like a sentry in that aspect, which I don't know how the fuck we're gonna do sentries, but
Well,
anyways,
because they're not a weapon. So
there you go. But yeah, it is kind of like that, where it's just like the biggest counterplay to a heavy most of the time is just like running around cover and waiting for him to come to you
Yeah.
so that you can like spam him out or something, or wait for your sniper or spy to get him.
I think the heavy matchup is just so unfun. It's
Unless
like,
you're
yeah,
a scout, and then you can just, like, jump
Unle-
around his head and like.
unless you're
I
scouting
will
demo, it's like,
say-
okay, sure, but
I will say this is facing heavy with medic combo. Solo heavy, I think, gets outmatched by most classes.
I think
Yes.
even so, heavy with really any support can be a nuisance with the minigun, just because, again, it does pretty good damage at mid to long range, like more than people expect. And I
Like,
think
in a
just because of
straight
that,
fight, in a straight fight, like just the minigun is something you do not want to engage with.
Yeah.
You don't want to be, even at longer ranges, you don't really want to be soaking up that damage, because that's just like that's damage you don't need to be soaking up, you know. When he just has to hold the mouse button down on you.
yeah, that's kind of my thought. Like, I would vote for slightly cheesy on this, but
Very slightly, I'd be fine with.
yeah,
I could agree.
I'll put it there.
Now, the
Natasha, on
fucking
the other
Natasha,
hand,
on the other
Natasha,
hand,
go to hell. All right,
straight to hell. Do not
Yeah,
collect
you-
$200.
I love using the Natasha. I will gladly
I
go to hell.
don't even.
the what?
I
Can we get
feel
Zenith in
bad
here?
about
I
it.
don't know if I want to talk to you anymore.
Look, it's funny to watch people get mad. Okay.
I
That's all.
straight up just
I can
feel
respect
too bad
that,
for
actually.
you.
I can respect the
You
trollage.
made that troll map, okay?
I can respect the
you can
trollage. I respect
sympathize
the
with
craft. I don't respect the Natasha, though, at all. Oh my god. This is probably the bottom one worst weapon to fight against for me. I can't fathom what they were
is
thinking with
one
the
of
design of this.
There is a couple I would rank worse.
It is one of the
What?
worst designed
Like,
weapons.
what?
in
We'll get there
COA.
when we get there.
Fair
but
enough.
There's stuff I hate fighting more
Okay,
than the
fair enough.
Natasha.
Yeah, like the warrior spirit.
Like- It's like the warrior spirit. I'll have something to say when we get to warrior spirit.
I
'cause
hate getting random
find that
crit.
one
It sucks.
really-
Um,
I do find
Okay,
the warrior spirit.
Tomislav, honestly, I want to rank it lower than the minigun.
lower or higher? Like what? Because we've used these
Like
terms
more bullshit,
interchangeably.
more bullshit.
Yeah, no, I agree. Being able to jump rev, more damage at mid
It's
range.
the ambush.
Oh,
That-
no. This is
Silent
super
rev up.
bullshit. Silent rev, the fact that you can encounter a revved heavy with no audio cues fucking sucks. I don't know why they did that.
That is the worst part of the Tomislav for me. If they got rid of that and made it audible in any way whatsoever,
Yes.
I would like it a lot more. The
I wanna
fact that
put
I
this in
can
very
just
easy.
get ambushed by a heavy, it is not my fault at all. Fuck you. That's bullshit. I don't like that.
It makes it sound when you rev up, but it
Not
doesn't
if
make
you
it
stay
sound
rev,
when you're like
not if
stay
you
rev.
just stand
Yeah,
there
no,
and
that
do
I.
nothing. Okay, like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
Very,
gonna
very
like just.
cheesy.
I would go very cheesy, yes.
Yeah.
Brass Beast. Honestly, I put it next to the minigun.
I think it would be somewhat dishonest. I think it's lower just because you have the damage resistance, meaning that if you're pocketed, you can't die to sniper in one shot. This is mainly just used to hold
It's not a
last.
bad thing, though.
No, this is mainly just used to hold last, and I think the problems that the minigun has, this has slightly worse.
Yeah, I don't think the damage resistances are all that big of a deal. Like,
It's annoying
Sniper
to
is
play against. I'll put it that
Sniper
way.
is the biggest situation where I think it does come into play just because of
Demos
the head.
also, you have to hit one more pipe.
But
yeah,
a
that's
brass
true.
beast is a free kill for spy every time, though.
Yeah,
true.
I guess so. At the same time, I don't know. I feel like this is normally the way that I see this used is basically non-interactive because it's someone either standing on the payload or last point and you just have to wait until one of your teammates deals with them 90% of the time. So,
I feel like the extra damage is just kind of offset by how much more vulnerable he is in the approach. But like if he is already set up, then there not much of an
Yeah.
approach to be gained there. But that's kind of the same with heavy in general. You know what I
guess
mean?
So I want to put this one tier lower, like somewhat dishonest.
Eh,
I
what
mean,
do you
I put
think
it
of
next to minigun.
I
put it next to
again,
minigun.
I think it has the
particularly
same. I think it has more problems. I think the resistance makes it more annoying to fight. The damage bonus means that it's harder to get near him. And yes, even though he's more vulnerable, most of the time this is used in practice. It's just people standing there with either medic or dispenser support, and they're just really annoying to kill, and you can't really fight them at all.
I'm
So-
personally not too annoyed by the brass beast.
Yeah, I
But,
think
like-
the fact that it's mostly a free kill for a sniper or spy, like.
Yeah, but what if you're not sniper or spy? That's the reason why I find this annoying, is because you just have to wait for one of those classes to deal with it, and you can't do anything yourself.
Well, I mean, if this is all predicated on you pushing into the brass beast heavy, if the brass beast is pushing into you, you win.
Yeah, but in what situation are you doing that? It's like, usually when I see the brass beast, it's just in a place that I have to go, and that's annoying. I don't like pushing into brass beasts at all. So I kind of want to put this somewhat dishonest, just because I think it's the camper's weapon. I think it's just really obnoxious to deal with in a lot of the time.
Well, the camper's weapon is the Tomislav because they'll just hide in a fucking corner and
Yeah,
but
but this does more damage.
I guess it's a slightly more honest version of the Tomislav in that case because it actually makes fucking noise. So
Yeah,
fuck it, somewhat
so-
dishonest. I'll be fine with that.
Huo Long right next to the minigun. Who cares?
Only if you're a spy, and even then you could just jump over the flames.
You
through the
jump
fucking-
over.
You can just jump
Or-
over the ring.
Or you get lit on fire, and you probably have the kunai anyway, and it doesn't matter. So,
Yeah. So for 99% of spies,
it's
it
like
doesn't
it's
fucking
whatever.
matter.
This is such a nothing weapon.
You could be running the spycicle and confidently stab a Hulong heater heavy and get out with your knife intact. Like, it's literally such a nothing stat.
It's cool when you like
family
jump on
it's
top
cool.
of someone's head with it.
Family business is completely honest.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
a
it's right
shotgun.
next to their shotgun.
The only time why I would get frustrated at this is because it's attached to Heavy, who has a lot of health and can be annoying to 1v1, but other than that, it's just a shotgun. It's whatever.
Yeah. If you are going to fight
Sandwich.
someone like that, then like having it be a shotgun duel is like probably
Yeah,
one of the better
that's
ways to
much
do it.
preferable than the minigun, honestly. It's like, whatever. If I die to a shotgun Heavy, sure, whatever, man. The sandwiches. Okay, this is interesting because I don't really like the concept of Heavy being able to full heal, especially when he can out heal a lot of damage just with the sandwich.
But again, like it's the thing of vulnerability.
He is vulnerable, yeah. But a lot of the time you will have team support too, and that kind of negates it. Also, the fact that he can just erase 75 damage from the medic. That's something.
Like, are you ever
easy? I'd put it in slightly cheesy.
Yeah, I'm saying slightly. I'm saying this is not honest, at least.
Okay.
Same thing with second banana. I'll put that there too.
Honestly, banana I might put up a bit higher just because it is so fast. Like, it's fast and it's a lot. The only thing is you lack the team support abilities, but honestly, like, I've never been annoyed by that when I'm fighting a heavy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think him dropping a sandwich for the medic can be annoying. I don't know if I'd move this an entire tier down, though. I feel like it's still about the same as the sandwich.
Yeah.
Maybe I just see, like, maybe it's just from my experience playing heavy. It's just like I get so much more use out of the banana than the sandwich.
You get more use out of it, but I feel like that's not something that's, I guess, unique to it. I feel like there are times where the sandwich is cheesier, so it kind of counters out.
Like, there's just there was this one clip, I think I used it in my Delocus bar video, where it's just like, I want to say I soaked up like 1,000 fucking damage just because I kept dipping out, dipping back in with my banana.
Yeah,
I mean, insane.
I dipped in and out with my banana too. With butter.
Because like in the time that it takes you to fully recharge your sandwich once, you can have like 600 health worth of banana.
Yeah, but I still think the lack of medic healing means that pocket strats are worse, which I think kind of counts.
Okay, pocket strats being made worse is definitely a solid argument. All right.
Chocolate bar, I kind of want to put in somewhat dishonest because you can't tell when he has the buff. And there are times where I've done 300 damage and been surprised that he's not dead.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I wish there was something to indicate that. You can only tell
when there's like the overheal particles when it is decaying.
But if he's not overhealed, it's like, oh, I land 3 pipes and think I win and like risk it for the last pipe, but he had the chocolate bar and there's no way for me to know that, and I die. So...
Or you can quick scope him twice as a sniper.
I think the buffalo steak sandwich is the most honest weapon in the game.
I would not even be opposed to putting this in completely honest.
You are taking away your gun. You are not having the cheesy factor of Demo Knight because you have no disengage, you have no damage buffs. In fact, you have a damage debuff, and you are foregoing all of this to use your melee weapon with mini crits.
And you have a damage vulnerability.
It's as honest as it gets.
And there are very few annoying melees that you can combo this with even. Yeah, I'm fine putting that in completely honest.
It's just the KGB.
It really is. But even then...
You are within melee range of a heavy. You deserve to die.
Well, I don't agree with that, but...
If you are in melee range of a heavy with his melee out, you deserve to die.
I guess. But,
you deserve to die.
Yeah, no, I agree, just because this offers very little in terms of mobility. It's like, it makes you as fast as a sniper.
Tell that to Europeans.
Oh yeah, sorry, heavy to mid is OP. I forgot about that. Bullshit.
Only in Europe, though.
Only in Europe. Only European heavies can make use of this. It's like things that only cause cancer in California. This is only overpowered in EA2 F2L.
Europeans just can't handle steak like us Americans can.
Yeah, we're real patriots over here. We eat our protein like man. Oi, bro, man, I gotta eat my tofu cubes today. Fists, honest, just a melee weapon. KGB.
I would put very slightly cheesy.
I think it's more than that.
I love playing heavy. I love using the KGB. I'm gonna be honest. These things can be very freaking cheesy.
Yeah,
they can be cheesy. I think that like just how often they are cheesy versus how often you walk in and then die because you didn't get a random crit or something. Okay, the fact that you can get a random crit when they provide crit for you.
Random crit on Timmy Gonzalez means 5 seconds of Tommy Slav crits. That's
overconfident spy going
that's
for a trick jab equals a team wipe.
One random crit turns any minigun into a flog. Great. Yeah, I kind of want to put these in very cheesy.
All right, fair enough.
I fucking love using the KGB.
They're really fun.
I love them.
Yeah, no, they suck ass to play against.
I wouldn't change a thing about them, but I'm not going to deny that they can be very cheesy.
And that's what I want to emphasize too. And if you're this far into the video, you probably already know this, but we're not saying that these weapons should necessarily be changed because they're cheesy. This is just kind of calling it how it is. And in fact, you can even like some of these weapons because they're cheesy. Hell, I love the Scottish Resistance, but I will admit that it's kind of bullshit. But yeah, no, that's...
I like the Stallion's backup. It's fun to use.
Yeah, no, a lot of these weapons are really fun to use, but just because they're fun to use...
Sorry.
Not to play against. Gru, I don't know. I feel like slightly cheesy because you get the health regen with the Delicos.
Oh yeah, that bumps. Well, again, that's like not necessarily the Gru's fault. That's with the...
It's a combination of both. I don't think there's either that can be solely blamed for that. But it allows Heavy to get around way faster than normal. So I think it's at least slightly cheesy. I won't argue for
Sure, we'll go with slightly.
I'd say slightly cheesy.
Fist of Steel. I hate these things. I hate these things. I'm actually putting these in bullshit. The amount of damage you can tank, the fact that these do normal melee damage and can random crit, and the fact that the overheal penalty doesn't matter if you aren't holding them when you're getting overhealed is stupid. I don't know
Literally
what they're
the
thinking.
only downside is like you take extra melee damage.
And as the what said, if you're getting into the melee range of a heavy, you probably are going to die. So
and like you can use that to bait people.
Yeah,
you could just be like, "Oh hey, I'm gonna come melee you, Heavy. Psych! I have my minigun now."
The other
I do that with
downside,
the shotgun all the time. I do that with the shotgun all the time.
yeah, just run the panic attack. It cancels out. The holster
literally.
speed.
No,
It's
I
so
literally.
Stupid.
Fist is Steel, panic attack. Someone gets overconfident, comes in, you just
It's the worst.
quick draw from your hip and just blast them.
Like I really like the fact that Heavy has a tool that lets him like cross sight lines easier because Heavy really doesn't have much counterplay against Sniper at all. Which like most other classes do have some kind of counterplay against them, or they're like Engineer or something and they're not really engaging a Sniper much to begin with. Heavy doesn't really have that. So I like that he has something against Sniper, but the problem is, much like the problem with something like the Vaccinator, it does that to fucking everything.
There was a what tournament was it? There was some tournament that I think the What and I were in. It was like a competitive sixes sort of thing for charity several years ago. And I remember their Heavy getting a 3K as I was playing Pyro because I was trying to burn him with an Uber, flare comboed him, and attempted to go for melee, but as he absorbed like a flare punch and several seconds of WM1 with more than half health remaining, and then as I went for a melee, he just pulled out his minigun and killed me when the Uber wore off. It's like, dude, really? This should not be allowed.
The Fists of Steel are fucking broken. They're like easily Heavy's best melee in the game.
Holiday Punch, I think it's another one like the KGB. It's very fun, but like, okay,
it really? Is cheesy.
You should not be allowed to stun lock people. What the hell?
Again,
it's the funniest.
It's really funny.
Game.
It's really funny, especially because like
without random crits, it would be so much better. Because if you're not only allowing a Heavy to get within melee range of you, but also to get behind you, like flank your entire team to do that, that's on you. That's a skill issue.
I don't know. I think removing the random crits would kind of kill it anyway.
It would make them really bad.
Because think about it. If you're using the stock melee and you get a random crit, they're dead. With the Holiday Punch and your random crit, you get to relish in it. You get to make sure they enjoy every last second of you revving up that kill taunt, and you get kill taunted, okay? You're dying with style if you're using the Holiday Punch.
I understand you get styled on. The reason why I want to put this in very cheesy is because you can just random crit a medic who's Ubered and you just win. The Uber's gone.
I was put against a hacking Heavy the other day, and I got Uber charged as Heavy, and I was pushing in, and he just perfectly D-hopped around, and he's using crit hack, so he just crits me with the Holiday Punch and stuns me.
It's actually the funniest hacker I've ever seen. What?
Yeah.
But yeah, the only correct way to use these is to buy the Schadenfreude, and then you just get to laugh with people. You just have a captive audience, and you get to share a laugh, and then you run away.
I would like to say to everyone who kill binds after they get stunned by the Holiday Punch, you are a pussy.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Fuck you.
I earned that. You gotta let me have it.
You got a random crit. You didn't earn that at all. Oh, come on.
You got in melee range of a Heavy. You okay?
You ambushed me because 2-4's a cramp map, okay? Eviction notice.
I don't know 2-4.
I don't know.
There's literally nothing annoying about the eviction notice. So that's basically
it is the eviction notice.
I feel like it's at least kind of annoying because the Heavy could just rush you down and aura you.
No,
is it though? He's tickling you with 30 damage punches.
Blue, it's not annoying. It's really not.
It's not annoying.
I feel like
It's honest.
I don't know.
It's honest.
I know I'm outvoted, I'll put it in honest, but I just feel like it's easy for the heavy to just constantly be on you. There's no way to get him off because he gets the speed boost on hit. But
who cares?
again,
and he's
I don't think
actively losing health and doing 30 damage with each punch.
To be fair, I don't think I've ever encountered that situation enough to be genuinely annoyed at this at all.
I've tried to get into that situation as an eviction notice heavy, and they just kind of kill me.
There's been times where I was able to get like 3 kills with the eviction notice because you're just running around like a dumbass, and your team and your enemies are brain dead.
Warrior Spirit, I guess if we're putting Back Scratcher and Honest, this one goes in there too. It's basically just the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say though, I love these because if you ever meet a really overconfident kunai spy, these will one-shot a kunai spy with no health. So they'll just come at you. They'll just come at you and they're like trying to do the matador and you just bop and they're dead.
Medieval mode heroes right there. I'm telling you. That and the Back Scratcher. One shot.
Not even medieval mode, dude. You whip these out in front of a kunai spy and their ego will force them to try and trick stab you.
This fool has pulled out his melee against me, the superior kunai spy. Right in the fucking face.
Dead.
Normal hit kills a normal health kunai spy. A random crit kills a max overheal kunai spy. Perfect. It's chef's kiss.
So good.
Rescue Ranger. I think this is pretty
cheesy.
bullshit. Yeah.
At the very least, very cheesy.
The fact that you can keep buildings healed from a distance in which the engineer cannot be harmed, and then if you think, oh, they're out damaging my building, yoink, no more.
It is a heal during battle as well as a disengage tool.
You can disengage your sentry from long range. Why? I think this is bullshit, but I'd be fine with it's very cheesy.
I think very cheesy, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Widowmaker, I think this is honest, actually. Although,
honest.
I think it's okay. So my counter argument to that, I guess, is that it's slightly cheesy because if you pair it with certain items, it does punish you indirectly by the mistakes of your teammates. If your teammates are bad enough to not be able to out DM the Widowmaker engineer, he now has full metal to build more minis.
I don't think that makes it bullshit in my eyes. Because you could say the same thing about an engineer with a stock shotgun picking up an ammo pack off a dead teammate.
Yeah, but he gets full ammo, I guess, but at the same time, it's a higher reward for what, I don't know, for what you're not responsible for.
I think it's honest. I think it is like as honest as a weapon concept can be.
Concept, like yes, but yeah, okay, whatever. I'll put it in honest. But
that's the
not that one. Not that one.
I mean, is the Thompson honest? Like, no, actually, because
no, not at all.
Because Drain Cloak and Drain Uber is stupid. Those are stupid stats. Get rid of them.
I kind of think this one depends on how you use it.
The what? You're the Thompson expert.
Yeah, no, go for it. You're the Thompson.
I am
man.
the Thompson.
You get full vote on this.
On paper, just looking at the stats, this should be in like very cheesy or definitely bullshit. But the thing is it's tied to the Thompson with the slowest projectile speed in the game, minus like uncharged stickies. So literally, if you get hit by a Thompson shot to lose that Uber, you deserve it. You absolutely deserve it.
The what? Are you just playing on giant open field maps? Like what maps do you play on?
No. Because the Thompson's Uber charge drain has fall off.
It
has fall off. So if you get hit at long range by a Thompson shot, it's not draining 10% Uber. It's draining like
2%
or to 1%. You know, which is nothing. Which is absolutely nothing.
Like you will get that back as you are healing the guy before the engineer's next Thompson shot even hits you.
So in order to get the use out of that 10% Uber drain, you need to be next to an engineer. And if you're allowing yourself to get hit by a Thompson in close range next to an engineer, that is a positioning problem and a movement problem because you allowed yourself to get hit by the fucking Thompson.
I think you're missing the point of this tier list. I agree with you, but I think you're missing the point. This is how fun is the Thompson to fight against? And in my opinion, honestly, not very, because it's just spammy. And if it does hit you under those circumstances, it is kind of annoying.
Yeah, you don't want to get hit by this thing. I would put it in like very slightly cheesy just because, again, it is so bad. Yeah. It's like pretty much any of the other weapons we put in that tier.
Under most circumstances, if an engineer kills me with a Thompson, it's like, oh shit, good for you. But yeah, if I am a spy or a medic and he's just pestering me or just spamming a choke because I guess he has infinite ammo with most things anyway, but this is a long range projectile. It's like, yeah, kind of unfun. I'll put it in slightly cheesy.
I agree.
Frontier Justice can be, I think, pretty cheesy too.
This one's pretty cheesy. I
think that the Frontier Justice is a really well balanced and designed weapon, but like in terms of being fun to fight against, I don't like eating 180 damage without like all that much warning.
Timmy Guns always fed to the sentry 3 times in a row because he thought he could out damage it with his pistol, and now you get crit because of that. Like, great, thanks. Yeah, I think this is probably the most well-designed and well-balanced weapon that is also complete bullshit. Similar with the Market Gardener. I would put this in...
Very cheesy,
probably
maybe?
very cheesy. I don't think
because, like, again, it can't be. Depends on how you use it. Because most people use it basically the same way.
There's one way to use it, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Now we want to talk about bullshit weapons.
Wrangler, not going to heaven.
Both of his secondary.
You are
Any
not going to
arguments?
heaven.
Yeah. Also, you're not going to heaven if you use the short circuit. If you basically,
I like only use the pistol on engineer because I hate both of these weapons.
My hot take is that I find that people have gotten good enough at taking down wrangled sentries that I think the short circuit's more annoying to fight.
I despise the short
Wrangler is
circuit
10 times more annoying than short circuit.
Interesting. I think the opposite, but I'm not gonna vouch for either one. So,
I just want to play Demo Man, you stupid brain dead fuck on the payload
no
part.
arguments there. If you're one of those psychopaths in the comments who wants to vouch for these weapons, go for it. Send your wall of text.
If you think that the short circuit isn't bullshit to fight against, please leave the essay in the comments about why you main heavy.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I don't see what the problem is. I just have a hit scan weapon. Wrench.
Even sniper, I can't even like snipe them because it's just this giant fucking ball of blinding light.
It's a long-range smoke grenade. It's so stupid. And also, why doesn't this have not blocking metal regeneration while active, like the Beggar's does? This doesn't. You're telling me it's fine for engineer to sit on his dispenser or payload cart and have infinite balls? I'm going to infinitely cut off your balls if you use this. Yeah. I will torsion your testicles if I see you using this on a payload cart. The stock wrench, pretty honest actually.
Completely honest.
Yeah.
Only
if Raw was here.
I was gonna say only cheesy point you could give against this is that it does heal a lot to sentries. It lets you out to heal a lot, but
yeah, like it is good at the defensive hold situation with engineer, but like
that's every wrench though.
Yeah, but then again, we put every rocket launcher in a low tier. I wouldn't be opposed to putting this in slightly cheesy because this does heal a ton. This does actually let you out heal a lot of damage sources.
I don't know.
I feel like the damage sources that it can't out heal end up balancing it. But again, it's not about balance. It's about like, I mean, how fun is a sentry gun to fight? It's not really, is it? Unless you're like using the the lock and load or something.
Okay, so to me, fighting a sentry gun is neutral. If depending on what class I am, it's like, okay, it's a fun little puzzle to take down. Fighting a sentry that is actively being repaired is ass. And that because wrenches are the main thing that do that, I think they at least should go in slightly cheesy.
Okay. Because again, like I feel like approaching this from just both the angle of the nature of a sentry gun and also what that wrench allows you to do on top of that, like with the Southern Hospitality and its bleed shit, which I guess we'll get to. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a hard angle to approach things from, but it's fun. I like thinking about weapons like this.
Okay, in that case, I'd be fine with slightly cheesy.
Okay, I'll put this and I'm gonna be honest, dude. I don't think the Southern Hospitality bleeding on hit is enough to jump.
Yeah, it absolutely is. You're not going to heaven.
I'm sorry, Grouch. I didn't mean to.
Bleed damage spotted.
I'm sorry, Grouch. 65 damage, unlimited ammo, and bleed. Holy shit, this is overpowered.
How did you not nerf this on your server?
Bleed.
Yeah, I'll put this right next to the wrench. It's the same thing. If you are a spy and you get hit by this, you probably would have died anyway. That's my hot take.
If you're a spy and you get hit by it, you decloak, and then the debuff is reduced.
Jag is an interesting one.
I feel like it is more cheesy than the wrench because you can set up buildings faster, but I feel like it's not cheesy enough to justify a lower tier.
Maybe it depends on how you use it. Because, like, this could almost be a battle engineer weapon.
I would accept that, actually. Yeah, because you can set stuff up really fast.
Like
Especially if you're redeploying. That's the annoying part.
Mm-hmm. That, too.
I'll put this in depends on how you... I agree with that, actually. Eureka Effect...
Eureka Effect maybe, too, because, like, getting spawn camped by a Ninja is obviously not very fun. But if you're just using it as a defensive hold weapon, then it's just the fucking stock wrench.
Yeah. Ninja shenanigans can be very cheesy.
Ooh, that engineering sucks ass to play against, especially because you're just like wasting so much time trying to find the teleporter that makes no noise and is like barely visible.
Because he's hidden it inside like a plant prop or something.
Yeah, like really. But again, that's
speaking
more
of hiding your buildings instead of plant props, the gunslinger.
Yeah, I think this is a cheesy weapon. We said we weren't raiding sentries, but this has a sentry attached to it, so I think...
Yes, like the main draw of the gunslinger is the mini sentry.
I wouldn't even be opposed to putting this in bullshit. The spam ability of minis and just how annoying they are.
I would put very cheesy, just because
I think BS is too much. Just because if you sneeze on a mini, it dies.
Yeah, the viability of spamming, I think, is very map dependent.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll say very cheesy is fine. Okay, syringe gun. I think this one is honest. I don't have problems with this.
I feel like, honestly, all three of the syringe guns are honest.
Not the Blitzsager. Yeah, Blitzsager is very slightly cheesy because the health drain can be surprisingly annoying to deal with. The health heal and hit.
The health. Okay.
It can be annoying. Can be annoying in enough situations where I don't think it's completely honest. That's all I'll say about it.
Okay. I have had a couple of Blitzsager medics like survive a fight just because they use the Blitzsager.
It gives you a lot of healing. It is actually insane, like 90 damage.
You can 1v1 a heavy. I've done it many times before.
Actually,
the healing is actually insane. I love it.
You might have talked me down. This actually might be more than slightly cheesy. This can seriously...
No, it's still a needle gun at the end of the day, though. Dude.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's still a needle gun.
Do you enjoy fighting Blitzsaugers, though? Do you enjoy fighing needle guns? They're just weird and...
I don't know. I never see them. Everyone uses the crossbow.
That's
it's a needle gun. It's not particularly good.
Again, like if it's some bad weapon, but it's got like a minor annoying issue, then I don't really mind putting it in very slightly cheesy. Like that's fine.
No, that's fair. Overdose, I feel like this is close enough to a disengage tool, but it's proportional to how much the medic wants to disengage.
I think that's a fair trade-off, honestly. Like that is a huge risk to like deciding I'm going to keep this like large amount of Uber that I have in exchange for pulling out my needle gun, and instead of like, I don't know, healing someone to get that extra bit of health or extra bit of Uber rather, or if I do have my full Uber, then like just popping it.
Well, yeah, I guess if that's... Well, because you want to try to save your Uber. I mean, using it's like last resort, especially if you don't have stock Uber. That's also...
But again, like if you are pulling out your needle gun instead of using your Uber, then it's like you're really counting on your timing ability to make sure that, oh shit, I better not get sniped or just like instantly one-shot by something. Because like if I do, then I tried running away instead of popping for nothing.
Yeah... How fast is the speed boost? I'm trying to remember. I don't see this.
I think it's slower than Scout.
It makes you a little slower than a Scout.
I
don't think there's any cheese.
No, I think this is honest. I think that's honest. I can't see it. I was trying to remember how fast it was, and if it was faster than Scout, that's like something. But
at what point are we just like getting any reward is cheesy, you know?
Yeah, but then again, if you're trying to drop a medic, if you're trying to drop a medic with full Uber and then he just sprints away at Mach 3, like that's not fun. Come on.
But, yeah, but the trade-off.
Well, not being able to kill a medic for any reason is not fun.
Yeah, but again, even if it's one, never mind. It's honest. I'll agree. Okay, the crossbow. I think this is bullshit. This is actually way more bullshit than people say.
Yeah, I think it's really strong.
not even strong. The fact that you can get pegged from across the map for 75 damage from the healer class, who is also using a tool that is supposed to sacrifice damage and can also heal teammates with burst damage for 225 each, and can keep people alive from out of range like the Rescue Ranger, and can spam this because it has like basically infinite ammo, and reloads passively so you don't even have to worry. Like, dude, this is stupid. I hate this weapon.
It is surprisingly annoying to fight, but I think everyone gives it a pass because it is literally the only thing that makes Medic fun to play.
Yes. I hate fighting against this, though. It's like you just spam and you just take 75 at long range. Like, what the hell?
It is also so annoying being in a fight with someone and then you just see like that bling, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, god damn it.
Oh, and at no risk to the medic, now this heavy is 225 health stronger. Great. That's really fun. I enjoy that. So
pretty much the only quote-unquote risk is that maybe the medic can get like tunnel vision on just like spamming his crossbows, and maybe he'll like get backstabbed by a spy or something.
The only risk is that the medic gets so bored being completely safe that he's not paying attention.
I feel like it's because this is the only like medic primary designed to be good.
Yeah.
Because the needle guns are designed around medic not being a damage dealer.
Exactly.
And
I
then
don't know
the
why
desert
the
is like,
only
yeah, we
one
give the fuck
designed
up.
to
Medic's
be
a damage
good.
dealer now.
I can't put this in you won't go to heaven because this is what's encouraging most medics to actually play the damn class, but
Yeah. If this weapon did not exist, no one would be playing medic.
Okay, Medigun. This is really weird.
ooh, this is
to tackle
contentious. I think the
because
stock Uber is really unfun to fight. I agree
Yes.
with you, Fish.
you cannot do anything about it unless you're like a Pyro.
And also, it's just like, I know there's a risk-reward mechanic. I know medics have to build, but on the receiving end, which is what this video is about, you're fighting a medic, and then he right-clicks, and then he wins. Cool.
Unless
Good fight.
you have your own medic. I think just having a medic in general is really fucking annoying.
All pocket medics in general, which all of these do
Not
very
even
well.
just pocket medics, right? Like if the other team has a medic and you don't, there is literally nothing you can do about that. They will just
Except
win.
switch to medic.
Yeah, except for switch to medic, but no one's gonna do that.
I was gonna
'cause
say,
I
no
would
one
think-
wants
change you
to
want to
play
see in the
medic.
world.
No one wants
I
want
want to play soldier. I'm really good at soldier.
Okay, Fish, to be fair,
What?
there have been plenty of times where I am like the only one doing damage on our team, and then I say, can we get a medic? And they say, oh, well, if you want it so bad, you go medic. And my immediate response is no, because none of you
Well, maybe
fucks
the
are
only
doing enough
reason that-
damage to justify me going medic. So
Maybe the only reason they're not doing enough damage is because they don't have a medic. Do you ever think about
I
that
seem
one,
to
Blue?
function just fine, but no.
Well,
Anyway.
That's
clearly
my
not
go-to
functioning
response.
just fine 'cause you're
Anytime
not
anyone
winning.
ever asks for a medic on the team, I go, you go medic.
And then if I'm top scoring, I have binds for that. Anyway,
Well, normally I'm the one top scoring because I'm such a giga chad, so. You know.
mediguns are hard to rate because I agree that just the existence of any of these on the enemy team in general is pretty obnoxious. And I understand most people have just kind of accepted it by now because it's just like, oh yeah, that's just what TF2 is. But no, I think that it is worth having the discussion that this is annoying.
Like, medic is obviously extremely healthy and beneficial to the game's design.
Yeah.
Especially in terms of like breaking through things like defensive holds and stalemates and shit like that. But that doesn't change the fact that like if you are fighting someone who is going to be at like 150% health basically all the time, that is a
Yeah.
fight that you are going to have a much harder time winning.
And also,
all
if
of the
you're the
time.
one responsible for holding the defense and like making sure they can't break through, the fact that there's nothing you can do for 8 seconds is kind of stupid.
like
it
especially if you're the
non-existent
engineer.
counterplay.
If you're like the engineer, if you are the engineer and you're like, it is your job to just like keep your shit safe, and it's like the sniper's job to deal with the fucking medic, and he's not doing his goddamn job, then you're just like over there like, what the hell, man? Like, you can't do anything about it. What the hell are you as an engineer who's already got to defend all your shit gonna do against the medic?
Yeah, and I understand there is like some counterplay to Uber, like Pyros can air blast, there are some weapons with knockback, but most of the time you're not going to be those class, and even if you are, you're not going to be in a position where you can capitalize on that, meaning that there's either nothing you can do without relying on your teammates, which is just not inherently not a fun mechanic, or not a fun situation to be in, or I forgot what I was gonna say, but
So what are we thinking for this?
I don't know. I don't know if the mediguns are cheesy. but I don't
I
think they're-
also don't know about. Okay, I want to say that the crits.
Oh, one of the
cheesy, but
mediguns
I'll-
absolutely
Okay,
is.
the stock medigun, I'm gonna put in somewhat dishonest because I think fighting Ubers is not very fun.
Okay. Crits Creek, I think that fighting Crits Creek medics is really fucking annoying.
Yeah.
I would put Crit Squeak in very cheesy, just because
that's where I was thinking too.
medic e-girls and their boyfriends who just
I
dominate
might
with
put it
ammo
in
and
depends on how you use it because some crits pockets are a lot
Okay.
less annoying than others.
But consider that when the crits medic uses his Uber, he turns whoever he is healing into just like you fight this guy and you die.
Yeah, but you can still kill the medic, and I find that sometimes that risk is fun. I like there actually have been times where it's like, ooh, crits pocket, and I'm scout. I'm gonna try to rush in and do something cool. I'm heavily leaning on heavily depends on how you use it because like crits heavy sucks ass. Crits demo, depending on the map, can suck ass. Crits like scout can be interesting. I don't know. I feel like sometimes it's just a lot less annoying than others.
yeah, but if
I
you're using the
think-
Crit Squeak, you're sticking to the power class and you're Ubering them.
Not always.
Yeah.
Not always.
I feel, the
But-
thing is like with the Crits Creek, the fact that it has the faster charge too just means you're fighting it more often, which I just find so obnoxious.
Counterpoint though, I love fighting crit soldiers as Pyro. It's so fun because they get so cocky.
That is very
and
funny.
you win.
Yeah,
But-
absolutely, you win.
That is
Let's have a shotgun.
extraordinarily funny. But when
Right.
you're not playing Pyro, when they're not playing Soldier, which is like a
Which
lot
is-
of the time.
I think it's a heavily depends, but I don't
All
know if
right,
it's
we can
very-
What
I could-
are you thinking? What are you thinking? I'm thinking very cheesy. He's thinking heavily depends. You're a tiebreaker.
my heart says very cheesy, but my brain says heavily depends.
All right, heavily depends it is.
Okay. It's like, yeah, because I just don't feel as annoyed when I'm fighting against the Crits Krieg in every situation ever as what would justify as very cheesy. I think that there are plenty of situations where I'm not annoyed really at all. So,
I just think med pocket duos that just
Yeah,
go into lobbies
that's
to
the
stomp with
situation
demo
that
man.
would be very
That
cheesy.
shit annoys the fuck out of me because at that point you're not even playing the game.
but yeah, no, the medics that like just watch a Ray 7, they're like, oh, this is the best medigun for defense. And then they're like, okay, well, crits to deny a push. I don't know. It's just not as annoying
It's
sometimes.
not the best medigun for defense, by the way. It's
I know,
not.
I don't know why they
There's
said
there's
or
a
no,
better
off-
one. There's a better one. There's a better one.
Yeah. Quick fix does annoy me a bit. I just don't like people erasing damage as much, but it's not much.
I
worse
would
than the
put it
stuff
in
they
very
do.
slightly.
Just because you're so vulnerable during an Uber.
I would put it in very slightly. Like I think it's the most honest of the mediguns. Like it's maybe that's just me because
The
it's my
healing
personal
is
favorite to
really
use.
good, but yeah.
The healing's really good, but honestly, the fact that you're not constantly like at a super high overheal,
Yeah.
I think that makes it a lot more fun to fight.
I just think the concept of healing in general, again, is just annoying no matter how you slice it. And I
Sure,
don't
but
think
like this makes it the least annoying, I think.
it gives you the most healing though. Yeah, I guess I could do slightly cheesy. I kind of want to put it like,
So what are you thinking?
I think very slightly cheesy. It's
Yeah,
an honest
okay.
job. You're just healing your teammates and being supportive, like a single
Yeah.
mother. I love single mothers.
yeah, we like single mothers on this channel, and also don't.
You know what we don't like on this channel?
You guys ready to tear the vaccinator a new one?
God. Okay. So first of all,
If
no
you use the
contest.
vaccinator, you're a pedophile. Fuck you.
Here's the deal. I've seen people say, "What's the problem with the vaccinator?"
They are
It was
pedophiles.
it was a week ago. What you and I and Raw were just playing on, what was it, like altitude? And you, because you had a vaccinator pocket as gun spy, you out DM'd an overhealed heavy. And not even trying to dodge. Not even trying to dodge. You walked at him. You absorbed all of the damage you could have possibly output.
I was
I can
playing
see it in my
Enforcer,
head.
and
There was
Raw
no way for the
pocketing
heavy
me.
to play that
I out-DM'd
situation
the
any
heavy.
better. Horrible weapon.
But he
If
should
you-
he should have just pulled out his melee. He should have just pulled out his melee. That's what everyone fucking says.
Oh my
Everyone
God.
says, "Oh, just pull out your melee against the vaccinator medic, dude."
Oh, it's
That's what they all
that
sound
easy.
like. This is the worst weapon to fight in the entire game.
Oh my god. This is actually the worst designed weapon. I think I mentioned like the Natasha was. No, it's this. I changed my
This
mind.
is the worst one. This is the worst thing to fight in the entire game. This is arguably the most overpowered weapon in the entire game.
It is nuts. This is unacceptable design. I don't even know what to say about it. That's not obvious to me, but
for some people, it's not obvious.
This is defended.
Some people are just like, oh, the
People
vaccinator
defend
takes
this
skill
weapon.
to use. Those
Yeah.
people, you also go to hell.
It's probably the medic girlfriends are the ones saying that.
They literally just medics have to think for literally once in their life when they're just like, this is just such a high skill gap that I can't
Literally,
possibly
I have
cross
to
this
press
barrier.
R on my keyboard. Oh my god. I don't know how I'm gonna live.
Yeah, and during the game that we were playing a couple days ago too with Raw, I was like backburner Pyro, and Raw was vaccinator. He had 4 charges. We went to spawn camp the enemy team, and just because it was on what was it, like Swiftwater, and just because the class composition happened to be like 3 heavies, 2 engineers, and 2 snipers, we never died. We absorbed every single bit of that damage for free. We won, and I don't even think I ever got below half health as backburner Pyro, and I got a 10 kill streak off of that interaction with 7 people shooting at me. Why is this allowed?
Isn't it really stupid how the default resistance of the vaccinator covers like most classes in the game and their sole ability to deal damage? Isn't that stupid?
Yeah, and before someone says, oh, well, someone just should have been demo, like, okay, in hindsight, yes, but the fact that we can walk in with something that took like maybe 20 seconds to generate.
Literally any other medigun.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, what are they thinking? It's the fact that you get them so often too.
And you can charge it while you're using one of them, and you can cap while Ubered.
It's like 50% uptime. This is stupid.
And when all the charges are stacked together, they last longer than a regular Uber.
Yep. So good weapon
It's so good.
design. This is we were even joking like during the Grouch video that we talked about. Like, we don't care if you nerf this weapon into the ground because just outright deleting the vaccinator would be a better rebalance for it than it existing. I don't even care that we're removing a weapon from the game at that point. That's a benefit.
There are so many instances where I see that someone on the enemy team is using the vaccinator in a semi-competent way, and I just leave.
I just recue. Like, seriously, like, you can't do anything. It's just a fun remover. Oh.
Anyway,
yeah.
the stock bone saw.
Stock bone saw. Honest. If you run this, you're a Chad.
Hold on.
Okay.
Random crits.
That we're not penalizing.
Are not a factor.
Every.
Listen, if we're factoring them in for demo man, were we factoring them in for demo man?
We didn't. No, we put the bottle in honest. I think it's fair that we put this in honest too, because again, you're giving up a lot to run this. It's basic melee self-defense. It's whatever.
Okay.
Uber Saw, in my opinion, is pretty cheesy because the fact that the medic can gain Uber because my teammate is a dumbass is stupid.
Yes.
I don't know if it's quite bullshit. I think it's not.
I would say very cheesy.
Yeah. And it can still random crit, so it's still a good self-defense tool. Doesn't matter if you have a slower firing speed when you kill in one hit.
The Vitasaw is a weapon that you will never notice if it is annoying you.
Like, conceptually, this is really annoying. I've never seen this used. I don't care.
Like, I've used it to decent effect, but I would never be able to tell you if the enemy team noticed that I was using it to good effect.
I was gonna say, like, it's such a non-interactive weapon. It's honestly
literally the medic swings, you kill them, and you instantly forget about whatever Uber charge they may have gotten from that.
Out of sight, out of mind. I'm gonna put it in
literally
cheesy.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Just because Uber's annoying, I'll put it in slightly cheesy. But again, it's not something I'm gonna toss and turn about.
But if the argument, if the point of the list is, do I hate playing against it? Do I think it's fun to play against? Then the Uber is such a non-factor.
I
understand. The second you kill the medic, you forget about it.
Like,
I understand, but I think
basically identical to the bone saw.
It does take a certain type of weapon to be labeled completely honest, and I don't think this is quite it. So
all right, fair enough.
Yeah, I'll put it in Zuri. Again, it's not something I'm going to think about. I think this is honest. Like, competitive players that disagree, Solemn Val's about as honest as it gets.
It's honest. It's honest because you can see the enemy's health and you tell the truth.
You do no harm.
You tell a solemn vow. That is honest. That is the definition of honest.
A solemn vow that their heavy's at 30 health. That is what
is being able... I don't know.
Like, again, from the enemy's perspective, they will not notice that, like, oh, hey, he sniped me with that crossbow bolt when I was at low health because he saw that because he was using the solemn vow. Like as
But-
far as he knows, he's just like,
Yeah.
oh, he just sniped me. Okay.
Unlike the Vitasol too, where it's like that the Vitasol can lead to more Ubers, which we have labeled as annoying. This just leads to dying, which you probably would have anyway, to be fair. Like, the amount of times I think this makes an impact is not high. I think
It is literally just
very-
like the
put
medic
it on.
is choosing whether or not to take
Yeah.
a fight.
Also,
I think it's honest.
it's great for battle medic. I love.
I
running
love
thing
this
with
on Battle Medic, actually. Yeah,
Oh,
I
with the
agree.
blue cellar, it's so fun.
Yeah, this with the Blutsauger is probably one of the funniest combos in the game. I love using it.
Amputator's
Amputator-
interesting.
I also think it's pretty honest,
I think it's pretty honest, but radio healing is pretty good.
but it
Even though
doesn't give you
it's-
overheal,
No.
and that's like one of the most annoying parts about medic.
Yeah, and it also gives you
But-
very little Uber charge, so you're just healing out of the kindness of your heart. Which, if you ask me, is pretty.
That's
honest.
pretty honest. That's honest work.
That's honest work. Healing your
Okay,
teammates.
hold on,
Not
let me
even
get
for
my-
Uber charge, just for the love of the game.
Let me get
Okay,
my
let's
argument
hear-
for
let's
slightly
hear-
cheesy. I think because this allows you to heal way more people at a time than you would be able to with your stock minigun, it just doesn't. I can't-
Counterpoint: the dispenser exists.
Yeah, but dispenser is a lot more committal than 4 seconds of a taunt. Like,
Yeah,
I-
but
I
like
think that
the
this is
dispenser
just-
basically the same. Like it's the same thing functionally, which is you are a stationary object, but you have like AOE healing.
Yeah, instead of a
not overkill.
dispenser where it's like there's give or take. The time you're spending doing an amputator Tom is time you could be spending giving your teammates overheal instead.
Mhm.
So, okay, we're leaning into balanced discussion. If you see an amputator medic taunting and you see people getting healed, does that ever annoy you?
No, because the medic is completely
particularly.
vulnerable.
Okay, yeah, no,
Free
fair enough.
medic pick.
I think it's honest. I'll agree.
It's like, oh, sweet,
Um,
free medic kill, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, pretty
medic
much.
standing
Okay.
still.
I don't know if a
Literally
sniper
went dream.
rifle exists in the game that can go below very cheesy.
That's kind of my thought too.
Yeah.
Some people may argue definitely BS, but I think very cheesy is a better spot for it. I think just insta kill, infinite range, very fast rate of fire compared to how much damage
Yeah.
it deals. Yeah, I think these are all at least.
Except Bizarre
here.
Bargain, I think that'll
This
go
is this is
way
BS.
up.
Well, that's my thing with the bizarre bargain is like I don't know how many people will ever notice that like, oh, he killed me way faster
That's
than like
true.
I've
he was
noticed.
charging.
I've
Then
noticed.
again, if I'm
You
a
noticed?
soldier or demo and I have overheal, I just assume that if I get headshot by this, it was because of the faster charge. So even if it's not directly doing that, I still get annoyed just because this thing can do it.
Fair enough.
I feel like if you're up against a Bizarre Bargain sniper who has snowballed, you are going to be dying to a lot of body shots, and you'll see
Oh, yeah.
very
Okay, you know
soon
what?
that I
The
don't
body
like
shot.
dying to body shots.
Body shots thing is something I
Um,
forgot about. Yeah, definitely put that in BS.
Hitman's
Um,
basically worse stock, but still has the same problems. Put it very cheesy.
And it has some of the same. It has a little bit of overlap with the with the bizarre bargain when
Bizarre
you have
I-
the focus up.
How many times has someone used focus effectively to the point you think, "Wow, this weapon's bullshit"?
A lot of times over the
What?
past 5 years, if you've
Okay,
noticed,
okay,
there's a lot of
okay,
snipers
well,
that run the
real-
Hitman Seed Maker.
Real human players bound by human brain restrictions. How about that?
I mean, the fact
you-
that like
you never
as long
see
as you
this thing in
stay
action.
as long as you stay in scope with the focus, like once you get your next shot ready to go, you have enough charge that you can just like instantly kill a pyro or demo or anything like that.
Literally, the only reason I've ever used this is
never
because I think
encountered that
silencer's cool.
scenario.
I've never activated focused.
I can't. I'm
Outside of like
sorry.
MVM.
I can't justify putting this a tier down from stock. It's
Well,
so
I wasn't
similar.
suggesting that. I'm just saying that like there's a little bit of overlap there. I wanted to put Machina and bullshit.
Machina is pretty bullshit. 173 on Pyro demo. Ugh, that's rough.
It's just the body shot gun.
It's the body shots. I don't
Speaking
like
of the
this.
body shot guns, the classic and the Sydney sleeper.
Okay, the classic is way more annoying than people give it credit for. You just destroy flankers for free. It's so stupid.
It's really funny,
fun
but
to
it is
do.
kind of annoying.
I love using the classic, but it's so annoying to fight against if someone's good with it. You just you're playing scout. You rush up on a sniper. He whips around and kills you for free on a body
Yeah,
shot.
he
What
can
the
whip
fuck?
around and just kill you for free. 'Cause
Yeah, he can.
He's just
Like, what?
looking around at the whole battlefield.
But on the other hand, you know that a classic sniper has way more time where they can't kill you because they have to charge up every single fucking shot.
Yeah,
So
but
I feel like
depends then?
knowing that most classic snipers are free kills the second they fire and miss is like
The issue is, though,
Makes
that a
less
lot of
sense to
classic
me.
snipers will just hold their charge, and until they release, you can't really do anything about them. It's a non-interaction.
And you
so-
can't really tell when they have the full charge is another thing.
Unless they're moving.
Yeah, unless they're moving. But like if they are charging,
Yeah, the
then
laser's
you
really
can't-
subtle. You can't really see that.
if they are charging, then you can't see like their charge meter.
An aiming classic sniper and an AFK classic sniper look basically the same, minus
Yes.
one teeny tiny particle effect. So.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
just mean like it. I guess yeah, basically.
I don't know which.
Like even if
I'd
he
say
is
by
charging,
stock. I don't find it any more particular annoying than the stock.
I agree.
sniper.
I agree. I think that the downsides of not dying as often kind of offset that. I'll
the Sydney sleeper.
You will not go to
Sleepers.
heaven. You will not go to heaven.
I don't think it's that bad because if
There is
you're
no
playing-
weapon besides the vaccinator. There is no weapon I hate fighting more against than the Sydney sleeper. You will not go to heaven. Fight me.
I dislike fighting the Sydney sleeper very greatly. Like partly because it does encourage like just the whole body shot thing, and it's just like the fast charge does a lot.
If you use the Sydney sleeper, I will come to your house in real life and tear you limb from limb with the force of 1,000 feral hogs. I despise you.
You have referred to yourself with the force of 1,000 feral hogs on like 5 different videos, and it's become weird now. It's been frequent enough to raise some eyebrows, though.
I want to say at least definitely bullshit.
I would agree with definitely bullshit. I don't know if this is you won't go to heaven, because if I get body shot, I would have taken the same amount of damage anyway.
Well, I mean now you're covered in PP.
Yeah, but it's like whatever. Usually when I get hit by this, it's like I know that I could have instantly died if I survived.
It's always an eye roll for me. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah, I think it is definitely BS, but I don't think it's not going to heaven. I personally,
It's not quite that bad.
I just don't think that this is like annoying enough in enough ways for this to be bottom of the bottom, like same level of Vaccinator Natasha. But
Yeah, no, that is a very special circle of hell.
In
Like
my list of my least favorite weapons to fight against, that's number 2, right
interesting. Okay, well,
there. I
Speaking
fucking
of
hate
weapons,
that thing.
Speaking of weapons we don't like to fight against, the
Huntsman.
Huntsman.
I will argue that this is a you won't go to heaven. This is the most bullshit weapon ever.
Really?
I really kind
I
of
don't even
despise
like
this.
fighting the Huntsman.
Tap
I
fire
am like-
Huntsman. Immediately take 180 with no warning because you rushed a sniper. Instant dead. You can fire projectiles across the map that don't look like they should hit you. Snap to your head and you take 360 and die. Instant
I'm
death.
so vindicated right now. Oh my fucking god.
I hate this weapon. I don't know why more people don't talk about this. This is like
because they're all convinced that this is actually like a super well balanced
funny
weapon just because
soundsmith.
it has
Funny
a projectile.
soundsmith me. Okay, I'm sorry. I won't do the Zesty Jesus thing.
No, dude, like I feel like
I don't
Zesty
like
and
this.
Soundsmith have done a fucking number on people's perception on this weapon. Soundsmith especially.
I despise the Huntsman with a burning passion. It's mainly the tap fire. If it didn't do 180 point blank for clicking with a really large head hitbox, I probably wouldn't dislike it as much. But it's like, even if you just get hit, it's like, it's so non-committal. It's not like you even have to scope and body shot. You just like,
No, you just
jump
corner
around the
peek.
corner. Yeah. This is ass to
You
fight.
jump around a corner, maintain all of your momentum while charging really, really fast, and then you let an arrow loose and you do 120 damage.
And it
which is
may or
still
may
a
not
lot.
headshot you. And
Your
even if you get body
charges.
shot, you're in a really bad position. Like, what the
Yeah.
hell?
Like the Huntsman is so not a very fun weapon to fight, but it has way better feedback than the sniper rifles, and that tricks people into thinking it's like a better designed weapon.
It's fun to use. I won't deny that it's fun to use, but it's also just
I
like,
love using it. I love using the Huntsman.
What is your perspective on fighting the Huntsman?
I don't know. I think my perspective is so warped due to my burning hatred for the Sydney Sleeper. I just can't bring myself to care about the Huntsman that much.
Okay, if we put the Sydney Sleeper down and you will not go to heaven, will you give us an actual answer?
My actual answer, if I had to rank it, I would put Huntsman in very cheesy.
interesting. Yet I cannot justify putting it that high. The fact that you just instantly die if he clicks one time and it does
you don't even have to
180
scope in.
point blank headshot and you can't see if he's doing it or not. And the fact that you just whip around to do that, I buys that? Why did they let that happen?
The fact that you can jump while charging is like one of the most underrated things about the Huntsman.
Yeah,
like,
the fact that it's so non-committal, I hate that too.
You get to preserve your momentum while you charge. That's insane. The Classic can't do that.
The other thing, too, is when you take damage from the sniper rifle, the sniper has to be within your line of sight. It is possible for you to react. With the Huntsman, you let the arrow loose and then duck behind. And then it's like, even if you get hit, you could just get hit by a phantom. You could encounter a Skyrim scenario where you just get hit by an arrow from God knows where.
I feel so vindicated. You know what? Just because you're vindicating me, fuck yeah, let's put this in definitely bullshit.
Oh, definitely. I was thinking like bottom tier. We can put it here though.
Oh no, I'm not putting it there.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't hate it that much.
The what said very cheesy, I say there, so it levels out.
Okay.
SMG
is just honest.
It's honest. It does a lot of damage, but I think that's more of a sniper problem than an SMG problem. So,
I mean, it does about like.
Well, it does a lot of damage point blank, but like in a vacuum, this is a perfectly fine weapon. It's whatever.
Well, I mean, we are considering the class attached to it. Like, look at the sharpened volcano frame. Like, I don't think that the damage it does is really a problem, because like it's such a different kind of damage for sniper that requires a completely different skill set. That like, it doesn't really intrude on what the sniper rifle does, or like, you know.
No, the issue is I just think it gives sniper too much close range self defense, more than he deserves.
I don't really agree with that. I think it does.
So. I think the SMG is pretty perfectly balanced.
I'm fine putting it in honest for what it's worth, but yeah, no, I just think that it's
I love the SMG too.
It is kind of annoying when a sniper kills me with the SMG, because it's like, I rushed you down, you should be dead, you idiot.
I find that's more the case with certain other weapons coming up a little later on down this list.
Yeah. Cleaner's Carbine. This is kind of cheesy because the mini crits pair well with certain things. Otherwise, it's just the worst.
It has a lot of cheese factor if you know how to use it right. Like this thing plus Huntsman and Carbine, or no, Huntsman. And,
that's true.
Bushwhacker.
The Huntsman, yeah.
I'm gonna say somewhat dishonest because this is pretty bad for self-defense, but
I'll put it in very slightly.
I think the redeeming part of this weapon is how cheesy it is, though.
Yeah.
Like, the cheese is ingrained into the weapon.
Sure.
It smells of a fine Parmesan.
We will once again reiterate that what we were talking about now and the cheesiness that we're discussing, we're not even necessarily saying is a bad thing or should be removed. In this case, yeah, the cheese is what makes this weapon fun. So if you put a dislike on there for that, take it off. I see you, dumbass.
Sorry, I didn't mean it.
Not you. But
I dislike all your videos then.
My thing is that I think the downsides are what ends up keeping it in very slightly cheesy, because the downsides make it so hard for you to get that crikey in the first place. It is so annoying to build up damage with this stupid fucking thing, and it's ridiculous slow fire rate. It's just like
counterpoint though, in terms of fighting the Cleaner's Carbine, a lot of times you won't have to experience the process of sniper building that, because he'll charge it on your worst teammates and then just activate the mini crits on you.
Or just farm it on a heavy.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
So I feel like it's possible
for
for you to fight this and not have to deal with that, and that's...
But I also feel like a lot of the times when you are fighting it, like that is the process that you are fighting, is just like that building up process. Because like, when you actually get the crikey, that's only a few seconds. Like, you can spend minutes trying to build this thing up.
Minutes? I don't know. Okay, that might be an exaggeration. It's usually like 1 or 2 encounters, but it's 100 damage. It's 100 damage, Fish.
The fact that you have to put yourself in some sort of like semi-close range risk as sniper means that like if you don't end up coming out on top in the fight, whether that's like forcing retreat or anything like that, yeah.
Okay, again, we're leaning into balance discussion. If you die instantly to a mini crit Huntsman arrow, is that bullshit or not?
Well, is that the fault of the Huntsman or the Carbine?
Well, the Huntsman wouldn't instantly kill you if you didn't get the mini crits. So yeah, I think that is the fault of this,
with that line of thinking, the Bushwhacker isn't annoying to fight at all, because it's the Girardi that gives it the mini crits.
I mean, okay, with Girardi, we're putting that way the fuck down low anyway.
I think this pairs well enough with enough things and breaks enough damage thresholds that it should be at least somewhat dishonest, especially because if you are on the receiving end of the mini crits, you normally don't care what it took for the sniper to build it because you don't have to experience that fight yourself.
All right, that's fair enough.
Okay.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
If I get pegged by a huntsman sniper the entire way across the map by a body shot and I die in one hit because they had mini crits charged up, that's annoying.
Speaking
I think
of mini crits,
ooh, this is definitely BS.
Maserati!
definitely.
Next to its brother, the Mad Milk.
I'll put them in regular order. Yeah, Girardi's just free
I think
buff
the human
banner.
lickers belong to each
It is
other.
a free buff banner every 20 seconds.
And even at like the most selfish,
Even shorter
kinda
if you
like
use the
Mad Milk.
Sydney Sleeper.
Oh, yeah, you can
19,
use the Sydney Sleeper's amazing
19 seconds because you
Hitting
got a
one
headshot.
second off your Girardi headshot.
Look, I'm just still trying to sell you on the Sydney Sleeper being awful and everyone who uses it.
Oh yeah, it takes the Girardi cooldown from 20 seconds to 19 seconds.
19.
Damn, I feel scared now. Yeah, no, I even again at its most selfish, it's like it gets just a free 1v1 with a sniper. It's just very good.
And it's like, again, the recharge on it is so short that like by the time you respawn, especially on certain maps, if you try and fight the sniper again, then it's like he might just have it ready again, or maybe he'll be in a situation where you can just run back to the resupply cabinet and have another one ready to go.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's any argument for this being in bullshit. Speaking
Girardi
of
is complete bullshit.
Speaking of Darwin's and
Is this the
Razorback.
crouch version or the normal version?
Darwin. Okay, well they're both going in bullshit. It's just how much. Any arguments with putting these together?
I want to say very cheesy because it's literally only one class.
Yeah, but the thing is if you are that one class and you're fighting with it, then
if you are that one class,
this is the biggest middle finger item in the game. There's items that are like,
absolutely,
fuck you for playing spy. This is the biggest fuck you item in the game, and I think for that it belongs in BS.
Yeah, the fact that you're just able to remove someone that is countering you from the game is not good weapon design.
Not even someone who even particularly counters you, just for the fun of it, just for the love of the game, of fucking Pyro over for no reason.
I don't like Pyros very much. I will now stand here with a different weapon and you can't do anything. Like, why?
Literally the only reason I will ever put on the danger shield is just if there is like someone who is just like, I have no qualms about using the score shot and just like spamming it like the most brain dead motherfucker that has ever
watched. Listen, if you're hard scoping a sniper in the back lines, I have no qualms with spamming you out the score shot. This is a difference in mains here. Not you, but if snipers.
Listen, I am a quick scopy man. I jump around all the places.
Cozy Camper, I feel like is
100% the most honest of the backpacks.
Yeah, but still being immune to flinching.
Only when you're fully charged, though.
You can't tell how charged the sniper is. You won't know if you flinching the sniper will actually work when you shoot him because of this item.
I don't think it belongs in the same tier as the others, though.
I don't think... No, it's not bullshit. I'm going to say somewhat dishonest on this.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I feel like it's very situation dependent when it's just like, oh, the flinching mattered there. Because like, if you approach the sniper from basically any angle, you might end up forcing him to like unscope anyway, and then that just completely gets rid of the no flinching thing.
Yeah, no, I can't agree with that, but
okay, somewhat dishonest then.
You're the tiebreaker here.
Like, I would go very slightly cheesy. He's saying somewhat dishonest.
Let me think. Let me cook.
Like, I don't think it's impactful enough to be annoying.
It allows snipers to survive more things than he should due to the health regen, and you can't know whether your shot will flinch him.
I think in exchange for like a lot of close range self-defense capabilities, that's a pretty
his stock melee is perfectly fine in my opinion. I don't.
But like again, like considering in
it's up
exchange
to
for
you.
the SMG,
You get the final say here.
Oh, for the Cozy Camper?
Cozy Camper, yeah. Very
slightly.
slightly.
I thought you already said. You know what? Slightly cheesy. You know.
Okay.
I win.
Fuck. Kukri.
Kukri, I think this is a situation where random crits really, really matter.
I think they do because a random crit. This is the only sniper melee in which it can random crit, and it will kill most people with a random crit, and also you get a lot of them because sniper does a lot of damage. I don't think that snipers should be allowed to have random critting melees. I think if you were to take it off of any class, it should be sniper.
100%. Well, also medic.
medic too, but I think sniper's even worse because medic, it's like.
I think medic is just as important, if not more so.
Fair enough. I still think snipers. Like, medic has at least counterplay from just not being in melee range. Sniper, you're a lot more likely to get quickscoped if you do that. Very slightly cheesy. Are we putting a stock melee there?
Either very slightly or somewhat dishonest. I'd be going with very slightly, though.
I was gonna say, it still does nothing extra
very
for you,
slightly.
other than just random crits sometimes. But yeah, no, I think just because sniper can do that, that's a notable enough.
Speaking of sniper melee
Definitely
crits,
bullshit. Nope, not happening.
Definitely bullshit.
Why did they say
Maybe
that
even
sniper...
you will not go to heaven.
Actually, I would agree. I honestly, if you use this, this is just an evil weapon.
Literally, it is so antithetical to Sniper's design. He's supposed to be the class that gets rushed down and dies. Why are you giving him free crits on his melee, you know?
I think if you use it with the Cleaner's Carbine, that's fine. If you use it with the Girardi, go fuck yourself.
I don't even think the Cleaner's Carbine is fine because it's still just free insta-kill to anyone that rushes you.
It's not free because like the Cleaner's Carbine requires so much more commitment. Like just trust me. I've used this stupid weapon.
It's free against the person you are attacking. It's like
okay, but it's not free to actually get it, unlike with the Girardi.
But again, from the perspective of someone who's rushing the sniper, he's standing there, but now he suddenly has mini crits and a weapon that gets crits off of mini crits, and you didn't know that before. So okay, great.
I don't exactly enjoy fighting like a crikey boosted fucking bushwhacker sniper, but I at least recognize.
Okay, but we're splitting hairs. How many times is that happening versus Girardi bushwhacker? Why is this a combo?
Actually, surprisingly often to me recently. I don't know why.
Extinguisher gets nerfed because the close range class does crits at close range with his melee. This doesn't. What the fuck?
No, I seriously think Girardi bushwhacker is one of the stupidest fucking things in the game.
Yeah, I think this is actually worse than Girardi because the Girardi turns your, like, what would it be, 65 damage melees into like what, 81 per hit,
88 I think.
80, yeah, it's like not a huge increase. This turns them into 195s,
which is ridiculous.
Even with
multiple
the Girardi,
in a row too. Like,
oh yeah,
even with the Girardi, like, this is free self-defense on the class that needs it the least out of any class in the game that maybe isn't medic. So
yes.
Ugh. Jahansha, basically the same as the Kukri. I don't think there's any damage thresholds that are different to be completely
when you're under 50% health, then you can one-shot soldiers.
Yeah, you can one-shot a soldier.
With
okay,
a
you can
crit,
one-hit random crit a soldier. That is very specific. How many times has that happened to you in game?
Not a whole lot, but you asked about damage thresholds. So.
Actually, there are a couple. Like, if you no-scope a light class and then hit them with an under 50% hit, then that'll kill them.
That's true.
You can apply, skins to the Shahansha, so that makes it better.
Oh yeah, and you can apply higher damage mini crits to it. That's like 100, I think.
Is this a tier down from very slightly cheesy, though, is the question.
No, because who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
It's whatever. Same with Tribalmans.
I have gotten a good like mini crit with that thing like once.
Yeah, that's really just a nothing item. I
don't know. Tribalmans really belong in cheesy because
it's DOT. DOT's annoying enough. I think it does.
It is literally the worst DOT in the game, though.
Yeah, but
literally,
it's still
you're taking 30 damage
you
from
bleed
a melee
for 8 seconds, and that's a lot. But again, sorry. Even if it's not impactful, it still annoys me when I'm bleeding. That's the one thing that I will give that design philosophy credit for, is it does annoy me when I'm bleeding.
I think if the initial hit did more damage, then I would agree with you. But because like it's so nothing,
look,
it's not honest. It's bleed.
Let me summarize. Let me summarize what the Tribalmans is bad. Look at the amount of player hits and the amount of kills.
Well, okay. To be fair, bleed counts for player hits too. Each bleed tick does.
You have to consider. You have to consider. Right. We have the back scratcher and the warrior spirit in completely honest.
Yeah, because those are on close range classes.
Okay, big fucking deal.
I mean, personally,
I'm just saying,
I argued for those
do
to
more
not be.
Damage.
Again, it's not damage. I don't want this weapon annoys me when I get hit. That's more than can be said about those.
90% of the time you will take. I want to say a lot of the time you will end up taking less damage than you would from a Kukri.
Yeah,
the DOT does not matter.
Think about it.
The DOT doesn't matter, and the random crits are fucking worthless.
You're talking
The
from balancing,
kukri
though.
is
This isn't
in-
balancing.
The kukri isn't slightly cheesy because you thought it was annoying to get one hit by a class that's supposed to be close range, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Tribalman's fixes that by makes it so even if he gets a random crit, you're still not fucking dying and you get a free kill on the sniper.
I'm still annoyed when I get hit by this. Like, again, I think that's more than can be said for completely honest. That's all I'm saying.
I really don't think the DOT on the Tribalman Shiv of all things is like with the
When-
Rap Assassin.
Fish,
Sure.
when you
I
are
say that.
bleeding, are you annoyed?
When I get hit by the Tribalman Shiv, no.
We put
when I
the
get hit by
Boston
the
Basher in
Shiv, I
slightly
go-
cheesy. We put
No,
the
when I-
Boston
when I
Basher in
see it-
slightly
when I-
cheesy. This is consistent.
When I see
That
a
was
sniper
uber
pull up the
building.
Tribalman's Shiv and they hit me with it, I go, oh, thank God they weren't using the kukri. This is going to be a free kill.
Exactly.
Thank God they're using the Tribalmans. This is going to be the easiest frag of my life, and I'm going to put it in my frag montage.
I don't think there are any bleed weapons or DOT weapons in general that can be completely honest. Okay,
there's
well,
certain
the
volcano
one that
right
does
there.
the same as your primary, sure, that one can stay.
Oh, but that does that not then mean? Listen, we didn't put the fucking flamethrower in heavily depends on how you use it because it does DOT. All right.
I still
I think
disagree.
you're
We
just
did that
so
for a
racist.
lot of other reasons.
I think your mind is so clouded by your racism for damage over time, you can't even see that the Tribalman's Shiv.
I just
is
think that it's annoying.
a
I'm not
free
even.
kill.
I'm not even talking. That's again. This is balanced discussion. I'm saying that like yeah, when I get hit by this, I'm probably annoyed even if I do to get the. Yeah,
I am
if
not
do get
annoyed
the
under
kill.
any circumstance. Like,
Literally,
especially because a lot of time when you kill a
All right,
sniper,
well,
they're
I am
probably in an
outvoted,
area
but I'll
next
put
to
it.
a health
I'll
pack.
stock
revolver.
revolver.
Completely honest.
I
Yeah.
guess yeah. I think it does a lot of damage for spy, but yeah.
I think it does a pretty good amount of damage.
Yeah.
You know what? I think they should remove the.
Oh,
No,
God,
don't say
please.
it. Don't say it. We're in remission.
say it,
Don't
think
say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
it.
Don't think it. Don't say it.
I would also say, okay, let's just get it out of the way before we relapse here. Enforcer's going in completely honest too. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's basically the same, just
What
like
about
slightly lower.
Ambassador?
I would say
I
Ambassador.
think Ambassador's honest because you have to earn those headshots. You have to
I
earn
still
them.
think-
Ambassador respect that.
It can be slightly cheesy when it's just like, oh, you're standing next to a guy who's like disguised or something like that, and then suddenly he
Yeah.
pops you at 100 damage. Like it's
I-
the same thing as a Diamondback basically, but he does have to earn it. So I would put Ambassador in slightly cheesy, and then Diamondback in like definite bullshit.
Usually when I take 102, my thought isn't did this spy earn it? It's oh my god, I just took a fuck ton of damage.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think this is not honest because it is kind of annoying to play against, I'll be real, but
I don't know. When I get
from the
by an
okay.
ambi-spy, I think my movement wasn't good enough. That was a skill issue. The
Until
spy
you
earned
encounter a really good ambi spy who lands nothing
that.
but
Like me,
headshots,
baby.
and then you get really okay. You had the vaccinator. Let's not talk ourselves up here. From the concept of purely a design perspective, this is one of the most honest designs in the game, but I think just to play against it, especially if the spy using it's really good, it is kind of annoying. I'll put it in slightly cheesy, I think.
yeah.
Diamondback,
Diamondback
I think it's not
like-
going to heaven, personally, but
Okay, that's fine. I fucking hate this thing. I think
you
this
can't see the crits. That's the most egregious thing.
Mm-hmm. You can't see when the spy has the crits, and he gets them for just doing his job, and there's basically no fucking downside.
What's that? An engineer left his nest, including a teleporter entrance and exit unattended. 9 crits for you.
Time to go
Sucks.
brutally murder
Yeah.
children.
Latrange,
Hell yeah.
I feel like the Latrange is honest, but it does recharge the Dead Ringer faster, so I don't know.
But that's not the Latrange's fault.
Does that make it depends on how you use it?
L'Étranger.
I don't think it's even that low. I think it has a cheesy synergy, and yes, I do think it is the Latrange's fault because nothing else in the entire game recharges the Dead Ringer except for
Big
that.
Earner does.
Oh,
Big
that's
Earner.
true. That's true.
Owned with facts and logic right there, Blue. You just
Liberals
got-
own.
This is why you would fail that TF2 weapon quiz.
I would fail the Sporkle quiz.
The Sporkle quiz?
Is that what the website's called? Sporkle? There's a
Yeah,
similar one
dude,
called
you don't fuck with Sporkle fish?
No.
You don't fuck with Sporkle, dude? No, wow.
Anyways,
Anyway, I put Latrange. It's like really close to honest. I just put it in slightly cheesy because it does allow you to have way more Dead Ringers than you'd otherwise be able to, which I
Okay.
think can be annoying in some instances. Sapper is completely honest. Like,
The red tape
sapper.
recorder is not.
red tape recorder is kind of bullshit in my opinion.
Is it though?
Yeah, because of the cyber strap.
It's more honest because you're letting the engineer keep their buildings.
That can be a problem though, because if the mini that I'm not right next to is being sapped, I don't want to keep it. I want it to die so I can put a new one down.
I am always more annoyed when a red tape recorder spy saps my buildings than I am with a regular sapper.
I think that this is just meant to annoy you. I honestly, even if it's strictly worst, I don't care. That's not my thought process is, oh, I am in a tactically advantageous position compared to stock. Like, no, it is, dude, really? What are you doing? So I'm going to put this in somewhat dishonest. I think because of Cyber's thing specifically.
My thought process is, would I rather lose my sentry or just keep it at a lower level? And
if I'm playing Battle Engineer, would I rather have no sentry up for like a fucking minute while this thing just does its shit? Or would I rather be able to like have my mini sentry ready to go in like 5 seconds?
That's my thought process too. And also, again, as I've been saying, the Cyber Wizard combo where you just instantly delete a building that's being placed down, that's got to count for something.
Not to mention, as an engineer, I'm not near my teleporters very often. I'm not like right next to them. This thing is fucked against teleporters, and I do not want to spend the entire game just upgrading my teleporter back up to level 3 over and over again.
Yeah. It's it's really annoying. I don't care if it's not as good. It's really annoying. I'm gonna put this
very annoying. I would put it in somewhat dishonest, yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree. Stock knife. Okay, are we allowing instant kill weapons and completely honest? That's what we got to decide first.
It's the stock knife. It's the stock knife. It's fair. You have to earn a kill with the stock knife.
No. If you get backstabbed, that is what we're talking about here. You are shifting to balance. If you get backstabbed, are you a happy camper? Yes or no?
No.
If it's the stock knife, if it's the stock knife, I don't care.
If it's the stock knife, I'm annoyed but slightly relieved that it isn't the kunai.
That's my thought process too. I am never. I never say, huh, fair enough when I get backstabbed. It's always annoyance.
I always... let me roll you through my reactions literally every time I get backstabbed by a stock knife. Ugh. Oh, it's not a kunai. Well, all right, fine, I guess.
Yeah, I think this is...
really honest as it gets.
I don't think it's honest. It can still one-hit kill you. I don't think that's honest.
It can also one-hit kill you when it really, really, really doesn't deserve it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we have to factor that in, too. Every single knife is bullshit just by nature.
I think if we rank the sniper rifles really low for just like being not fun
I will
to fight,
put the knives...
extend the same thing to the knives.
That has severely impacted my decision, I think. Could we put them on depends on how you use it, though? Because if you're not going for trick stabs, that's a different story.
I'm not saying trick stabs. I'm saying bullshit face stabs. That you're not even necessarily trying to get. I've done them. I'm terrible at spy.
I will say somewhat dishonest by default for the knife, and then we can put the unlocks potentially somewhere lower, because I agree with Fish. I think that, there's a lot of times where you just instantly die when you really shouldn't, and also instantly dying just isn't fun to fight against, and I think that's an annoying concept to begin with, so I can't put it honest. We need to get over the mindset of, oh, come on, it's the X. Like, no, this is more objective analysis than that.
Well, that is my mindset. I don't particularly mind when I get stabbed by a stock knife.
You're outvoted.
Yeah.
Wiener.
Damn. Definitely BS.
Spicicle's probably cheesy.
You're skipping one. You're skipping one, Blue.
You're skipping two.
I didn't even mean to do that. Sorry, my pyro main instincts are like...
Let me cook, Blue.
Yeah, we're putting this in BS.
Definitely BS. Definitely
really?
The reason
not going to heaven.
No, the reason that it's not lower is because if you do encounter a kunai spy, it's a free kill. At least if they're not in melee range.
I'll let you finish.
No, I was saying that
for me is because I don't think it's the problem child in the abusive relationship. I think
I do. Oh, right, because you think it's the Dead Ringer's fault. I don't.
I will get there when I get there, but I'll let you speak your piece.
Go for your rant, though. We will sit back and eat popcorn and listen.
No, that'll be the grand finale. That'll be the grand finale.
Right.
Personally, I think if the Diamondback is in, you will not go to heaven, then the kunai should be too. Because I think the kunai is way stronger than the Diamondback. I think it's way stronger and way less fun to fight and way more bullshit.
I think that's racism. I think the kunai... there are plenty of times where I've seen a kunai spy who's not gotten a stab, and I kill him instantly, and it's just like, okay, great, free kill. And I feel like that offsets getting backstabbed. That happens more times than when I get backstabbed and genuinely cannot kill a spy because he's just chaining. Like that instance actually doesn't happen to me too much unless he's using the thing that the one's going to talk about.
Time, so maybe that's my bias.
You mean sniper though? I feel like that would.
This happens when I play literally anything. I'm playing soldier, I'm playing demo, I'm playing scout, and there goes the spy just walking at all my teammates who have never heard the sound of a backstab before. They do not know what a spy is. I am expected to babysit the spy for the rest of the fucking game while he just goes on his little tears and gets one backstab and instantly becomes a better spy who just has no downsides whatsoever.
He's kind of winning me over, Blue. You got anything?
So
in your favorite?
My counterpoint is that most classes that I play, unless there is an endless supply of teammates who aren't paying attention, usually I'm able to deal 200 damage. Even if it gets one stab, I don't find that unless he's using the Diamondback and could just insta-kill me, I don't find that killing him is actually the problem if it's just talking about the kunai. For instance, Scout is like a couple shots, Soldier's a couple shots.
Once he has run out of my teammates to backstab, yeah, then sure, he's an easy fucking kill.
But
a spy
I don't
with
find
200 health is still a spy.
Here's the deal, I don't find that it chains that
rolling.
often. I don't find that it chains like super often. Like it can happen and it's really annoying when it does, but a lot of the time the interaction is he backstabs one or two of my teammates and I'm still able to deal 200 damage, assuming he doesn't have the Dead Ringer or
assuming he doesn't have the more problematic weapon. See, now Blue's winning me over again.
I think that even in the situations where it is just like one or two people, if I just like shoot a rocket at him or shoot a pipe at him and then he backstabs someone and it's just like my rocket is gone, my pipe is gone, and then I shoot another one at him and then I gets another backstab and it's just gone, and that just even in a couple of instances, it doesn't have to be this massive chain or anything. Even in a couple of instances, that is such a frustrating negation mechanic that I can't stand at all.
I agree. At the same point, though, I find that it's not as bad if it's not amplified by the more powerful weapons, and I don't feel like that exact situation where I encounter a genuinely unkillable spy happens enough to warrant, because it's not like the Vaccinator where it's like every time I see the Vaccinator, I just lose. It's like, yeah, this is counterable. I find that I'm usually dealing with kunai spies relatively well enough. I still find that I'm really...
The Wrangler is counterable. The Diamondback is counterable. Hell, the Short Circuit is counterable, assuming you don't use projectiles. Like this...
Let me rephrase that. It feels like it's able to be dealt with. It feels like it. And that's, again, what we're rating off of.
It feels like it's able to be dealt with eventually, which I would say for the fucking Wrangler, too.
Not even.
I feel... Every time I see a kunai spy, there's two different varieties. There's the one that uses the stock invis watch that I can normally deal with pretty easily. 2 meat shots, 2 rockets, 2 grenades. They're donezo. That there's another variety of kunai spy. There's variety fish.
And what they all use the Dead Ringer. They all use the Dead Ringer. That means they don't go to heaven.
That's the Dead Ringer's fault, though. That's not the kunai's fault.
They're all using the Dead Ringer. The what? So you have to side with me so that we can vote the kunai into hell.
But you just said if it pairs with the stock Invis watch, it's not that big of a deal. It's the Dead Ringer's fault. That we are pinning this all on one weapon.
They're not using the Invis watch. They're not using it. They never use it. You remember
I see a
all
lot
the time
of people use the Invis watch. What are you talking? You just lie.
Don't listen to him. He's just trying to feed you a false narrative.
Oh, okay. If we're allowed to lie, the kunai actually doesn't even do anything. It's just a worse knife. It's a direct downgrade. It's free. So we should put it in honest.
Oh yeah, put it in honest. I think they should make it a throwing knife.
God, we are on remission. We cannot talk about this. I'm sorry, Grouch, if you're watching. I'm sorry. Anyway,
all right, it's in fucking bullshit because it is bullshit.
Don't worry. You'll get to speak your piece eventually.
I don't even mind the Dead Ringer all that much,
but I do.
I mean, I feel like if you really think about it, yes, this thing being spammable is one of the biggest problems of the kunai. The fact that it can pair with it. I don't even disagree. The kunai isn't bullshit. I don't disagree with that, but I don't think it's like the worst. I don't think it's the most annoying spy weapon at all.
I think it is. I think it absolutely is.
Well, I think you're stupid.
But you guys have outvoted me.
I think you got butt brain.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting discussion. I don't find kunai spies on average to be the god tier ones. I actually do see the cloak or like the stock Invis ones watch a lot more that are just able to be dealt with. I think that like the situations that it does become a major problem, it snowballs way out of control, but that's maybe like 10 to 20% of kunai users for me. It's like most of them are just kind of free.
This is my curse for living on West Coast servers.
Maybe it's just like all the people
All
in
the spy mains
California
live here. Fucking Stabby lives here. Fucking
Oh, you
Raw
should
lives
be
here,
in
Fiber
Virginia
lives here.
sometimes, dude. These Virginia servers are built different with these spy mains with fucking 300,000 kills on their kunai.
The West Coast is the exact fucking same.
Yeah. It's a worldwide problem.
Big Earner, I feel like, is pretty comparable to stock. Like, you get the speed boost, but
Yeah.
The
you
speed
also
boost you can use
But
for
less
more
health.
backstabs.
You get one hit, too. I feel like I one-hit Big Earner spies, and that gives me equal dopamine to the stuff that I lose when I get weirdly trick stabbed with the speed boost.
But on the other hand, if I'm playing like any class, I one-shot Big Earner Spy, and that puts dopamine in my brain. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's
Okay.
on par with stock.
So okay. I mean,
Maybe
Big Earner's
even
my
less so,
favorite
'cause
type.
the
I'm not
spice is
saying.
easier.
I'm not saying like, oh, the
Hold on.
Big Earner's a piece of shit. I fucking love the Big Earner. It's my favorite knife. But yeah, I'm just saying like the speed boost can be used for some tricky dicky things.
Yeah, I'm saying if we're putting stock knife in somewhat dishonest because it is able to do stuff, the Big Earner does all of the same stuff and should go in the same tier.
I'm just saying it does a bit more in terms of being able to like run away and disengage.
Oh, for sure. But at the same time, it's like I feel like I just one-shot Big Earner spies before they become a problem equally as much. To where
Unless they're using the Dead Ringer.
unless they're using the let's just talk about it now, guys. We are like let's just
No, that's
No,
gonna be the
we're-
grand finale.
Okay,
Grand
sorry.
finale.
Spy
It's
Sickle.
gonna be the most interesting.
Spy Sickle's just a fuck you weapon to Pyro. I don't like this one too much. I understand it's like supposed to negate
mean-
the counters, but
I know what we just said, but I feel like if a spy is using the Invis watch and the spy cycle in unison, I feel like I can still pretty confidently like mow down. a
Yeah,
spy
I
as
agree.
Pyro. If only there was another weapon that completely removed debuffs.
I never have a smile on my face when I have to play against this as a Pyro, and if I don't, it's just a stock knife. I kind of want to put this in very cheesy, but
I'd be fine with that.
I
because
guess.
again, it's just a fuck you weapon to Pyro. It's like even if you don't
It's a
use
tier
the Dead
above
Ringer.
the Danger Shield, which does
And
the
the
same
long
thing, but,
heater.
like, slightly worse.
And Cow Mangler charge shots.
Oh, of course,
Come
yeah.
on.
Famously, all the spies that survive
Fall-on
Cow
heater
Mangler charge shots.
Fucking firing.
I already said that.
Oh.
You're okay. You're kind of bullshit. I won't even lie. This is like the most fun weapon in the game. But looking at your teammate who's like real, turning around for 1 second, and then turning back around to see the same teammate there who's now a spy. It's really funny. But God, it's really annoying to have to like type voice enable one in and like actually communicate with my team if there's one of these walking around.
I'm not too
The fact
bothered
that-
by it usually.
I mean, like, the thing is with the fucking Eurotona reward is that, like, well, for one thing, it doesn't pair very well with the Dead Ringer at all for a multitude of reasons.
Yeah. I
Which
still
makes
just
it
think
the
it's
best
cheesy.
knife.
That means that, like, if you do see a Your Spy and you just, like, kind of shoot him, like, 9 times out of 10, you'll get him. And that's kind of, like, not horrible and annoying.
I know,
Which
but
is the problem I have with another knife.
Okay,
is-
so the counter to the Ur is good communication.
Mhm.
We are rating this basically based on casual. You can see the problem here.
But again,
being-
like I think if you just notice him yourself, then you can just like shoot him twice, and he will always die, basically.
kind of. I still feel like it's a lot harder to notice them. Like Ur is actually scary if you're good with it. Just because you can be literally anywhere as anyone without any warning. And it's a lot harder because literally in order to make sure this isn't wiping half your team, you actually have to go out of your way and inform your team what to look for. And a lot of people just don't intuitively know. So I think this is cheesy just because the design, but I think it's really fun because it's cheesy, if nothing else.
Where are you thinking of putting it? Like very cheesy?
Very cheesy, yeah, but
What do you think?
I think somewhat dishonest. I don't find it any more particularly cheesy than the stock knife. I just think it rewards good positioning.
kind of what I'm thinking. It's like I would probably put it with the knife and the big earner.
I don't think it does. I think just being okay, it does reward good positioning, but I think that the silent backstab and the fact that you have to go out of your way if you notice him to communicate with your team, who probably won't do the same for you because this is casual, just makes it a bigger problem.
I mean, that is the case with basically every knife.
Yeah, but what if I don't give a shit about my teammates, Blue? Did you ever consider that?
Okay, well, I do give a shit about my medic, and I do give a shit about the people that can counter sentries if I'm not a class that can do that, and I do give a shit about
better man than I.
I give a shit about the people who make my gameplay experience easier, and those people probably won't exist for very long if you don't babysit them if there's a year. So
Or a kunai spy.
Well, yeah, but the kunai, we already put that in definite BS, so... I think this is very cheesy. I think this is just a cheesy weapon by design, and I love it for it, but I think we can't ignore that.
We can't really put it in heavily either.
Yeah, I mean, very cheesy is basically one down from dishonest. Because heavily depends is like the
tiebreaker fish.
Tier.
I would put it in somewhat dishonest. I really don't think it's like that much worse than the knife or big earner.
That's my thought as well.
Like not a whole tier lower, right?
If I get backstabbed by this,
voice communication is by no means disabled or by no means required for dealing with like a your spy.
I mean, if I type your spy, then I don't think most people know what to do with that information. I just find that my team is getting chain stabbed a lot more consistently with this than the kunai. Like, it requires a really good spy to chain with the kunai versus this, where I feel like it's just kind of free in most servers because people aren't.
Or it requires very stupid teammates to chain with the kunai.
I will disagree. I think with the Ur, the teammates don't even have to be stupid. This is designed to make it so people have to really, really pay attention and notice it. And I think that's cheesy by default. The insta-kill class not giving any traces that he's even there is something to note.
I really think that the lack of synergy with the Dead Ringer is really what's keeping me in somewhat dishonest.
Yeah, they probably won't Dead Ringer out, but at the same time, they just kill all your team, and you just have half a team before you know it.
I mean, it depends. I guess that just depends on when you notice the chain stab, right?
Yeah, but really hard. It's really hard to notice if you're not listening for it. If you don't already...
I mean, like...
You hear the click, you hear the little click, but that doesn't have that big of a sound radius. Not as big as people think. Like, it...
I mean, like, you could also just, like, see it happening.
Well, if you see it directly, then yeah, but if you're not able to do it, like, if you're in Death Spectate, for instance... Calling your spies out sucks, because if you say, like, oh, spy is sniper, and then in the meantime, the spy stabbed the demo man, then you have to give new information.
Just yell out spy behind you, and then everyone will turn around.
Okay, well, I guess you could do that, but still, like,
yeah,
that kind of sacrifices team fights if they're having any.
It's like shouting out bomb in an airport.
Yeah, it's a great strategy to get people to pay attention.
Yeah.
Remember, kid. No, I don't even think I can say that. I might override. I'm so set on this being a cheesy weapon.
Oh, put it in fucking cheesy then.
I don't think this is like... I think this is significantly cheesier than the stock knife is all.
It's going up on your channel. You're making all the damn money from this video.
Oh, yeah. My channel is not monetized. I'm raking in the bucks here.
You're rolling in all the money.
Stock Invis watch.
Honest?
Yeah. I mean...
Those are the most honest of the watches.
Okay, well, most honest of the watches, but we should probably establish a baseline here. I think that the way that Invis works in this game is fair. I don't...
It's fair.
I never get mad at the stock.
While you're in it, you can be bummed, you can be shot out of it.
I never get mad if I...
You flicker.
Or, okay, I'll put it this way. I never get mad at the stock Invis watch if I get stabbed. It's mainly just the spy in general, but that's not the Invis watch.
But what about if the spy manages to, like, get away from you when you're, like, trying to, like, get him down?
I mean, that's fair enough. Is just the spy supposed to die after every stab?
Yes.
I was gonna say, like, if he Invis watches away...
8 seconds bleed, buffed!
if he invis watches away, my reaction is usually shit. I lost track of him, and not oh my god, he just got away for free, like some other watchers.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, actually, I find it very rewarding to track cloak spies. I think that you can get a feel for where spies normally go. I think it's very fair. Cloak and dagger, a little bit more cheesy because you can just sit in a corner and basically target someone forever, which I've seen a lot of people do.
Yeah, I feel like this is almost designed to be used in a kind of cheesy way.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another one of those things that makes
way.
spy kind of fun, honestly. But
maybe this is
I don't think
heavily
it's
depends.
significantly cheesy.
I'll put it lightly cheesy.
Okay.
I think it's a lightly cheesy.
Yeah. Little bit of sugar.
baby, here
All
we
right,
are.
okay.
You're going straight to hell.
I ran about the dead ringer. It's
Straight
okay.
to hell.
Yeah.
If you get a stab with the kunai and pop your get out of jail
I
fucking free
agree,
card,
dude.
you have more speed than a scout and more health than a heavy on the class that's supposed to be stealthy. And you get to have more speed than a scout and more health than a heavy. That is fucking bullshit. It is a get out of jail free card that is a free disengage on a 10-second cooldown or less. It is the most bullshit item in the game.
I wouldn't
Minus
say most.
Vaccinator.
I was gonna say
No,
Vaccinator,
Vaccinator.
Natasha, take it from me, but it's just like maybe number 3 or 4.
I think that like Feign on Death is basically an inherently unfun game design idea.
It's really cool on paper, but it is Overwatch tier balancing. Let's be real.
No one has fallen for a feigned death since fucking 2014. So in order to make this weapon still viable, they just made it the get out of jail free card.
I mean, that's
that
what it's
it
always
is.
been.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's not always been get out of jail and then go murder someone again. It's like usually it at least allows you to go and have a reformed life in your back lines. This is like, oh yeah, if I shoot a spy and he dead ringers and he immediately undead ringers, he tanked a hit, he now has a speed boost to come trick stab me with. Like what?
Or go trick stab one
Or
of my
gun me
retarded
down.
teammates that
Yeah,
have no
or
idea
gun
what
me
the
down.
hell
It's like,
they're doing.
why? Why is this a weapon? I don't know. If you notice, most of them in this tier just make you think like, why is this a weapon? What were they doing?
What were they thinking? This is the LJN of spy weapons.
Yeah, no, I agree with you won't go to heaven. I think that this is responsible for making most spy weapons unbearable to play against that are.
I still think that the kunai on its own is like worse than this by a lot.
I don't agree. I think the dead ringer is responsible. I agree with the what actually.
Mm-mm,
I
not
think the
even
Dead Ringer
remotely.
is 90% of where my hatred from the kunai comes from, because these two are like peanut butter and fucking cyanide.
I know that these two get paired together a lot, but I honestly just I feel like the Dead Ringer kunai fuckers, like they just want it all.
They want
You know
the
what I mean?
world. Yeah, no, I get you.
They want like the speed boost of the big earner. They want all the health. They want the resistances. They want it all, baby.
Okay, so here's our final tier list. Looking through it, is there anything that sticks out as not great? And don't say the kunai or the neon, because I will kill you.
Well, you just, I mean, what was I supposed to say then? You just said the things that I was going to say.
Minus those two specifically, just looking over. Do we want to adjust some of our earlier placements now that we have a more formed tier list?
I really don't think that, I don't think the Boston Basher was that cheesy.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Boston Basher.
Boston Basher is honest.
I can see if we're, again, just to be consistent, I don't even agree with it, but just to be consistent, I think this...
like if the Travelman
Traveler.
Shiv is going to be an honest, then I think the Boston Basher should be too.
Yeah, I think everything else looks pretty good to me. Some hot takes here. I don't know how people react to like rocket launchers being that low, but I stand by it. I think that it is worth having the conversation. Same with mediguns. Of like, yeah, these weapons, even though everyone's just accepted them for what they are in TF2, are kind of bullshit sometimes. And
like, even if they are beneficial for the overall health of the game and its balance, like,
And also,
we learned the most important lesson of all. If you use the vaccinator, you're a pedophile. Have a good night, everyone.
Agreed.